All right. Let's just go to sleep. I raise my cup to invite you. Why is the bright moon nowhere to be seen?
Second child. Second child. Turn the light off, will you? Got it. Campus belly. You're so lazy. Third brother isn't here, so I have to bother you. Sleep tight, third brother. We have the midterm test tomorrow. College entrance exam is next week.
MHM. So soft and comfy. One night of drunkardness, 10 years of cultivation gained. It's my first time getting drunk. Extra reward. Peerless sword technique. One sword cleaves, open the heavens.
Ah.
It's a grandmaster. What on earth just happened here? Where's that student who broke into the girls' dorm drunk? Which class is he in? He's a student of teachers, yeah, from the swords class. He's still inside the girls' dorm. Principal Zhang. The kid probably just had too much pressure and got drunk. Look at this mess. If you ask me, we definitely need to give him a demerit. No need for a demerit. Just expel him.
Gu Pingin. Yao Yao, you know him? If this gets out, your reputation will be ruined. But he's actually quite good looking. The more I look, the better he looks. So that means you didn't lose out here, Yao Yao. Su Xiaoyun, he is good looking. Even if he's good looking, that doesn't mean he can break into girls' dorms. Principal Zhang is here. I'll go drag this brat out. You two just get some good rest. Honestly, these little rascals. All they know is to get drunk for courage. Even drunk he could find the right place, got straight to Li Yaoyao's bed. Xiaoyun. That's old devil Zhang coming. Will Gu Pingin actually get expelled? Oh, look at you. Our gorgeous campus belly is actually worried about that creep, huh? But you're not wrong, it really could happen. You know old devil Zhang. That man turns on people without rhyme or reason. The whole school fears him. Principal Zhang, this is the brat. This little rascal completely smashed our dormitory. Entire gate was wrecked. How outrageous.
Principal Zhang, look. Why don't I send the kid back to the boys' dorm first? We can talk about it when he sobers up tomorrow. Sober him up right here. Expel him immediately. Our tie number 1 high school doesn't want this kind of trash. Doesn't want this kind of scum.
Principal Zhang, how about just letting it slide? The college entrance exam is next week.
Oh no, this Vice Principal Zhang isn't just Vice Principal of tie number 1 high school. He is also a grandmaster. Grandmasters cannot be insulted or defied, especially when a cherished talented young woman is involved. The country has its laws, and the school has its rules. Don't say the exam is just a week away. Even if it was tomorrow, I'd still expel Gu Pingin today. Ha ha. Drink wine and wield the sword. Drinking. Ha ha. Ridiculous. A master-level chi in blood. What's Gu Pingin's background? This kid cannot be allowed to stay. Drinking. Swordplay. This sword of mine is called Sword Opens Heaven's Gate. With a mortal body, wielding a sword to slash. Slash open heaven's gate. I don't think I understand. Sigh. Kid, watch closely. Ha ha, come on. You try slashing to open heaven's gate too. You old man, this is my mental world. I'll give it a try. The heavenly way covers all living beings. Everyone kneels in worship. Everyone bows their head. Why kneel? Heaven's mandate is mine. All things are permitted. Ha ha. Slash. Let go. The disciplinary office is coming. Get up now. Such domineering and pure sword intent. It can condense on mundane, withered wood. An 18-year-old peerless monster. Our tie number 1 high school really hit the jackpot this time.
Maybe let's just drop it.
Since the person involved isn't pursuing it, let's end the matter here. Everyone disperse. Principal, let's just leave it at that. Does talent mean you can do whatever you want? First, the college entrance exam is imminent. I don't want any more trouble. Second, since classmate Li Yao Yao isn't pursuing it, why make a federal case out of it? They're young, reckless after drinking, that's all. Third, talent indeed allows you to do whatever you want. Classmate Li, I'm very sorry about today's incident. How about this? Tomorrow noon I'll treat you to a meal as an apology.
Okay.
Tomorrow noon, don't be late. Sigh. All right. Everyone disperse and get some rest. As for Gu Pingyan, you come with me. You know it's getting late, kid. I just finished cooking hot pot, ready to eat, and you open heaven's gate. Principal, if there's nothing else, I'll head back to rest. For this week before the exam, don't return to the dormitory. During this time, you'll stay with me. Perfect, I can teach you a few things. Huh? Why? Do you know about the 9 great nations of our ancestral star? Why is there almost never any internal unrest? Who knows? The universe is vast. Those alien beings that infiltrated the ancestral star will definitely not let you, a future Grandmaster, go. Understand. Principal, what should I do? Besides not going back to the dormitory, proceed as usual. Even tomorrow at noon, you can still go have lunch with classmate Li.
Stop staring. If you stare anymore, your eyes will fall out and land on the great genius Gu. Want me to wake him up for you? Nonsense. Who's looking at him? Second brother. How about you come out to eat with me later? My beautiful campus belly. I don't want to be a shining third wheel. You can go by yourself. He's apologizing to you, not to me. Go on, hurry up.
Let's go, classmate Li. Chuyan Pavilion's Japanese cuisine. I've booked a table. Let's go.
Great. I'll call a ride.
The one who comprehended the sword intent last night was a student. Yes, Your Excellency the Administrator. Right now, that Gu Pingyan is at Chuyan Pavilion. Good. Arrange a vehicle. I will personally visit Gu Pingyan. But Your Excellency the Administrator, you are a King Realm expert, and the highest authority in Taiyan. Visiting a high school student? Do as I say. Lord Celestial Official. Gu Pingyan has gone to Chuyan Pavilion. This might be an opportunity. His talent is too terrifying. Gu Pingyan. So what if he's an 18-year-old martial artist? So what if he comprehended sword intent at 18? He's still going to die young.
Classmate Gu, this Chuyan Pavilion isn't cheap. It's going to cost you a pretty penny.
To have lunch with a beautiful campus belly. That's what countless people dream of.
Speaking of which, since you weren't here this morning, we got a transfer student in our class. Seems to be named Zhao Wuji. His background appears to be significant.
Detected host consuming handmade sake, low grade. Acquired 5 years of cultivation. Current cultivation, half-step grandmaster. Transferring schools right before the college entrance exam is quite rare indeed. Speaking of which, Yao Yao, which university are you planning to apply for?
You'd better just call me classmate Lee. Naturally, I want to get into Capital University. But it's quite difficult. Even though I've already stepped into the martial artist realm, I'm only at the 9th rank. It depends on luck. What about you?
Haven't really thought about it yet, but I'll probably apply to the same university as you. Excuse me, you two. Could you two please move to another table? As compensation, this meal is on the house. It's my little sister's birthday, and she wants the window seat. My apologies. No problem. Please bring a better bottle of sake. Sir, this is the best we have. Send my uncle's reserve sake. Yes, right away.
I thought you were all high and mighty, but you still want a free meal.
Only a fool would pass up a good deal. They're just 2 students. No need to be so polite. When you're out and about, it's always good to be courteous.
This time, we must strike with one hit, kill and leave immediately. No lingering. Jian Pavilion isn't far from the administration hall. If Li Tianming arrives, it will be troublesome.
It's the celestial official. This doesn't seem like ordinary sake. This is wine from the Li family's reserves. It should be considered ancient-style yellow wine.
Classmate Gu has classes this afternoon. Why are you still drinking? You'll be dead drunk again in a moment. Sigh.
Drinking the century-old snow-sealed yellow wine grants 10 years of cultivation. Divine ability. Shrinking the earth to an inch. First time drinking premium wine. Extra reward. Great Luo sword embryo, 1/4.
It looked like a golden light flashed in your eyes just now.
Excellent wine. Century-old snow-sealed yellow wine. Rare, truly rare. That young man is interesting. He identified the wine's age with 1 sip. Brotherly, you're really squandering treasure. Giving away such precious wine so casually. Won't your uncle blame you? He won't. Atai, don't cause trouble, and don't get any funny ideas. They're just students. A beautiful flower is sought by all. It depends on who has the better methods. It's my father's secretary. What's he doing here? This Chiyan Pavilion is quite popular.
You're still drinking? The comprehensive assessment is this afternoon.
Don't. Father. He was shocked to see his own father. Why is he at Chiyan Pavilion? He seems to be looking for someone. Could it be me? 1,000 thoughts raced through the young Lee's mind. He quickly confirmed he hadn't done anything wrong lately. Only that he slightly relaxed. Many guests on the second floor also recognized this powerful Tian City administrator. They were all stunned, not daring to breathe loudly. Li Tianming scanned the room with an imposing gaze. His eyes lingered on the 3 by the window for a moment. Then they shifted to Gu Ping'an. A smile appeared on his face as he stepped forward and spoke gently. You must be student Gu? The entire Chiyan Pavilion fell into dead silence. Chapter 10. When the youth holds the sword. As if standing under the vast sky, Li Tianming looked Gu Ping'an up and down. A storm of shock surged in his heart. To have comprehended sword intent at such a young age. That's Yi's subconscious reaction. Li Tianming glanced at the girl sitting opposite Gu Ping'an. He was stunned again. It's Yao Yao. His gaze shifted between the two. His expression turned slightly odd. Gu Ping'an was a bit confused at the moment, looking at the imposing middle-aged man before him. His heart fluttered slightly. This person is strong. Very strong. He cautiously spoke, and you are... Gu Ping'an's blood flow quickened at that moment. Immense power and wisps of energy spread throughout his body. On high alert. Uncle Li, before Li Tianming could answer. Li Yao spoke up in surprise. What are you doing here? Li Tianming smiled warmly at Li Yao. Then he said, me? I came specifically to visit student Gu. Li Yao was somewhat astonished. Everyone on the second floor of Chiyan Pavilion froze. This governor, making a special trip to visit a young man? Is that for real? By the window seat. The young man, surnamed Li, felt his lips go slightly dry. His mind was in chaos. What kind of figure is his own father? The highest governor of Tian City. If he stomped his foot, the entire city of Tian would tremble. A true heavyweight, towering over millions in the city. Who is that young man? He couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. Thank goodness, I didn't offend that young man earlier. Atai beside him shivered, trembling from his spine to the tips of his hair. He spoke, his voice trembling with fear. Brother Li, who? Who is that young man? And that girl? She seems familiar with Uncle Li too. Atai shrunk his neck and leaned closer to the corner. Phew, good thing Uncle Li came quickly. Any later, and I would have asked that girl for her WeChat. At that time, the young man surnamed Li shook his head blankly. For a long moment, he couldn't speak. He didn't know either. On the other side, Li Yao extended a slender finger and poked the somewhat confused and wary Gu Ping'an. She said softly, hey, Uncle Li is the governor of our Tian City. Don't you watch TV? Gu Ping'an snapped back to reality, his pupils slightly contracted. The governor of Tian City. Before he could fully process it, Li Tianming spoke again with a chuckle. It's not very convenient to talk here. Student Gu, Yao, would you be willing to come to my home for a chat? He paused, and glanced at the young man, surnamed Li by the window, and said coldly, Brad, you go home too. The young man, surnamed Li jolted, quickly standing up, and spoke obediently, yes, father. Shiyan Pavilion buzzed with murmurs again. The governor's son, Gu Pingin blinked his eyes. His mind raced as he glanced at the dazed Li Yaoyao. He spoke softly. Uncle Li has invited us. How could I refuse? Gu Tianming put on a bright smile. He said warmly, all right, then turned his head and spoke to the secretary waiting nearby. Go prepare the car. The secretary adjusted his glasses, nodded respectfully, and hurried downstairs. Suddenly, a terrifying aura erupted violently. A powerful energy swept through the entire Shiyan Pavilion. Glass shattered, tables and chairs trembled. From men in black robes soared through the air, followed by over a dozen more in black. Each was turning on air. Gu Pingin's hair stood on end. He sensed all these powerful auras were directed at him. Instinctively, Gu Pingin shielded the Yaoyao behind him. He casually tore apart a chair, with splinters flying, a wooden stave in hand. The heaven-splitting sword intent burst forth. In everyone's eyes. This handsome youth seemed to transform into a majestic, imposing longsword. Vast and magnificent. Wooden stave as sword. The youth stood sword in hand. And masters slowly rose into the air. Vibrating high frequency. Gu Pingin held the sword stave across his shoulder. His expression solemn. As about to leave the sword, the split open heads once more. Countless guests turned their gazes toward this youth at this moment. Atai's jaw dropped, muttering to himself, holy crap. Li Yaoyao looked at the back, shielding her. Her heart fluttering like a startled deer. She lightly bit her lip, her eyes slightly dazed. In Li Jijing's eyes, a strange light also flickered. Gu Pingin, it truly was sword intent, and it was sword intent, exceptionally vast and magnificent, though he didn't know how deeply this youth had comprehended it. Sword intent, and even a keen expert like him feel apprehensive. Li Tianming felt that looking directly at this youth now was like gazing upon the vast heavens. In a daze, he seemed to see a figure, struggling upstream, brandishing a sword against the heavens. He took a deep breath, reached out, and patted Gu Pingin's shoulder. He spoke softly, leave it to your uncle. Gu Pingin was slightly taken aback. Only then did he remember the person beside him was the governor of Taiyan City, though he didn't know his exact strength. It was likely beyond his imagination. His heart eased slightly. The floating glass shards, with splinters, water droplets, and such, crashed to the ground, and the wooden stave also shattered inch by inch. All this seems lengthy to describe, but in reality, it happened in the blink of an eye. Only then did those dozen-plus figures arrive with a thunderous impact. 4 grandmasters, 12 masters. The leading grandmaster strode with power, his aura extraordinary. He spoke with detached aloofness. Who is Gu Ping? Holy crap, that grandmaster's mind was utterly shaken. Li Tianming, a chill shot up from his tailbone, instantly spreading throughout his entire body. Instinctively, the dozen or so grandmasters, including Li Tianming, wanted to flee, all in disarray and panic. Gu Pingin witnessed this scene. For a moment, he found it both laughable and pitiable. Then, the Li administrator beside him made his move. A wrinkled hand, slowly extended, radiated with intense, brilliant light. A blazing sun, vast and mighty. A dozen or so grandmasters and great grandmasters were struck as if by lightning. Blood mist erupted from their bodies, spines snapped, bones shattered. They crashed to the floor. Administrator Li calmly withdrew his hand. Then, with a beaming smile, he said, Student Gu, let's go for now. Gu Pingin nodded somewhat numbly. Chapter 11. This person is your Uncle Gu. A black sedan with license plate Tai E00001 weaved through the long street. Vehicles gave way wherever it passed. Pedestrians paused. Traffic officers along the route saluted. The bespectacled secretary drove. Due to the 3 of them, Administrator Li sat in the passenger seat, while Gu Pingin and Li Yaoyao took the back seats. Yaoyao, how is your father? Li Tianming, looking through the rearview mirror, saw Li Yaoyao seeming lost in thought. The last time I saw your father was 2 years ago. Li Yaoyao shrugged her shoulders and smiled silently. I don't know. Haven't been in touch. Gu Pingin glanced at the slightly dazed Li Yaoyao. His mind turned. Yaoyao's relationship with her family seemed strained. Li Yaoyao looked out the window, silent. The scenery outside flew by, a fleeting kaleidoscopic blur. Administrator Li glanced again through the rearview mirror at Gu Pingin, who was watching Li Yaoyao. He thought to himself, this girl, she's a bit blind to what's right under her nose. If she were truly with Gu Pingin, with a genius who awakened top-tier sword intent at 18, her family would hardly still use her as a bargaining chip for marriage. At Tai No. 1 high school, Vice Principal Zhang, face pale with fear, answered the phone. On the other end, Tianwan's expression was grim. The assassination failed. A high-ranking figure was suspected to be at Shiyan Pavilion, intervening to thwart it. Other information is unknown for now. After a pause, Tianwan narrowed his eyes. That Gu Pingin caused him some trouble. We lost 4 great grandmasters, 12 grandmasters. This matter cannot end here. Zhang Tianning nodded repeatedly, his tone submissive. Then, the call ended. Vice Principal Zhang stuffed the phone into his pocket. His expression shifted inexplicably. Gu Pingin's luck is absurdly good. He had a high-ranking figure dining at Shiyan Pavilion at that exact moment. He let out a soft sigh and shook his head. Without further thought, he quickly left the office, heading for the sports field. The senior students were already gathered there. Final test. That's the last test before the college entrance exam. It measures the student's strength. Basically can predict the college entrance exam results. Not much difference. Even if the final test scores and the college entrance exam scores differ too much, the examinee will be required to retake the college entrance exam alone. This is to avoid underperformance or cheating. Therefore, this is also a very important test. The homeroom teacher of the 3rd year Kendo class, Xia Ligua, wiped his sweat. He spoke with a bitter smile, a bit cautiously. Vice Principal Zhang, the Kendo class students, too, are still missing. Vice Principal Zhang raised his eyes, said lightly, oh, which 2 students? It's Gu Pingin and Li Yaoyao. They seem to have gone out to eat. A glint flashed in Zhang Tianni's eyes. Then he sneered, humph, these 2 again. Dare to be late for the final test. What audacity. Zhang Tianni felt a slight excitement in his heart. Humph, I was just worrying about how to deal with Gu Pingin. Truly, when you search high and low without finding something. Xia Ligua was sweating profusely. He spoke with a bitter smile. Perhaps they encountered some mishap. He sighed inwardly. This Vice Principal Zhang seems to have it in for Pingin. I'm afraid there will be some waves again. Zhang Tianni sneered again. Then he spoke righteously. Mishap. Is that a reason? No matter the reason, being late is being late. I'll be punished. I'll be severely punished. As he spoke, he felt contempt in his heart. Today, Principal Li is not here. I'll expel these 2. Once it's done, the student registrations are deleted. Afterwards, even if that old man Li Changsheng makes trouble, he can't change anything. Downtown, a large flat of over 1,000 square meters. Secretary Liu had just finished pouring tea for the 3. The door opened. That young man surnamed Li from Chuyan Gu slunk in. Governor Li glanced at him. Then he smiled and said to Gu Pingin and Li Yaoyao, this is my unworthy son, Li Tongming. He paused and spoke authoritatively. Tongming, come here. Li Tongming scratched his head, walked over quickly. Dad. As he said, he stole a glance at Gu Pingin. His heart trembled. What kind of person is this youth? Earlier at Shiyan Gu, standing with sword, though imposing. but shouldn't warrant such treatment from my father. You know, even if it were Prince, a general, my father would at most entertain them like this. Li Tongming's thoughts raced, his pupils slightly contracted. He became somewhat serious. Call him Uncle Gu. Governor Li suddenly spoke. That Secretary Lu's hand, pouring tea, trembled slightly, but soon regained composure, head bowed, silent. Gu Pingyan and Liao Yao opened their eyes. Li Tongming was also somewhat stunned. His face flushed. He stammered, uncle, Dad. I'm much older than him. Li Tongming is already 22 this year. And you're telling me to call an 18-year-old high school student uncle? Gu Pingyan also let out a bitter laugh. Uncle Li, wouldn't that mess up the seniority? Li Zhijing turned his head. His face lit up with a smile again. It's fine. You can still call me Brother Li or Brother Tianming. We'll consider ourselves peers. He paused, then turned his head back. Frowning, his tone became quite stern. You won't even listen to your father's words? Li Tongming shivered. He spoke with some reluctance and difficulty. Uncle Gu, this biggest young master of Tyne City, who feared nothing, was only afraid of his own father. Gu Pingyan could only offer a bitter smile at this. Li Yao Yao beside him also looked a bit strange. She seemed to want to laugh, but had to hold it in. This made her look even more peculiar. Just laugh if you want to. Li Tongming spoke weakly. Ga. Li Yao Yao really couldn't hold it in anymore. She laughed merrily, sounding like a whole goose farm. Li Zhijing glanced at Li Tongming and snorted softly. And he spoke kindly again to Gu Pingyan and Li Yao Yao. If I remember correctly, today is your final test, right? I'll have Secretary Lu take you back in a bit. He paused, about to say something else when the main door was kicked open. Li Tianming. A furious roar followed. Gu Pingyan blinked. The voice sounded so familiar. Chapter 12, Pingyan and Yao Yao. Inside the room, everyone was stunned. Secretary Lu was shocked. Who would dare act like this in front of the governor? Li Tongming's mind went blank for a moment. He instinctively looked toward his father. Then he saw his father's face full of bitter smile and helplessness. Who was coming? Before Li Tongming could even guess, a middle-aged/elderly man looking to be in his 50s or 60s strode in. His left eye was black and blue, and half his face had a clear slap mark. Principal, Gu Pingyan and Li Yao Yao exclaimed in surprise together. Both instinctively stood up. Secretary Lu and Li Tongming exchanged a look. They could see the confusion in each other's eyes. This is the principal of Tyne High School, but he was just the principal of a prestigious high school. How could he act like this in front of a city's governor? Their minds couldn't quite process it. Gu Pingyan looked his old principal up and down. His expression was odd. Principal, your eye. The old principal laughed it off, his eyes darting around. Fell on the road. Just a fall. He'd barely finished speaking. Li Tianming rolled his eyes and mocked. Fell on the road? Old Li, who are you trying to fool? Your wife hit you again, didn't she? Gu Pingyan and Li Yao Yao instinctively exchanged a glance. Both looked a bit strange. Got beaten by the wife, or what? Seems this principal is having a rough time. The old principal stiffened his neck, glaring. Bullshit. This is called loving my wife. Loving my wife, he said. He huffed angrily. You, Li Tianming, you got some nerve. Taking advantage of me, getting beat up while I was away. You just whisked Gu Pingyan away. Li Tianming chuckled lightly, looking perfectly at ease. Old Li, that's not quite right. Brother Gu is just a guest at my place. How can you call it whisking away? As he spoke, he winked at Gu Pingyan. Isn't that right, Brother Gu? Gu Pingyan felt a bit helpless. He glanced at the old principal, bruised and battered, and said with a bitter smile, Brother Tianming is right. Principal, Yao Yao and I are just here as guests. Beside them, Li Tongming twitched his eye. The old principal also widened his eyes. He looked at Li Tianming, then at Gu Pingyan. Fell silent for a moment, then grumbled, Li kid, your shamelessness exceeds even this old man's imagination. He sighed to the heavens. I've lost this round. Governor Li laughed heartily. Little Yao Yao watched, feeling a bit confused. She couldn't help but ask, so, what's actually going on? How did Pingyan become such a hot commodity? Unconsciously, her tone became a bit more affectionate when mentioning Gu Pingyan. The old principal sighed and lamented, first tossing an ancient porcelain bottle to Gu Pingyan. The ancient method aged wine you want a kid. This stuff is hard to find. Then he sighed again at Li Yao Yao. Girl, comprehending intent is even more precious than you imagine. Beside them, Li Tongming's eyes went wide. Intent? This Uncle Gu comprehended intent. Suddenly, it dawned on him. No wonder his father treated Uncle Gu this way. As a junior at Imperial University, he understood all too well the importance of intent. Comprehending intent not only means a clear path to the venerable realm, but also means he can guide others in attempting to comprehend it. For example, Li Tianming stuck at the peak of the King realm for years. Li Tianming was quite straightforward, admitting openly, Brother Gu, I won't hide anything from you. I actually have a request for you. Gu Pingyan nodded thoughtfully. He said softly, Brother Tianming, go ahead. He had actually guessed that this governor must want something. Otherwise, why treat him so well? Just because of good talent? Not necessarily. Li Tianming took a deep breath and spoke very seriously. Any existence that has comprehended any intent to 30% or more, anyone can try to help others comprehend the intent. I'd like to ask Brother Gu, after you comprehended 30% of the sword intent, try to help me comprehend it. Gu Pingyan was momentarily stunned. His expression turned a bit strange. It seemed his own comprehension of the heaven-splitting sword intent had already reached 30%. Hesitating for a moment, he still spoke up. How about after the college entrance exam, Brother Tianming? This time, Li Tianming, the old principal, and the others were all stunned at once. The old principal's pupils contracted slightly, and this Li Tianming, who held the greatest power and high status in Tyne City, spoke with an air of disbelief. Brother Gu, you mean? Gu Pingyan chuckled lightly. My sword intent comprehension has already reached 30%. Hiss. Everyone drew in a sharp breath. Already 30%? Is this even human? Even some once in a millennium or once in 10 millennium peerless freaks are only about this good. Li Tianming trembled slightly from his spine to the tips of his hair, due to excitement. He kept muttering, good, and subconsciously stood up. Then he took a deep breath and spoke with great solemnity. Regardless of whether I can finally comprehend the intent or not. Brother Gu, from now on, your matters are my matters. Gu Pingyan nodded with a smile. The friendship of a chief administrator. He was still quite happy to accept, and he spoke softly. It's getting late. Brother Tianming, I'll go to school with Yao Yao first. After all, it's the final test today. As he spoke, Gu Pingyan grabbed the ancient method aged liquor from the table, and thanked the old principal with a cheerful smile. Li Tianming slapped his forehead and waved his hand grandly. Right. Old Lu, you hurry and take Brother Gu and his wife to school. Gu Pingyan did refute, keeping his eyes downcast, and minding this. But Li Yao Yao widened her eyes. Who's his wife? Beside them, Li Tongming, seemingly getting back at Li Yao Yao for mocking him earlier, spoke softly. Andy, when Uncle Gu should go to school. Li Yao Yao flew into a rage. As time passed at Tyne No. 1 High School, Xiao Li's forehead became increasingly sweaty, and Vice Principal Zhang's mouth curled up slightly. After a long while, he sighed faintly. He spoke faintly. The final test has been going on for half an hour. They still haven't come. This is contempt for the college entrance exam. No matter what unforeseen circumstances the three have encountered, they should be punished. Old Sia, don't you think so? Sia Ligua was sweating profusely, his expression grim. He sighed inwardly. Pingin and Yao Yao are finished. Chapter 13. Who do you think your Uncle Sue is? Martial arts class, Chenamon. Vitality, 101 units. Knife arts class Lin High, 79 units of chi and blood. Pure strength 480 kilograms. Speed 100 meters 9.1 seconds. Reaction speed 39 points. Almost a quasi-martial artist. Let's work harder. Fortitude class Zhao Wuji, 255 units of chi and blood. Pure strength 2,200 kilograms. Speed 100 meters 3.3 seconds. Reaction speed 82 points. 8th grade martial artist. Students and teachers were somewhat astonished. This transfer student who just arrived today is actually an 8th grade martial artist. He might even have a chance. Zhao Wuji stretched his muscles slightly, walking slowly to the shade under everyone's amazed gazes. His gaze was profound. On the sports field, the final tests were proceeding in full swing. It was already 3:30 in the afternoon. Most students had finished testing, but Gu Pingyan and Liao Yao still hadn't shown up. Zhao Wuji couldn't help but feel puzzled. Where's that Gu Pingyan? After all, he came here specifically for him. Not far away. Sia Ligua had completely given up. He closed his eyes, sighing slightly. The final tests are about to end, and the two kids still haven't appeared. Well, unless the principal shows up immediately. Or unless the two went to visit some big shot, like the director of the Tyne City Education Supervision Bureau. Otherwise, with Vice Principal Zhang targeting them, their expulsion is inevitable. By now, many students who had finished their final tests also noticed that Gu Pingyan and Liao Yao were still missing. After all, one was the prodigy who reversed the spring rain with a peach branch last night, and the other was both were very famous. Students began to gossip. Most were gloating that Gu Pingyan escaped punishment last night because the principal shielded him. But the principal isn't here today. Human nature is often ugly. People love to see the high and mighty fall from grace, to watch those they look up to tumble down to earth. After all, who wants to see someone they see every day build a towering mansion, host lavish banquets, unless it benefits them or they're very close? Otherwise, everyone wants to see that ninja class. Vice Principal Zhang scanned the students, most of whom had finished testing. A hint of mockery flashed in his eyes, barely noticeable. He spoke calmly. Everyone's finished the final tests. Yet two particular students still haven't come to school. Such disregard for school rules and the college entrance exam is unacceptable. Before he could finish, a pure white SUV with license plate TS66899 drove into the school. He had to stop right by the edge of the sports field. The driver's door opened. A refined-looking man in glasses and a suit got out, quickly walking to the back to open the rear door. Then, a handsome man with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes, and a lovely, charming girl emerged from the car one after another. Gu Pingyan and Liao Yao. Many students who witnessed this were abuzz. They began whispering among themselves. The whole playground erupted in an instant. Wow, these two legends are finally here. TSK, what a shame. They're gonna get it. Look at that license plate. 66,899 looks pretty flashy. It's not even a consecutive number plate. You can get one with a bit more cash. I just want to see how Gu Pingyan's gonna embarrass himself. Don't you think? That driver with glasses looks kind of familiar. Can't remember where I've seen him. Amid the chatter, Vice Principal Zhang wore a cold smile. His gaze swept past Secretary Liu. He didn't recognize the man often seen on TV. The only one who did was young Master Zhao Wuji. His pupils contracted slightly. The secretary of the city's mayor hold a terrifyingly high status. A high official's aide is powerful. The confidant of a city mayor is no different. Although the Zhao family wasn't afraid of a mere mayor. That was the whole family, not Zhao Wuji alone. Seems Gu Pingyan has Mayor Li's favor. Zhao Wuji's mind raced with thoughts. He put on a look of someone ready to enjoy the show. Gu Pingyan and Liao Yao walked side by side toward the playground. Secretary Liu, who was about to drive away, suddenly had a thought. He leaned against the car, intending to watch Gu's final test results. With his cultivation as a grandmaster, he could easily observe the commotion. From hundreds of meters away, the young man and girl stood firm on the playground, ignoring the mocking, scornful, and worried glances from the crowd. Gu Pingyan ignored Vice Principal Zhang's sneer. Instead, he apologized to Sia Ligua. Teacher, Yao Yao and I were delayed by something. Sorry about that. Beside him, Liao Yao also bowed her head slightly to Sia Ligua. She smiled awkwardly. We're going to come back right after lunch. But someone tried to assassinate Gu. Then we visited Uncle's place. The playground fell silent for a moment. Students and teachers blinked in confusion. Assassination? For real? That kind of thing was something only seen on TV. For those unaware of external threats. After all, most people in this world aren't martial artists. Sia Ligua was also taken aback. After sizing them up and confirming Gu Pingyan and Liao Yao were unharmed, he then felt a surge of delight. He looked at Vice Principal Zhang standing nearby from frost. Principal Zhang, you see the two of them were attacked. Before he could finish, Vice Principal Zhang cut him off coldly. Attacked? Who can prove it? Who would bother attacking an orphan with no parents? Gu Pingyan's expression darkened slightly at the casual slander. Liao Yao, meanwhile, bristled like a protective tiger cub. Vice Principal Zhang, she said, her voice laced with anger, emphasizing the vice. She spoke coldly. The attack happened at the Qiyuan Pavilion. A grandmaster was involved. That should be easy to verify. And I don't think that's any reason for you to slander student Gu. Many students and teachers were stunned. Su Xiaoyan was dumbfounded. Liao Yao had always been seen as cute and a bit airhead. So much so that people often forgot her status as a martial arts prodigy. This was the first time they'd seen the famous campus belle truly angry. Sia Ligua's expression changed slightly. This is bad, he thought. Sure enough, a flicker of killing intent appeared in Vice Principal Zhang's eyes. He sneered again. So what if it was a real attack? Didn't you say yourselves? You went to visit an uncle afterwards. That shows contempt for the school rules. He paused, letting his aura as a grandmaster press down on the two. Who do you think your uncle is? Contempt for the rules. Contempt for the college entrance exam. I believe you should be expelled immediately. Not far away. Secretary Liu's expression turned icy. He straightened up and strode forward. Chapter 14. Mr. Gu, your instructions, please. On the playground of High Number 1 High, Vice Principal Zhang stood with arms crossed, eyes narrowed. He sneered. As of now, my capacity as Vice Principal of High Number 1 High, I saw you both. He paused, tilting his chin up slightly. His expression was full of disdain. Teacher Xia, carry out the procedure. Delete their student records. Teacher Xia's face turned pale. While student records could be reinstated after deletion, the process, according to regulations, would take at least 7 days. However, college exam was 6 days. In other words, Gu Pingyan and Li Yaoyao would miss the exam. Even if reinstated later, they'd waste a whole year. Many students gloated. Someone muttered quietly, "So what if they're prodigies? Do they think being a prodigy means they can do whatever they want?" Demon Zhang finally did something decent. I think that's a bit much. They were just late. Expulsion is going too far. Right or wrong, Gu Pingyan and the campus bell are done for. Everyone buzzed with discussion, some regretful, some secretly pleased. Seeing Teacher Xia hesitate, Vice Principal Zhang frowned. "How can I thank you, teacher? Did you not hear what I said?" As he spoke, his expression turned slightly cold. The aura of a grandmaster stirred the air. A small vortex formed and swirled around him. Peach blossoms, knocked down by last night's spring rain and wind, floated up from the playground. They too swirled around Vice Principal Zhang. Gu Pingyan stared at this old demon Zhang. Suddenly, he spoke. "How dare you?" The playground fell silent for a moment. Zhang Tianyi was also taken aback. "You clearly know I wielded my sword to slash the heavens last night. You know both Yao Yao and I are martial artists. Why would you make such a decision? We don't have that much of a grudge against you. Unless you have no other choice." The students looked at each other, confused. Some teachers, however, seemed thoughtful. Yes, logically, the school should be cherishing such talented youths, not pushing them away. Why expel them? The dean of students, who knew something about external threats, frowned. He cast a suspicious glance at Vice Principal Zhang. Zhang Tianyi's heart skipped a beat. He shouted loudly, "Is this how you speak to a teacher? A student like you, even if you became a grandmaster this instant, I will expel both of you from tie number 1 high school today." As he spoke, a flash of malice and killing intent appeared in his eyes. Suddenly, a deep, mellow voice rang out. "Zhang Tianyi of tie number 1 high school, is that you? You're fired." Everyone was slightly stunned. They looked towards the source of the voice. It was the bespectacled, suit-wearing driver. He had, at some point, appeared beside Gu Pingyan. He looked coldly at Zhang Tianyi. Vice Principal Zhang was dumbfounded. Then, he laughed in anger. "And who are you? Firing me? Have you lost your mind?" Killing intent became unmistakable in his eyes. Barging into tie number 1 high school, plotting against students. "You deserve to die." As he finished speaking, Zhang Tianyi struck fiercely. Bones and tendons cracked. Pure force of over 10,000 kilograms, propelled by internal energy, sent his fist hurtling forward. Instantly, visible ripples appeared in the air. Shockwaves exploded as if a savage elephant had charged forth with all its might. "Be careful." Teacher Xia couldn't help but cry out. Vice Principal Zhang's punch was aimed not only at the bespectacled middle-aged man, but also encompassed Gu Pingyan and Li Yaoyao. A flash of killing intent erupted in Gu Pingyan's eyes. Secretary Lu snorted coldly beside him. He was about to move, but Gu Pingyan beside him was faster. The youth, under the rolling shock waves, his clothes fluttering, his face impassive, spoke coldly. "Audacity!" Clutching the ancient porcelain bottle of aged wine in his left hand, he shielded it behind his back. His right hand chopped down like a blade, slightly angled, arm bent like a sword hilt. His palm like a sharp blade, cleaving open heavenly gates, sending souls to the afterlife, dispatching the living to death. His celestial needle, peace, opening heavenly gates. Also the road to the underworld, inviting you to the Yellow Springs. His palm shot forth like a sword's edge, to avoid being too shocking to the world. Gu Pingyan did not unleash all his chi and blood energy. He merely struck with the strength of a first-grade martial artist, without revealing the might of a grandmaster. But it was enough. His palm pierced through the void the moment the sword struck. Teachers and students on the playground seemed to hear the tinkling of spring. They seemed to see a mighty, surging river. Within the river floated corpses, burying immortals and Buddhas. Above the river stood the gate of hell, the bridge of helplessness decayed. "Congratulations, host. You have comprehended the Yellow Springs sword intent. Comprehension progress. 10%. Secretary Lu couldn't help but widen his eyes in shock. This sword intent seemed vastly different from last night's. This youth had comprehended another intent. Secretary Lu's mind was somewhat stunned, still processing, when, over there, fists and palms already clashed. Vice Principal Zhang's face turned deathly pale. In a daze, he seemed to see the road to the Yellow Springs. Saw bones scattered everywhere. How could this guy be so powerful? Gu Pingyan's palm effortlessly pierced through Vice Principal Zhang's fist, shattering his entire arm. If Gu Pingyan hadn't held back 70% of his strength at the last moment, this Zhang old demon would likely have died on the spot. But even so, he was in a terrible state. His body was thrown high, arcing through the air, scattering a trail of blood flowers, and heavily crashing onto the ground. Bones and sinew shattered. One palm, a severe injury. The entire playground fell silent. Everyone's minds echoed with the youth's bold words. Audacious. They echoed with that mighty Yellow Springs. They echoed with that stunning sword strike. It can't be. Zhang old demon, no matter what, is a proper grandmaster. A grandmaster who can break 10,000 June, who can tread the air. Gu Pingyan looked indifferently at Zhang old demon lying on the ground, coughing up blood heavily, his face filled with panic. He smiled lightly. Sometimes, one must act within one's capabilities. His smile surfaced on Zhang old demon's face, fiercely. Coughing blood, he spoke maniacally, attacking a vice principal. "Gu Pingyan, no one can protect you. Training one's master ancestors is the greatest taboo. In this era, school teachers and leaders, in a sense, are the students' masters." Secretary Lu suddenly took a step forward. He straightened his clothes, looking down at Zhang Tianyi. "I said you have already been expelled." He paused, then elegantly added, "Also, let me introduce. I am Lu Zhongtian, Deputy Director of the Tyne City Patrol and Arrest Department, the top Grandmaster of Tyne City and Secretary to the Tyne City Administrator." Then, under the stunned and horrified gazes of countless teachers and students, Secretary Lu turned his head to look at Gu Pingyan. He slightly lowered his head. "Mr. Gu, this person here now, how should be dealt with?" A deathly silence fell over the scene. Chapter 15. Simp Young Master Zhao. On the sports field, whether students or teachers, their minds are all in a state of confusion. I remember now, this person often appears on TV. Did you notice? He addressed Gu Pingyan as Mr. Gu, and he's asking how to deal with this. Holy crap, is Gu Pingyan a scion of some powerful, wealthy family? But isn't he an orphan? That Director Lu is from a powerful family himself. He is a powerful family. Look, young master of a powerful family doesn't show utmost respect when meeting Director Lu. For a moment, the many senior high school students and teachers on the field erupted into murmurs. No one could believe what they were seeing. They were all dumbfounded. Secretary Lu, head slightly bowed, hands hanging respectfully in front of him, showing the utmost efforts. Vice Principal Zhang, meanwhile, was completely dumbstruck. For a long moment, he couldn't speak. A shiver suddenly ran through him. This Secretary Lu, this Deputy Director Lu, he's Administrator Li's trusted confidant, the one who acted at Cloud Pavilion. Could have been Administrator Li himself. Zhang Tianyi was startled. His heart tightened slightly. Gu Pingyan gently smoothed his slightly disheveled clothes. He smiled. This Vice Principal Zhang, Uncle Lu, you decide. Secretary Lu hastily waved his hands, bowing respectfully. "Mr. Gu, you flatter me. Just call me Old Lu." This one is on brotherly terms with the Administrator himself. In fact, whether Administrator Li can comprehend intent and become a venerable depends on this young Mr. Gu. Lu Zhong wouldn't dare offend him in the slightest. Not far away, Zhao Wuji, who had taken in this entire scene, seemed thoughtful. A slight suspicion formed in his heart. It seems administrator got ahead and secured a spot. Those who have comprehended intent can indeed try to help others comprehend it as well. But this is not without limitations. For example, having comprehended sword intent to the 3rd level, one can help at most 3 people comprehend intent. After 3 people, the residual Dao rhyme dissipates for the most part. Unless sword intent advances another level, it becomes useless. Zhao Wuji's expression turned slightly solemn. It seems I need to speed up my actions. Without any further hesitation, he stomped his foot, tendons and bones resonating. A force of 2,200 kilograms erupted. The synthetic track cracked. A shockwave rolled out with a boom. Under the force's eruption, Zhao Wuji's speed increased more than twofold in an extremely short time. With speed approaching 100 meters per second and immense power, he arrived before Gu Pingyan in the blink of an eye. Zhao Wuji's handsome, chiseled face was filled with determination. He boomed like thunder. Boss, leave this punk to me. I'll make sure he's properly dealt with. Everyone was stunned. Gu Pingyan blinked. He spoke hesitantly. You're the boss? I'm Zhao Wuji. From now on, you're my boss. You say east, I won't go west. Zhao Wuji declared passionately. Under the bewildered gazes of the teachers and students, he bent at a 90-degree angle and gave a deep bow. Gu Pingyan's eye twitched. The Yao Yao was also dumbfounded. Subconsciously taking a step back, Secretary Lu's expression shifted slightly. Zhao Wuji, that young master from the capital? Before he could think further, Zhao Wuji abruptly straightened up. Righteously, he said, you go handle the final test, boss. Leave this punk to me. You can count on me. As he spoke, Zhao Wuji cast a disdainful glance at Zhang Tianyi, still sprawled on the ground. He felt quite pleased with himself. A bootlicker? Who can't do that? Gu Pingyan remained silent for a long moment. Holding Li Yaoyao's soft hand, he subtly shifted further back. Then he spoke, well, I'll leave this matter to Brother Lu and his classmate Zhao here. With that expression unchanged, he simply pulled Li Yaoyao along, and the two of them vanished from the spot. The next moment, they reappeared in the middle of the sports field. This Zhao Wuji had really thrown him for a loop. In fact, Gu Pingyan wasn't the only one confused. Many students and teachers exchanged bewildered looks. They were all a bit lost. That new transfer student, isn't he supposed to be a martial prodigy? Why? Why doesn't he have any of the pride a prodigy should have? Is this the legendary bootlicker? A student murmured, dazed. Many girls who had taken a liking to this prodigy transfer student felt their hearts break. Bootlicker, Taiyan City's first airport. A large private jet descended slowly from the sky, gliding for a moment on the long runway, before coming to a smooth stop. Governor Li and the old principal stood on the tarmac, watching impassively as a group of people disembarked from the jet. Young Li, if you truly achieve the venerable realm with Pingyan's help this time, you'll probably have to leave Taiyan soon, won't you? The old principal watched the group descending from the plane. His expression was unreadable. Governor Li nodded simply. He spoke softly. The Grand Governor of Xianying Province was assassinated. If I become a venerable this time, barring any surprises, I'll go to Xianying to serve as the provincial Grand Governor. The old principal nodded thoughtfully. With your foundation, if you grasp the concept, you could at least reach the middle 3 ranks of the venerable realm. But then, I'm afraid many would hold a grudge against Pingyan. Governor Li was silent for a moment, then chuckled softly. It's fine. With Brother Gu's talent, barring any surprises, he'll go to Imperial Capital University. The Imperial Capital is in Xianying Province. If anything happens, I'll take full responsibility. A venerable is enough. The old principal glanced at Li Tianming, then slowly spoke. With Pingyan's talent, forget the venerable realm, even a mountain sea, great power, even a human deity, is within his reach. I plan to be his guardian. Governor Li's expression changed drastically. He turned his head in disbelief. You plan to end the world? The old principal didn't speak. He just nodded silently. As they were talking, several middle-aged men from the official plane, and some students had already approached. You are Governor Li, right? The leading middle-aged man spoke softly. I'm the chief official for this year's Gaokao in Taiyan City. These children are here to take the exam in your city. He pointed to a group of students dressed in expensive clothes. Governor Li snapped back to reality. He glanced over coldly. A hint of mockery flashed in his eyes. Oh, all top talents, huh? Planning to snatch the top spot from my Taiyan? Steal Taiyan's resources? The middle-aged man was unfazed. He just smiled again. Governor Li, you jest. It's just each relying on their own abilities. The old principal rolled his eyes. The city's top score gets resource allocation from the Great Qin royal family. Many top talents go to relatively weaker cities to take the exam. Taiyan has had its top spot taken by borrowed exam takers for 9 consecutive years. A great humiliation. But this year's Taiyan City is a bit different. Thinking of this, a meaningful smile crossed the faces of the old principal and Governor Li. Chapter 16, I'm here. All the top talents in the city, make way. A huge force measuring machine was placed in the middle of Taiyan number 1 high school's playground. The Yao Yao looked at Gu Pingyan, who was standing close to her, with a reproachful glance. She whispered, move aside a bit. I need a test, you know. Gu Pingyan chuckled softly and leaned in a little closer. Got it, Miss Li. Li Yao Yao glared fiercely at the handsome young man beside her. She muttered something indistinct under her breath, then took a deep breath and stood firmly in front of the machine. She assumed a horse stance, twisted her slender waist slightly, then suddenly exerted force. The power traveled from her spine to the upper arm of her right hand, pulling the entire arm forward for a punch. The sound of tearing air, the clashing of sinews and bones, all converged and exploded at that moment. Her fist landed. The machine trembled slightly. The specially made punching pad absorbed and dissipated all the kinetic energy. The numbers on the display screen jumped sharply. 2,001 kilograms. The crowd gasped. 2,000 kilograms. Just barely reached the level of 8th grade martial artist. Many teachers are only at this level. Next up is the speed test. Li Yaoyao's petite figure darted across the track. Even in her uniform, her graceful curves were clearly outlined. 100 meters in 3.9 seconds. Reaction speed, 71 points. Vitality, 204 units. The 8th grade martial artist playground buzzed with activity again. The campus bell, Li, actually broke through to 8th grade martial artist level. The crowd whispered, but before long, the voices gradually faded to silence. Students and teachers all turned their gaze to that handsome young man. The last tester, Gu Pingyan. What do you think? What level has Gu Pingyan reached? I remember, he wasn't even a quasi-martial artist before. Grandmaster Zhang the Demon was seriously injured by a single blow from him, and you still think Gu Pingyan isn't a quasi-martial artist? That's different. He used swordsmanship. I heard he's already touched upon the budding stage of sword intent. The students chattered among themselves, all speculating about this young man's current cultivation level. Quasi-martial artist? Martial artist? Or even middle 3 grades martial artist? It's unknown. This now famous Gu Pingyan wasn't even a quasi-martial artist in last month's test. Where will he be after just 1 month? Not far away, Secretary Lu casually tossed the dead dog like Zhang Tianyi aside. His gaze also fell upon Gu Pingyan. A trace of curiosity flickered in his eyes. He was also curious about this Mr. Gu. What realm is he in now? At least a lower 3 grades martial artist, right? Under everyone's watchful eyes, Gu Pingin grinned and winked playfully at Li Yao Yao, causing Li Yao Yao to blush and lightly scoff. Then, smiling, he stood firmly in front of the strength tester. No horse stance, no power buildup, just a light, floating punch. The seemingly weak and powerless fist landed on the strength tester. Boom! The strength tester shook violently. With a soft pad met the fist, a visible shockwave of air erupted, spreading out in all directions, stirring up a fierce wind that swept dust into the air. The gust made Li Yao Yao squint slightly. Finally, under everyone's stunned gazes, the dust settled. The calm, handsome young man reappeared. The numbers on the electronic screen were glaringly red. 9,999 kilograms. The teacher reporting the score seemed dazed, stammering as he spoke. 9,999 kilograms. Pure strength reaching 1,000 kilograms is the level of a 9th grade martial artist. 2,000 kilograms is an 8th grade martial artist. And the pure strength of someone who has just entered the Grandmaster realm is generally 10,000 kilograms. Holy crap, someone was dumbfounded. You're kidding, right? 9,999? I feel like he was just playing around. He didn't deliberately stop at that number, did he? Are you kidding me? That level of power control is insane. You're messing with me. I hereby announce the top score in this year's Heinz College exam is decided early. The entire sports field erupts in uproar. Many can't believe their eyes. Even Li Yao Yao rubs her big, confused eyes in disbelief. Not far away, Secretary Liu and Zhao Wuji's pupils constrict sharply. Is that number really just a coincidence? But if it's intentional control, that's terrifying. Micro-level power control. Only a Grandmaster with flawless, unified energy can do that. Is Gu Pingin a Grandmaster? No, he lacks that perfect, unified aura. As everyone is utterly stunned, Gu Pingin winks playfully at Li Yao Yao again. Then, with light steps, he walks onto the track. Knees slightly bent, he explodes forward. The ground cracks again. A fierce wind whips up. The handsome youth transforms into a gust of wind, a ferocious wind, vanishing from the starting line in an instant. The next second, he appears at the finish line. SP, speed, 100 meters in 1.1 seconds. The teacher reads out the screen value, voice dry. His expression is dazed. Again, right at the critical point between warrior and master, a 9th rank master, without using internal energy, has a pure speed of 100 meters per second. The youth continues with his light steps, entering the neural reaction speed tester and blood vitality detector one after another. Reaction speed, 79 points. 80 points is master level. Blood vitality, 999 units. 1,000 units is master level. The 4 tests end with the announcement. Gu Pingin, first rank warrior, peak level. Dead silence falls over the field. Everyone is speechless. Everyone finds it unbelievable. Incredible, but still acceptable. But the problem is, the kid scored right on the critical line between master and warrior in every test. Now, no one knows if Gu Pingin is a warrior or a master. An 18-year-old master. Is that even possible? Utter silence. In the most expensive, most luxurious 5-star hotel in Heinz City, several richly dressed, noble-looking youths glance around at the hotel decor. Shiny beautiful girl wearing a necklace curls her lip in disdain. What a dump. We have to stay here for 7 days? That's ridiculous. The head supervisor for Tyne's exams forces a bitter smile. My dear Miss Zhang, be grateful we have this. In truly remote cities, even a hotel is a rarity. He sighs slightly. These young masters and ladies taking the exam here, their faces are all incredibly powerful. He can't afford to them. Miss Zhang pouted her lips. She yawned and said nonchalantly, all right, speaking of which is the best high school in Tyne City? I'm quite curious about how people in small towns cultivate and attend classes. A relatively calm-looking young man nearby spoke faintly. It's Tyne number 1 high school. Rest well for a couple of days first, then we'll see. Don't be too arrogant. A strong dragon cannot suppress the local snake. Miss Zhang smiled contemptuously. Since I've come to this city, all the so-called geniuses. Wait for me. Chapter 17. The immortal one of Regine. Fallen in battle, dusk. The senior high school students returned to their dormitories in days. Today's events were, for them, so shocking they felt somewhat numb. First, Gu Pingin, who was said to have comprehended the legendary embryonic form of intent, severely injured the vice principal, a Grandmaster expert, the single strike. Then, the middle-aged man who looked like a driver was actually a close confidant of the administrator, the deputy director of the patrol bureau. And then came Gu Pingin's utterly jaw-dropping final test results. After this series of events, every student felt numb. They felt that even if the sky fell down, even if the legendary administrator himself appeared, their hearts wouldn't flutter until someone saw the boy who caused a sensation throughout the school and the acknowledged school beauty, walking hand in hand on a tree-lined path. My heart is broken. This was the despairing wail of a boy after his last shred of hope was shattered. Tonight, countless young men and women were destined to be sleepless. How can one sleep with a broken heart? Watching the setting sun and the red glow on the horizon, Gu Pingin felt the soft, tender sensation in his palm. He smiled gently. There are still 6 days until the college entrance exam. Let's go to Capital University together then. Li Yao Yao pouted and spoke somewhat gloomily. You definitely won't have a problem, but I'm not so sure. As she spoke, she sighed. Gu Pingin smiled and shook his head. His gaze grew slightly profound. Don't worry, it'll be fine. He paused, then leaned closer. I need to go see the principal now. Li Yao Yao was stunned for a moment, then pulled her hand away fiercely and said, Gu Pingin, you pervert. As she said this, she stomped her foot and trotted off towards the dormitory. While running, she threw back a sentence, good night, bye. Gu Pingin shook his head with a wry smile. We've even shared a bed. And you're still shy? Not far away, Li Yao Yao stumbled a bit. Her steps quickened, and her face grew even redder. Gu Pingin watched with amusement as Li Yao Yao's figure gradually faded into the distance. After a while, his gaze grew slightly more serious. He murmured to himself, it's time for a drink. Deep in the night, in a detached villa not far from Tyne number 1 high school, Gu Pingin looked at the dilapidated villa. He found a deep thought, then couldn't help but speak up. Principal, what happened here? Where's the mistress? The old principal, bruised and battered, looked slightly uncomfortable. He laughed it off. Just wanted to create the best cultivation environment for you. I sent your mistress back to her parents' home. She'll be back soon. Gu Pingin looked at the old principal with suspicion. What about this villa? The old principal's expression remained unchanged. Well, after your mistress left, I was practicing combat skills here and lost control of my strength. Gu Pingin remained silent. He just gestured, measuring the old principal's height. Then gestured at the human-shaped hole in the wall. A perfect match. Under Gu Pingin's strange gaze, the old principal felt uneasy. He cleared his throat lightly. All right, let's get to the point. You have 6 days left. Don't go to school. Stay here with me. His expression turned serious. Gu Pingin shrugged. A bright smile spread across his face. No problem. But we agreed. You follow ancient method aged liquor every day. Train by day, drink by night. The old principal raised an eyebrow. He said grumpily, didn't I already give you one? That's for today. Then his face turned serious again. But before you drink tonight, I need to teach you some basics. Do you know the cultivation realms? A little. Gu Pingyan answered honestly. First realm, warrior. Second realm, grandmaster. Third realm, great grandmaster. Fourth and fifth realms, marquis and king. The sixth realm is the venerable realm. He paused, then continued. Beyond that, I'm not too clear. The old principal nodded slightly, brewing a cup of tea. He handed it to Gu Pingyan. Warriors have bones and muscles. Grandmasters refine chi, blood, and marrow. Great grandmasters achieve unity of essence. Marquis realm inscribe the power of heaven and earth on the bones, forming mysterious patterns. King realm. These patterns form innate formations on the bones. The old principal brewed himself a cup of tea too. He took a small sip. Once you reach the king realm, you can join the 9-nation joint council. Become a counselor, and when you comprehend intent, you can step into the sixth realm, becoming a venerable. But this isn't the end of the road. Far from it. Gu Pingyan's pupils slightly contracted. He leaned forward instinctively. There are more realms? The old principal nodded gently, his gaze profound. The path of cultivation has 9 realms in total. The 7th realm, mountain sea, great adept. A wave of the hand can shatter continental plates. This realm is also called the nation guardian level. Any great adept is a national treasure. A look of shock flashed in Gu Pingyan's eyes. 7th realm, great adepts can guard a nation, destroying land masses with ease. This ancestral star is far larger than the world Gu Pingyan came from. The 9 great nations each have populations in the tens of billions. Naturally, the continental plates are also much more expansive. He couldn't help but ask, what about the 8th and 9th realms? The 7th realm was already this powerful. Gu Pingyan found it hard to imagine. What kind of majesty would the 8th and 9th realms possess? The realms beyond are too distant for you. You don't need to know too much. However, the 8th realm is called mortal deity. The 9th realm is heaven and earth and world. As he spoke, the old headmaster's expression grew wistful. Immortals. Our human race has only 8 in total, 1 for each nation. They are the true foundation, with endless lifespan, immortal and indestructible. Passed down for 10,000 generations, 1 for each nation. Gu Pingyan grew puzzled. But aren't there 9 nations? The old headmaster glanced at him. He spoke softly, my great Sheen has no immortal, or rather we once did. But he fell in battle on the starry sky great wall. A chill surged from the base of Gu Pingyan's spine. It crept over his whole body. His eyes widened, his voice slightly choked. Fell in battle, a 7th realm mountain and sea grandmaster can shatter continental plates with ease. The 9th realm, a legendary, immortal, indestructible existence, can also die. Pain and deep regret flashed in the old headmaster's eyes. Then he closed his eyes and nodded very, very slowly. Yes, he fell. Chapter 18. My frost shared with your spirit. All for you. 1800 years ago, the 3 ancient clans, Xian, Hundan, and Rakshasa, launched a massive invasion. That day, it was our great Sheen's immortal guarding the starry sky great wall. And then he fell. That day, great stars shattered. Millions upon millions lay dead in the starry sky. Profound sorrow flashed in the old headmaster's eyes. Somewhat stunned, he continued, our great Sheen's immortal, with a single spear, slew 3 immortals of the ancient clans. In the end, exhausted, he was nailed to death upon the starry sky great wall. As he spoke, the old headmaster slumped forward onto the table, motionless. Gu Pingyan also fell silent. After a long time, the old headmaster raised his head. A smile, uglier than crying, stretched across his face. If you ever get the chance to go to the starry sky great wall, you must pay respects to that one's remains. Gu Pingyan's expression shook. He spoke with difficulty. Our immortal wasn't buried. The old headmaster was silent for a long time, then let out a third breath. In his final moment before falling, he fused himself with the starry sky great wall. Said he wanted to add a brick and a tile to the wall. As he spoke, he seemed to have aged many years. He closed his eyes. Enough. Why am I telling you this? Drink your wine. Training starts tomorrow. As his words fell, the old headmaster's figure vanished in an instant. He left in a hurry, leaving only Gu Pingyan alone. Gu Pingyan sat dazedly in his chair. An inexplicable heaviness settled in his heart. Peace seemed to prevail. It was not truly peaceful. There is no such thing as troubled times. It's just that someone is carrying the weight for you. Some even fall in battle, unable to return home wrapped in horsehide. Although he didn't know what the starry sky great wall truly looked like, a sense of yearning sprouted in his heart. No matter what, he must go to the starry sky great wall. He respects that undying hero of great Sheen who fell in battle. After a long while, Gu Pingyan let out a soft sigh. Improving his strength was urgent, for the world was not truly at peace. He fell silent, opening the ancient porcelain bottle the old principal had given him earlier. A rich aroma of liquor wafted out. Gu Pingyan didn't savor it. Instead, he took a large, fierce gulp, wishing to get drunk. The scalding, mellow liquid slid down his throat. The spring chill was utterly dispelled. Host consumes 200-year-old special reserve premium Out Eye for the first time. Cultivation increased by 15 years. Host's unsettled heart triggers critical strike. Premium liquor additional reward. Sword technique, 6,000 Li. Gu Pingyan closed his eyes, reining in his surging chi and blood. He let the liquor's force rampage through his body. He was already 3/10 drunk. He paid no mind to his skyrocketing cultivation. He just drank. Just drank. Soon, an entire bottle of high-proof, aged Mount was gone. With Gu Pingyan's deliberate urging, the liquor's force quickly spread throughout his body. 3/10 drunk became 10/10. He collapsed onto the sofa and began snoring loudly, fast asleep. In his dream, Gu Pingyan returned to his sea of consciousness. He sat in the center. Beside him was a bare sword hilt. He gently picked up the hilt. Gu Pingyan examined this quarter of the great Luo sword embryo in detail. Carved upon the hilt were images of celestial beings bowing their heads, and a vision of vast, boundless, flourishing world. Just as he felt a flicker of awe in his heart, an old rumor appeared within his mental world. Gu Pingyan set down the hilt and gave a light bow. He knew this was like when he inherited sword opens the heavenly gate. This is your sword technique 6,000 Li. The toothless old groomer revealed a simple, honest smile. He chuckled and spoke. This sword of mine is called Sword 9, 6,000 Li. It holds no profound sword intent. It's just an ordinary sword technique. Will you learn it, young master? Gu Pingyan nodded heavily, whispering, I'll learn it. The old groomer smiled his simple smile again. Then, a sword case appeared in his hand. With a light tap, the case opened wide. A long sword shot out. Grasping it, the old groomer grinned, his mouth wide. This sword technique, 6,000 Li, is all my trials and hardships, all the vigor and spirit of my life. As he spoke, he gently, slowly, thrust the sword forward. The sword light instantly shot into the clouds above, then suddenly inverted and hung down like a galaxy pouring down, spreading 6,000 miles between wind, cloud, rain, and snow, reflecting the white day and bright moon. Sword 9, 6,000 miles. The old groom sighed softly. The river of sword chi crashed down, falling into Gu Pingyan's body. Gu Pingyan closed his eyes. He didn't know how long it took when he opened his eyes again. In the vast, boundless spiritual world, the sea of the mind, the old groom's figure was already gone. Gu Pingyan gently exhaled a turbid breath. His eyes held the vicissitudes and wind snow. He sighed softly. What moved 6,000 miles? Clearly not sword intent, yet full of high spirits. Vicissitudes of life? He paused, pondered for a moment. His eyes lit up. This sword move speaks of Jianghu. In ancient times, a journey of 6,000 miles was most of the Jianghu. This sword is most of the Jianghu. The next morning, Gu Pingyan opened his eyes, slowly sat up straight from the sofa. A hangover once rewards 10 years of cultivation. Bones and tendons tremble. Internal chi spontaneously generates. A total of 25 years of foundational cultivation. Lifted Gu Pingyan from a 9th rank master to 4th rank. 5 more years of cultivation, and he could become a top 3 rank master. He felt a slight surge of excitement, looking at his progress. In the remaining 5 days, when the college entrance exam arrives, he could at least step into the Grandmaster realm. Even had hoped to directly enter the Marquee realm. The Marquee realm has already stepped into the mid-3 realms. Extending life 1,000 years, also called the longevity realm. Basically ignores thermal weapons below nuclear blast. Didn't know when he appeared beside Gu Pingyan. He and Gu Pingyan exchanged a glance, then slightly startled. Overnight, why is there a bit more weathering in this child's eyes? Could be he gained some new insight again. The old principal couldn't help but widen his eyes. A smile appeared on Gu Pingyan's face. He spoke enthusiastically. Principal, this fried egg, is it for me? The old principal snapped back to reality. Suppressed shock and astonishment in his heart, smiled, and placed the fried egg on the table. It's for you. Eat quickly. Finish it and spar with me a couple of moves, so I can arrange some training plans for you. He planned, in these remaining 5 days, to try and help Gu Pingyan step into the master realm. A master just 18. The old principal just thought about it, and felt excited and stirred up. Chapter 19. High spirits remain, just added a touch of weathering. You are now at the peak martial artist realm. I will also suppress my own cultivation to the peak martial artist realm. In the villa's large garden, the old principal stood with hands behind his back, said calmly, you can use any means to attack me, as long as you can make me retreat half a step. He hadn't finished speaking. Gu Pingyan casually snapped off a peach blossom branch. With a flick of his wrist, the branch became a sword, and sword intent erupted instantly. All the fallen leaves and blossoms on the ground rose into the air in a blink. Scattered white clouds in the sky gathered into a swirling vortex. Wait, the old headmaster's eyes widened. He hurried to stop it, but Gu Pingyan had already gently brought the peach blossom branch down. Sword opens heaven's gate. The floating blossoms and leaves shattered violently. The swirling white clouds in the sky also condensed into a mass, forming the shape of a massive gate. Then it collapsed with a roar, crashing down toward the back garden. The peach branch swept, sword light flashed. The old headmaster was sent flying back nearly 10 meters, landing face first in the mud. The impact shattered the ground inch by inch. A shock wave blasted out, shaking countless leaves and blossoms from the treetops. They drifted down, settling on the shoulders of the youth holding the peach branch. The youth smiled brightly. Headmaster, I won. The old headmaster, covered in dust, climbed his feet, his neck stiff as he roared. I wasn't finished. You're not allowed to use the Heaven's Gate sword intent. Gu Pingyan blinked, still smiling brightly. Okay, he said, shaking off the leaves and blossoms covering him. The now bare peach branch swept out once more. I open the gate of hell to send you to the Yellow Springs. This time, the peach branch completely disintegrated into powder. Fierce sword intent surged within, past the night. It swept violently, scraping away 3 inches of soil from the 100 square meter garden. The earth gathered, surging like the raging Yellow Springs. The old headmaster in a daze. He seemed to see a terrifying gate opening in the void. He seemed to see a river of the Yellow Springs, floating with millions of corpses, drifting with broken remains of mortals and Buddhas crashing for him. Holy SH! He roared again, but the roar was completely drowned out by the surging torrent of earth. The old headmaster imperative. He forcibly raised the fish back by 3 major realms, using the peak life force of the Marquee longevity realm, to withstand the Yellow Springs sword intent head on. The turbid earth churned but shattered against his life force. For a moment, dust filled the air, drifting and scattering. You comprehended another sword intent. The old headmaster, stifled for a long moment, couldn't help but ask. His heart was shaken. Having lived for millennia, he had seen prodigies who comprehended intent in their youth. But comprehending 2 sword intents at 18, this was no longer within the realm of prodigy or monster. The human ancestral star, Great Sheen, might just produce another immortal. The old headmaster subconsciously clenched his fist. Gu Pingyan chuckled lightly, speaking rather innocently. This, I just comprehended out of nowhere. I don't know how it happened either. The old headmaster's eye twitched. After a long silence, he took a deep breath. No sword intent, no intent of any kind is allowed. As he spoke, he gritted his teeth. Being knocked back once by a kid, forced to use power beyond the martial warrior realm once. How embarrassing. Without sword intent, how can I even fight? Gu Pingyan's eyes widened. Then, he flashed an innocent, harmless smile. With so many restrictions, headmaster, shouldn't you offer some incentive? The old headmaster paused, then said with a huff. What kind of incentive? A glint flashed in Gu Pingyan's eyes, still looking utterly innocent. How about this? Here's a martial warrior fight. Force you back, or make you use power beyond the warrior realm. He paused, the light in his eyes growing brighter. Besides the daily bottle of wine, you prepare an extra jug for me. How about it? The old headmaster stared at Gu Pingyan for a long moment. Then he slowly nodded and declared proudly, fine. I agree. Hearing this, Gu Pingyan's smile vanished. He broke off another branch from the battered peach tree. Then, holding the branch, he pointed diagonally at the ground. Suddenly, the youthful vigor about Gu Pingyan completely dissipated, replaced by the weight of countless years. The weariness of time. The old headmaster's expression changed. He vaguely felt he'd been tricked. Headmaster, as sword technique. It's 6,000 miles. He paused, the weariness in the youth's eyes deepening. Aged and weary, it strangely mixed with a hint of youthful spirit. A hazy aura also rose around him. He opened his mouth, gently inhaled a breath of stale air, then slowly exhaled. Stale air churned into form, like half a world of rivers and lakes rising and falling. The youth standing with the peach branch raised it high above his head. He sighed softly. 6,000 miles of road, clouds and moon, a worn-out horse, cheap wine, a spirited heart, a cup of wine on the city wall. In this moment, he seemed to become the old, gap-toothed carriage driver from his mental world, entering the martial world, leaving the martial world. That youthful spirit remains even now, just with an extra ounce of worldly weariness. The peach branch slashed down. The old headmaster jumped 3 feet high. Tricked. Chapter 20. Great sword embryo emerges. Heaven and earth star. Top floor, penthouse terrace of Tyne City's largest 5-star hotel. 3 young men and 2 young women sat around on the terrace, quietly enjoying the spring breeze. Zhang Jinghong, wearing a blue necklace, yawned as she sipped her coffee. She spoke lazily. 5 days until the college exam. How we visit Tyne High School tomorrow or the day after. What do you think? She paused, elegantly picking up her coffee cup. Her slender fingers held a small spoon, stirring it gently in the coffee. After all, let's see how people in a small place cultivate. It's a chance to broaden our horizons. A handsome young man put on a smile. Jinghong, what's so interesting about a high school in this small town? I bet in that so-called Tyne number 1 high. Probably isn't even a martial artist. The most steady young man frowned slightly. He said softly, we can go. But don't be too arrogant and domineering. You never know what hidden talents might be there. Zhang Jinghong curled her lip. She didn't speak. The still smiling young man chimed in. Brother Wong, what kind of dragon or tiger could be hidden in a place like this? A snake and a cat, more like. As he spoke, he felt somewhat dismissive. Taiyan City, to be fair, isn't exactly a small town, but can it compare to us coming from the imperial capital? Not even close. The young man, surnamed Wong, frowned again. He spoke quite seriously, not to mention anything else. Just take Li Tongming, the son of Taiyan's chief executive. He's famous even in imperial capital university. By 22, he was already a peak grandmaster. That's different. Zhang Jinghong retorted, quite displeased. A direct descendant of a king. His status is no worse than ours. And he's older than us. She paused, lifting her chin slightly. In 4 years, I'm destined to reach the peak grandmaster realm. That Li Tongming is nothing special. As for those kids at tie number 1 high now, when the college entrance exams come, I can sweep them all with one hand. The young man, surnamed Wong, glanced at the haughty Zhang Jinghong. He scoffed. Would you dare say that in front of Li Tongming? Even your brother avoids him at Imperial Capital University. He's the top student in his junior year. Pausing, Wong's expression grew more serious. He spoke earnestly. I'm genuinely advising you all to tone it down. From what I know, if Chief Executive Li of Taiyan breaks through to the venerable realm in the next 2 months, he might be transferred to the capital as the Grand Executive of Xianying Province. The few young men and women were all slightly stunned. Someone exclaimed, how is that possible? The Grand Executive of Xianying Province. Isn't that a position for legendary guardian-level figures? That's the rule, Wong said, but Chief Executive Li's father reportedly died fighting for his majesty. The royal family remembers such loyalty. Even Zhang Jinghong looked shocked now. Xianying Province is different from others. The imperial capital lies within it. Traditionally, the Grand Executive of Xianying has always been a Mountain Sea realm powerhouse, a position of immense power and prestige, utterly formidable. Her brow shot up sharply. She forced herself to argue stubbornly. Chief Executive Li is indeed remarkable, but how long has he been stuck at peak king? Comprehending intent in 2 months? Is that even possible? Before she could finish, a sudden thunderous boom echoed from sky. Zhang Jinghong jumped in fright. Some coffee spilled from her hand, staining her pure white dress with a large blot. Yet she showed no anger, only gazing in astonishment at the skyline. The other 5 youths also wore looks of utter shock, staring at the spectacle on the horizon. There, a mighty river of sword energy surged, cascading down from above the clouds. The 6,000-mile inverted river. What a terrifying sword technique. A marquee level longevity expert, or even a king level one. The young man, surnamed Wong, looked grave, his gaze fixed, somewhat dazed, on the magnificent scene. Zhang Jinghong was completely mesmerized, a flicker of yearning appearing in his eyes. He murmured, I wonder which peerless swordsman that is. Galaxy inverted for 6,000 miles. Sword energy so vast, it could topple the city. In Taiyan City's administration hall, Li Tianming, who'd been resting with eyes closed, snapped them open. In a flash, he appeared by the window, gazing at the galaxy pouring down from the clouds. No sword intent involved. What a terrifying sword technique. He was shocked, his pupils contracting sharply. If that celestial river of sword energy had been brimming with sword intent, Li Tianming would have found strange, surprising at least, for a venerable to wield a sword. Such might is only fitting. The problem was within this vast, surging sword energy. There was no trace of sword intent. It was pure sword technique. A sword technique refined to the extreme. This was what most shocked this administrator. Just a sword technique, yet like an inverted galaxy. As if ancient rivers and lakes churned within it. As if bearing the high spirits of martial heroes. Without sword intent, yet surpassing sword intent. Li Tianming's body tensed instinctively. He quickly judged the origin of the strike. It seems to be from Elder Li's residence. He sighed in relief. If it's Elder Li wielding the sword, then everything makes sense. After all, that one was once a truly great figure, in the backyard of a detached villa. Even Gu Pingyan himself was astonished by the might of this sword. To be so fierce, especially since I can't use sword intent. And the old principle is far too unfathomable. For the fine wine, I borrowed the power from that hilt. Truly worthy of being a great Luo sword embryo. Even a mere trace of power from just a hilt is still this terrifying. Beside him, the old principal watched the river of sword energy cascading towards him. Stunned, bewildered. This sword, it actually touches upon the might of Venerable, though it's far from enough to harm me. The problem is the one who unleashed it. He's a martial artist, a kid. The old headmaster's eye twitched, no longer suppressing his cultivation. With a sudden wave of his hand, a fierce gale arose. Instantly, the 6,000 li of sword energy was utterly obliterated. Gu Pingyan felt a sudden jolt in his heart. The old headmaster fixed his gaze intently on Gu Pingyan. He spoke gravely, Pingyan, this sword. What's going on? A sheepish smile appeared on Gu Pingyan's face. It's not that I can't use sword intent. I just borrowed a bit of the treasure's power. As he spoke, he flipped his palm. The hilt of the great Luo sword embryo materialized out of thin air. Instantly, the heavens and earth changed color. The stars throughout the firmament trembled. The old headmaster's expression also changed drastically, shouting urgently, "Put it away!" Gu Pingyan was a bit stunned, but his movements weren't slow, quickly retracting the hilt into his sea of consciousness. Immediately, the strange phenomena ceased. The faint immortal ascension light rain that had just begun to condense in midair also dissipated completely. Chapter 21. Go and find wine for you. At this moment, the ancestral star shook. Even in the depths of the starry sky, ancient existences awoke. In the Great Ming Kingdom, the Great Ming King's expression shook as he abruptly said, "This aura, an immortal Dao weapon? No, it seems even above an immortal Dao weapon." As he spoke, he suddenly turned his head, looking towards the seated. He was shocked and uncertain, imposing old man. Great-grandfather, what was that just now? The old man wore a set of black robes, embroidered with 10 soaring dragons, vivid and lifelike. He snapped back to attention. Brilliant, boundless light erupted from his eyes. Within them, wisps of chaotic energy flowed. I don't know, the aura flashed and was gone. But I could see a long sword, see the immortal ascension light rain, see immortals and demons weeping. He paused, then stood up. With a grave expression, it seems to be a supreme treasure. A treasure surpassing the immortal Dao weapon. The great Zhou King gasped in shock. This monarch, akin to a deity among men, was visibly shaken. A Dao weapon above the immortal level appears in the ancestral star. I'm afraid the pressure on the starry sky great wall will be even greater. A touch of worry crept into his heart. At this very time, a Dao weapon beyond the immortal level flickers into existence on the ancestral star. The myriad races will likely grow restless. The old man clad in the 10 dragon robe nodded slightly. This year, it's that old white bear from the winter country guarding the starry sky great wall. Now, with such a change occurring, he alone might find it beyond his strength. He paused, his gaze profound. I will summon the other 6 immortals to convene an immortal assembly. This year, perhaps we need to send one more immortal to guard the starry sky great wall. The ancestral star has 8 immortals. Each year, one guards the starry sky great wall. Rotating annually. It is precisely because of this that we have safeguarded the ancestral star's peace all these years. Great Ming King exhaled a faint breath of hurt air. He spoke with a hint of emotion. The immortal gathering. I wonder where that fleeting Dao soldier from earlier came from, which deity it belonged to. The Great Ming Kingdom's immortal, clad in the 10 dragon robe, shook his head lightly. A little reminiscence surfaced in his eyes. Countless years ago, I was merely at the king realm. Back then, humanity was at its peak, and Dao soldiers above the immortal realm were almost held by every branch of the human race. As he spoke, he sighed softly. But now the world is vast. The starry sky, boundless, with only our ancestral star, still harboring the last lineage of humanity. In the depths of the starry sky, within planets many hundreds, thousands of times larger than the former blue star, powerful, inconceivable existences raised their heads. They gazed towards the direction of the ancestral star. Yet their gazes were blocked by the starry sky great wall. Upon the great wall, the corpse nailed to the rampart trembled slightly. All the terrifying beings attempting to peer at the ancestral star abruptly closed their eyes. Blood seeped from their eyes. A Tao soldier above the immortal realm. A powerful existence murmured. In their bleeding eyes, fervor and wariness appeared. The human ancestral star actually has a Tao soldier above the immortal realm emerging. This is not a good omen. Humanity must not rise again. The entire depths of the starry sky erupted into turmoil. Tyne City, Villa Garden, the one who stirred the motion of the great immortal realm existences, who set the entire starry sky ablaze, now wore completely bewildered expression. Gu Pingin blinked, his heart shaken. This great Luo sword embryo. Isn't its terror a bit excessive? It's just a hilt. He originally thought this great Luo sword embryo merely shared its name with that legendary immortal emperor's weapon. Now, it seems this is indeed the weapon of that Huang. Merely the hilt appearing in the world caused the stars to tremble, made heaven and earth lose color. Gu Pingin swallowed hard. Beside him, the old headmaster's expression was grave to the extreme. He spoke very seriously. Pingin, what is that hilt? His heart was also roiling with shock. A Tao soldier above the immortal realm. How could it appear in Pingin's hands? Such a great weapon can truly protect an entire ancient clan. Gu Pingin hesitated for a moment, then looked at the old headmaster and spoke softly. I don't know how it happened either. This hilt has been in my mental world since I was born, it seems. He couldn't explain the origin of the great Luo sword embryo. He couldn't very well say it was a reward from drinking, could he? A congenital treasure seemed the best explanation. Sure enough, the old headmaster's eyes widened, his voice slightly choked. A congenital treasure? But how could there be such a powerful congenital treasure? So truly unparalleled, heaven-defying geniuses, peerless freaks, are indeed born with congenital treasures. The human race is actually quite rare. Among the 10 ancient races of the starry sky, when those geniuses are born, they almost all possess a companion treasure. But the problem is, normally, companion treasure at most 7 realms, mountain sea grade, or 8 realms, divine grade artifacts. I've never even heard of a companion treasure at the immortal Tao artifact level. Yet Gu Pingin's companion treasure is beyond immortal. The old headmaster's mind was shaken, nearly losing control for a long moment. He took a deep breath and spoke very seriously. Pingin, don't use that sword hilt lightly. Even if you must use it, remember, never directly take it out from your sea of consciousness. Gu Pingin nodded thoughtfully. Seeing this, the old headmaster said nothing more. He just stomped back into the house. Then came out holding 5 ancient porcelain bottles, 5 bottles of ancient method aged wine. Gu Pingin was a bit confused. He asked, puzzled, Headmaster, wasn't it supposed to be 1 bottle a day? The old headmaster rolled his eyes and said grumpily, I was going to teach you some things. Now? Forget it. He caught his breath. That sword move of yours is brilliant. It's called 6,000 Li, right? Gu Pingin nodded. He said softly, Sword 9, 6,000 Li. Actually, you didn't need to use that hilt at all. Just this 6,000 Li was enough to defeat me. Once this move is unleashed, there's probably no finer sword technique under heaven. As he spoke, the old headmaster sighed with emotion. Below the marquee level, I have nothing left to teach you. You stay here these few days. I need to go out for a bit. The wine, you can have it all now. Gu Pingin was slightly taken aback. He asked curiously, where are you going? The old headmaster rolled his eyes again, grumbling. Where else? I'm a man of my word. Actually, I'm going to find you an even better bottle of ancient method aged wine. Don't worry, I'll be back before the college entrance exams. You drink less. With that, the old headmaster handed the 5 bottles of top-grade aged wine to Gu Pingin. Then his figure blurred as he stepped into the air and left. Gu Pingin silently looked at the 5 ancient porcelain bottles of arms. Couldn't help but swallow. Chapter 22, The Iron-Eating Beast King. Second grade, Grandmaster Realm. Glug, 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 glug. Gu Pingin chugged the wine in big gulps, then let out a satisfied belch. Host consumes 200-year-old Huajiao wine. Top grade, gains 15 years of cultivation. Bones crackled. Life essence emerged from the void, soaking into Gu Pingin's body. Grandmaster 3rd grade, Grandmaster 2nd grade, Grandmaster 1st grade. He exhaled a faint, wine-scented turbid breath. Muscles and bones hummed in unison. He gently clenched his fist. 90,000 kilograms of force. A full 90 tons of power erupted. Air compressed and exploded. The sonic boom echoed with shockwaves, whipping up howling winds across the garden. Reached the first rank of Grandmaster, but no critical reward. Gu Pingin murmured to himself, glancing at the 4 remaining bottles of fine wine on the ground. He resisted the urge to drink them all. After all, there's still the hangover cultivation reward. Can't let that go to waste. Down the remaining half bottle in his hand. Muscles trembled slightly, force quickly catalyzing the alcohol, spreading throughout his body before long. Gu Pingin felt dizzy and unsteady. Without hesitation, he collapsed and fell asleep. Beyond ancestral star, absolute vacuum. The old headmaster walked through it, as if climbing stairs, expression unreadable. He looked back at the unimaginably vast ancestral star. Slightly emotional, haven't left ancestral star in so long. Since 1800 years ago, when 3 ancient clans attacked together. After that battle, the old headmaster returned to ancestral star, and never left again. 1800 years passed in a flash. Shook his head slightly, stopped dwelling on it. He took a sudden step, tearing the void to shreds. The old headmaster forcibly ripped open a wormhole, stepped through, crossing an immense distance, reappeared outside a massive ancient realm. Gazing at this enormous ancient realm, the old headmaster couldn't help but smile. Then the smile faded. He extended his fist and gave a light knock. A dull thud like war drums beating. Vast stretches of void rippled with visible folds, turning into shimmering waves, spreading far and wide. Moments later, a majestic gateway opened in the ancient realm. A terrifying creature rolled out. Yes, rolled out. A bamboo-eating beast. The old headmaster bowed, smiling. Greetings, bamboo-eating beast king. The round creature scratched its head, looking adorable, speaking in a muffled voice. Oh, it's you. I remember you. You're that guy beside the great Chin human king. Paused, patted its belly, said lazily, what brings you here? The old headmaster remained calm, just bowed again, still smiling. Came to retrieve that pot of wine the great Chin human king left with your clan. The bamboo-eating beast king blinked, thought slowly for a moment, then patted its head. Oh, you mean bamboo leaf wine. Follow me. Without any weariness, turned around, wiggled its rear, and returned to the ancient realm. The old headmaster tensed slightly, then quickly followed. The bamboo-eating beast ancient clan is one of the 10 great ancient clans in the starry sky. The Iron Devourer King is an immortal realm existence. It's also the sole ancient clan friendly with humanity. The next day in Tyne City, Gu Pingin awoke groggily. A hangover rewards 10 years of cultivation. Familiar power surged within him once more. Instantly, all his bones crackled in unison. The hum of sinews and bones filled the air. Every pore on his body trembled slightly. A sense of perfection washed over him. A grandmaster is unified, flawless, with strength surpassing 100,000 kilograms. Lifespan extended by a century. Gupingen had become a grandmaster. After a long while, he slowly opened his eyes. A sharp gleam flashed, and he exhaled a turbid breath. The turbid breath transformed into a fierce G arrow. It pierced the wall and embedded itself in the garden soil, leaving a 2-finger-wide, bottomless hole. So this is grandmaster? Not so hard. Gupingen murmured. Good morning. Ah, another beautiful day. Time flies. Another 3 days, another hangover, another 10-year cultivation reward. Familiar power surged forth. Although none of the 3 premium wines triggered a critical hit, combined with the 3 hangover rewards, they provided Gupingen with 75 years of cultivation. This propelled him to the second-rank grandmaster realm. If he drank the last bottle, he would immediately achieve first-rank grandmaster, closing the threshold of the marquee longevity realm. Stretching, Gupingen yawned. Not enough sleep. The old principal should be returning today, right? Wonder how little Yao Yao's been. She still doesn't reply much. Thinking of the Yao Yao, a faint smile touched Gupingen's lips. Morning sunlight streamed down. A slight chill lingered. Most people on the street wore long sleeves. Spring cold can sometimes bite deeper than winters. The senior martial arts students of Den number 1 high were up early. After all, the day's plan is made at dawn. Morning training is often the most effective. The Yao Yao stood on the field in a short-sleeved shirt, seemingly unbothered by the morning's biting chill. She just stared blankly at the sky, lost in thought. Beside her, Su Xiaoyan teased with a smirk. Little Yao Yao, are you thinking about your Gupingen? The Yao Yao snapped back, her cheeks flushing slightly. She widened her eyes. Don't talk nonsense. He's not mine. Su Xiaoyan grinned. Then he's mine. In your dreams. The Yao Yao blurted out, then caught herself. Her cheeks grew even redder. Su Xiaoyan gave her a once-over with a look of disdain. She clicked her tongue. You little thing. Just admit you're lovesick. Looking all shy and embarrassed. But hey, spring is here after all. She covered her mouth and giggled. The Yao Yao was getting a bit flustered. She reached out, pretended to hit her. Su Xiaoyan quickly dodged. Laughing merrily, thump. Su Xiaoyan, dodging Yao Yao's punch, bumped into a girl wearing a blue necklace. The girl didn't budge an inch, while Su Xiaoyan stumbled, landing squarely on her backside. Chapter 23. Tomorrow, I'll kill you. Su Xiaoyan scrambled to her feet, wearing an apologetic look as she faced the richly dressed young lady. Sorry, I didn't see you there, she said, clasping her hands together in a slight bow. Zhang Jinghong lightly brushed off her dress. People from backwater places really have no manners, she sneered. Her nostrils flared slightly. She let out a disdainful snort. Su Xiaoyan stood frozen. The Yao Yao, who had run over, heard this. Her brow furrowed. She looked at this haughty girl with the blue necklace. Angrily, she retorted, didn't she just apologize? It's your words are truly rude. Zhang Jinghong didn't get angry. She just gave another faint, disdainful snort, as if it was beneath her to argue with ants. She turned her head to glance at the 4 boys and 1 girl who had come with her. She chuckled lightly. So this is the famous Tai number 1 high school. Honestly, it's even worse than I imagined. What do you think? A young man, surnamed Wang, frowned. He replied non-committally, I think it's all right. Another girl nodded in agreement, looking at the Yao Yao and Su Xiaoyan with a hint of apology. Sorry, our friend here has a bit of temper. The Yao Yao linked arms with Su Xiaoyan. Her tightly furrowed brow relaxed slightly. It's fine. Before she could finish, Zhang Jinghong's sharp, caustic voice cut in again. By E, there's no need for you to play the good person here. As she spoke, a trace of anger flickered across her face. She wouldn't easily get angry over what she saw as ants. But Bai Yi was different. She was her companion, someone of equal status in her eyes. At least, that's how she saw it. Another young man nearby chuckled lightly. Sister Jinghong, Sister Yi, come on now. Why argue over a couple of country bumpkins? It's not worth it. The expressions on the Yao Yao and Su Xiaoyan's faces turned cold again. Su Xiaoyan couldn't hold back her anger any longer. Who do you think you are? Backwater place this. Backwater place that. Before she could finish, a dangerous glint flashed in Zhang Jinghong's eyes. Her left hand shot up, rigid as a blade, tendons vibrating, immense power erupting, a slash through the air. Who gave you the right to interrupt? The air compressed under the terrifying force. Transformed into a blade of air, it howled forth. The Yao Yao's expression shifted slightly. She stepped in front of Su Xiaoyan, crossing her arms over her chest. Bang! The air blade slammed hard into the Yao Yao's forearms. She grunted in pain. Staggering back 2 steps, the shattered air blade tore her short sleeves to shreds, revealing her fair, lotus root-like arms. A martial artist too. Zhang Jinghong's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise, quickly replaced by coldness. She bent her knees slightly, the ground beneath cracking, poised to strike again. If I were you, I wouldn't do that. A calm voice suddenly rang out. Everyone paused, looking towards the source of the voice. Zhao Wuji. Zhang Jinghong's eyes narrowed sharply, her body tensing. Zhao Wuji ignored her. He simply walked up to Li Yao Yao, keeping a polite distance. Sister-in-law, are you all right? He asked warmly. Li Yao Yao was taken aback. Surprisingly, she didn't refute the title, just shook her head. I'm fine, she said softly. After all, she's an 8th grade martial artist. Just an air blade, it couldn't hurt her. Brother Zhao, what brings you here? The man surnamed Wang finally spoke up. Gesturing toward Yao Yao, he asked, and his classmate is, his face full of inquiry. The smile faded from Zhao Wuji's face. He glanced at them coolly. Here to borrow a place for the college entrance exam, right? A word of advice. Don't cause trouble at Tai number 1 high. Zhang Jinghong raised an eyebrow. Zhao Wuji, she said coldly. That patriarch of your Zhao family. His time is almost up, isn't it? Once the Zhao family has no venerable one, and your clan declines, what will you be worth then? Li Yao Yao and Su Xiaoyan were slightly stunned. They exchanged glance, seeing mutual astonishment in each other's eyes. This transfer student's family actually had a venerable one? A single venerable one is enough to serve as the chief administrator of an entire province, a scion of a true elite family like that. Why? Why would he show such respect to Gupingen? Li Yao Yao couldn't help but recall that day at the Li administrator's residence. A faint guess began to form in her heart. Zhao Wuji shot Zhang Jinghong a look. His voice was icy. None of your damn business, old man. A black-clad elder appeared beside him. Young master, if these few dare to provoke again, shall I have them thrown out of Tai number 1 high? The elder bowed slightly. Then, the aura of a peaked grandmaster erupted from his body, sweeping over the group with crushing pressure. The faces of the 4 men and 2 women paled slightly. Zhang Jinghong, instead of getting angry, laughed. Fine. Tomorrow is the exam. The final test is an unrestricted arena match. As she spoke, a dangerous glint flashed in her eyes. She looked at Li Yao Yao and Su Xiaoyan. Zhao Wuji can protect you today, but he can't tomorrow. With those words, Zhang Jinghong snorted lightly and turned to leave. Mr. Wang glanced at the imposing elder and spoke to Zhao Wuji apologetically. Brother Zhao, This is her own decision. It's none of our business. I'll talk to her when we get back. Zhao Wuji's expression turned odd, and he chuckled softly. Meaningfully, he said, no need. She's my sister-in-law. Mr. Wang was slightly taken aback, and instinctively glanced at the pouting Li Yaoyao, wondering in his heart about this girl. Could she have some powerful background? He shook his head, dismissing the thought, cupped his hands toward Zhao Wuji, and then led everyone away from tie number 1 high school. That, Zhao. Li Yaoyao hesitated. Who were they? She asked softly. Zhao Wuji became eager, bending slightly at the waist. Sister-in-law. They're just some young masters and misses from the capital. But compared to Brother Ping'an, they're nothing. He's someone who has comprehended intent. In a way, he's comparable to a venerable one. Li Yaoyao and Su Shaoyan exchanged a look, still somewhat confused. Meanwhile, in the villa, Gu Ping'an, quietly contemplating the netherworld sword intent, stirred slightly. Opened his eyes. Principal, you're back. As the words fell, the old principal's figure slowly materialized from the void. Gu Ping'an's eyes widened. The old principal held an ancient wine jar in his left hand, and in his right, a little panda. Chapter 24. Whoa. There's a dog? The old principal first placed the ancient wine jar on the table, then lifted the panda by the scruff of its neck, and said cheerfully, this is a local specialty I brought back from my trip. Gu Ping'an's eye twitched. Hey, specialty? The little panda wriggled free from the old principal's grasp. Its chubby body rolled on the floor, then waddled over to the garden, plopped down, and started sunbathing. Gu Ping'an glanced at the ancient wine jar and asked, puzzled, Principal, you want to get wine, but you also brought back chubby one? As he spoke, he swallowed instinctively. Don't get the wrong idea. It wasn't the chubby one that made him swallow. It was the wine jar. The old principal raised his head proudly and declared with gusto, I visited an old friend's place, and he insisted on giving me his son. What could I do? I see. Gu Ping'an nodded gently, then widened his eyes. His son? The old principal chuckled guiltily and said, somewhat awkwardly, yes, my old friend happens to be a panda. Gu Ping'an fell silent. He looked at the sunbathing chubby one in the garden, then shot a suspicious glance at the old principal. Why does it feel like this chubby one was abducted? Meanwhile, in the ancient realm of the iron-eating beast clan, the adorable iron-eating beast king lounged comfortably on his throne, crafted from divine bamboo. He extended a furry paw and patted his round belly. Where has our little crown prince run off to sunbathe this time? I don't see him anywhere. The beast king's voice boomed like a giant bell. Its reverberations were deafening. Beside him, the clan's grand elder widened his jet-black eyes. Your Majesty, didn't you have that human take the crown prince to the human ancestral star for training? Our iron-eating beast clan has good relations with humanity. When this beast king was weak, he once followed the great Qin human king, who has since fallen in battle, to wreak havoc on the ancestral star. To travel the ancestral star. Back then, the beast king was weak, and that great Qin human king was also weak. Therefore, when the old headmaster took Chubby away, the iron-eating beast guarding the gate didn't stop him. The beast king's comfortable expression froze completely. He looked at the grand elder and spoke with difficulty. That human, zapped up to the crown prince. The grand elder was momentarily stunned, then gave a somewhat wooden nod. A terrifying aura of the immortal realm shot into the heavens. The entire ancient realm trembled. The momentum even shattered the realm's barriers, sweeping across the starry sky. Countless great stars, under this dreadful pressure, disintegrated. Many suns collapsed prematurely and exploded. Powerful beings deep in the cosmos trembled with fear. It's the iron-eating beast king. Who provoked him to offend the ancient jade? This is a calamity that could wipe out a clan. Every immortal ancient king is a figure standing at the pinnacle of the cosmos. Take humanity, for example, who relied on a few ancient kings and a cosmic great wall to repel countless invasions by ancient races. After an unknown amount of time, from within the vast ancient realm of the iron-eating beast clan, came a terrifying roar. Holy crap, there's a dog. Several powerful beings who were solemnly observing this ancient realm were all momentarily taken back, their minds racing with speculation. A dog? Could it be the immortal ancient king of the heavenly dog clan, clashing with the iron-eating beast king? Meanwhile, the heavenly dog ancient king was utterly bewildered, trembling in fear. There are differences between immortals. The iron-eating beast clan is one of the 10 directions ancient clans. In other words, one of the 10 most powerful races in the entire cosmos. The heavenly dog king hesitated for a long time, and shouldered 9 divine bamboos, and personally went to the iron-eating beast ancient realm to apologize, even though he didn't know what his crime was. Langi province, Great Qin nation, Tyne city. Gu Ping'an held the little iron-eating beast, scratched its belly, and said with a smile, Headmaster, let's just call him Gu Gun from now on. By the way, you abducted his son. Won't your old friend come looking for trouble? Well, actually, Gu Ping'an wanted to name him Bing Dun Dun, but he had a hunch that if he really used that name, the whole world might be suppressed and erased by Supreme Being. The old principal didn't bat an eye. It's fine. My old friend was once taken to the ancestral star for a while. Wait, no, I wasn't taken, he said, putting on a righteous face. Anyway, I've given you the wine now, and I'm entrusting my old friend's son to you. You better take good care of him. Gu Ping'an's eye twitched. Principal, how am I supposed to take him? I'm going to the capital after the exams. Can Gu Gun Gun even get on a plane? As he spoke, he pinched the round, furry cheek. Gu Gun Gun was quite attached to Gu Ping'an. He just hugged his neck. The whole person, well, whole bear, hanging on him. The old principal chuckled softly. No problem. I'll have someone raise your security clearance. Just a tiny bit. You could waltz into a military base with Gu Gun Gun and no one stop you. Then he added another reminder. Gun Gun isn't an ordinary iron eater. In a year at most, or maybe just 2 months, he'll refine his throat bone and start talking. Gu Ping'an was stunned for a moment. An iron eater can talk. Then he reconsidered. Well, it made sense. People can fly and tunnel through Earth. Our Gun Gun talking is pretty normal. The old principal glanced at his watch, his expression turning more serious. He took a deep breath. I have to go see your teacher's wife today. You go take the exam tomorrow yourself. After a pause, he added, don't drink too much. With that, the old principal's figure vanished into the void again. Gu Ping'an held Gu Gun Gun, his gaze falling on the ancient wine jar. A light flittered. Chapter 25. Immortal grade wine, explosive car, severing karma, severing Tao, seeing self. Gu Ping'an, holding a confused Gun Gun, walked to the table. He first placed Gun Gun on the chair, then picked up the ancient wine jar from the table. Gun Gun sat on the chair, looking dazed. A moment later, he stretched out his 2 chubby little hands toward Gu Ping'an. Squeak, whimper, ing. Gu Ping'an's expression changed. Holding the wine jar, he looked very seriously at Gu Gun Gun. Solemnly, he said, Gun Gun, listen up. Squeaking and whimpering are fine, but let's not do the ing, okay? Ing monsters tend to get punched out one by one. Gu Gun Gun's round, chubby face was full of confusion. He tilted his head, his big eyes within the black eye circles blinking once. Then, Gu Gun Gun went ing. Gu Ping'an's face darkened. Somewhat helplessly, he patted Gun Gun's soft, round head. Wait, I'll play with you in a bit. Taking a deep breath, He forcefully tore open the seal on the ancient wine jar. Instantly, the fresh scent of bamboo mixed with an overwhelmingly rich aroma of wine. The aroma burst forth and even spoke. Faintly, Gu Pingyan could see what seemed to be immortal light swirling inside the wine jar. His spirit was slightly shaken. Immortal light swirled. Wine fragrance lingered. What grade of wine is this? Gu Gun's nose twitched. His eyes suddenly lit up brightly, and he immediately took a small leap. Splat! Gu Gun fell face down, hitting the floor squarely. He flipped over and stood up again. Wobbling, he ran to Gu Pingyan's side. He spread his limbs and hugged Gu Pingyan's leg. Then he pointed the wine jar in Gu Pingyan's hand. Ing. Gu Pingyan sniffed the wine's aroma. He patted Gun, smiled, and said, "All right, wait, let me have a sip first." This jar of wine was full of the fresh scent of bamboo. He had a vague suspicion in his heart. Could it be brewed by the old principal's panda friend? That really might be possible. He stopped overthinking it. Gu Pingyan took a gulp of the clear wine. As the wine went down his throat, the fresh bamboo flavor exploded. Before the notification sound even rang, Gu Pingyan sensed a rich divine essence bursting forth. It soaked into his bones and organs. His organs trembled, emitting thunderous rumbles. It cleansed his entire body. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. Along with that crisp sound, his second-grade Grandmaster cultivation surged. In a blink, he stepped into the first-grade Grandmaster realm. And this was just the original effect of this jar of bamboo wine. Post-consumes divine bamboo, immortality, medicinal wine. Acquire 500 years of cultivation from immortal grade remnant. Acquire innate affinity with the Panda clan. Acquire a wisp of immortal Dao charm. First time consuming immortal grade wine. Sky-splitting sword intent comprehension increased by 30%. First time consuming immortal grade wine. Reward, here's the technique. Sever cause, sever effect, sever Dao, see my true self. Holy crap, jackpot. This was the only thought in Gu Pingyan's mind. He instinctively continued gulping it down, glug, glug, glug. Half the jar of wine went down his stomach, and his realm soared simultaneously. In the Grandmaster realm, 10 years of cultivation can raise one minor grade. From first grade Grandmaster to Marquis Longevity realm, it only took 50 years of cultivation. And in the Marquis Longevity realm, 50 years of cultivation are needed to raise one minor level. 500 years of cultivation let Gu Pingyan reach the heavens in one step. In an instant, he stepped into the first grade Marquis Longevity realm. Even at 50 years of cultivation to spare. Unfortunately, to advance from first grade Longevity realm to King realm would require another 500 years of cultivation. Otherwise, Gu Pingyan would have already reached the King realm. But even so, it's still terrifying. Marquis Longevity realm, enough to command an army as a general. This time, Gu Pingyan didn't need to suppress his chi and blood to activate the wine's potency himself. The terrifying force of the divine bamboo, immortality, medicinal wine instantly overwhelmed him. He fell headfirst to the ground. Passed out drunk. The remaining half jar of immortal grade wine fell towards the floor. Caught by Gu Gun's two furry bare paws. Gu Gun opened his mouth wide and chugged it down. Glug, 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 glug. Crash, the wine jar shattered. Gu Gun, half the jar of divine bamboo, immortality, wine, also passed out drunk. Beyond the ancestral star, the void rippled. A middle-aged woman, appearing elegant and noble, stepped forth. The old headmaster, whose wife had long been waiting nearby, scurried up to her. Her fond smile. I've been waiting for you to come back. You have no idea. These past few days you were gone. The woman rolled her eyes and interrupted impatiently. Enough. While I was away, you must have been over the moon, weren't you? As she spoke, she frowned slightly, looking somewhat grave. You have the aura of an immortal. It's the iron-eating beast kings. You want to find it? The old headmaster nodded straightforwardly. Sneaking a grin, he said, I made a bet with Pingyan. Lost. So I went to the ancient realm of the iron-eating beasts and fetched that old jar of divine bamboo immortality and wine back. And I also managed to bring back the iron-eating beast king's direct descendant. The woman's eye twitched. Her eyes widened. You really dare? Fine. If the iron-eating beast king causes trouble later, I'll handle it. Her voice was light and airy, as if this wasn't any big deal. The old headmaster chuckled and scratched his head. Speaking of which, dear, you haven't met Pingyan yet. Wait until his college entrance exams are over. You two can have a proper meeting. That kid is a real genius, you know. The woman grew somewhat interested and asked curiously, oh, how much of a genius? Just as she finished speaking, a majestic force surged over the ancestral star. Both the old headmaster and the middle-aged woman's expressions changed. The two keenly sensed the surging tide of karma. It was precisely at their home with Gu Pingyan. The middle-aged woman decisively acted, instantly concealing the spreading fluctuations of the karma tide completely. Chapter 26. Taking Gu Gun to the college entrance exams. A man and a panda lay embracing each other on the floor, snoring soundly. This was the scene the old headmaster and Fairy Ling Long returned to. Fairy Ling Long's eyelid twitched, glancing at the shattered wine jar. These two brats finished the entire jar of divine bamboo immortality elixir wine in one go. The old headmaster's expression changed, his divine sense sweeping out majestically. A moment later, he breathed a sigh of relief. I forgot to warn Pingyan. Luckily, nothing happened. As he spoke, the old headmaster and Fairy Ling Long exchanged glances. Both saw shock in each other's eyes. The divine bamboo immortality elixir wine. Drinking too much could even cause one to explode and die on the spot. Yet Gu Pingyan and Gu Gun were sleeping soundly as if nothing happened, even if we let Gu Gun slide. After all, he's a direct descendant of the Immortal King. But Gu Pingyan, Fairy Ling Long took a deep breath, said with some astonishment, Chong Sheng, I believe you now. Ping is truly a fearless prodigy. That terrifying sword intent, as Ali just now, seems to have emanated from Ping and as well. The old principal let out a bit of laugh. I'm afraid so, but he concealed it quickly. It shouldn't be a problem. He paused for a moment, then added, oh, I specifically sought out the King of Qin. I slightly raised Ping and security clearance by just a tiny bit. It should help him avoid detection by most outsiders. Xian Ling Long gave a slight nod. Such a prodigy, if he doesn't fall, is destined to reach the immortal realm. But now, with us protecting his path, even if an immortal were to attack, it wouldn't matter. It seems your human race will gain another immortal. Meanwhile, within Gu Pingyan's spiritual world, he sat cross-legged in the void above his sea of consciousness, eyes closed. What is cause? What is effect? A grand and majestic voice resonated in the emptiness, deafening, like the vast sound of heaven itself. Cause is the beginning, the origin of all things and events. Gu Pingyan, eyes still closed, answered involuntarily. Effect is the end, conclusion of all things and events. What is the Tao? The Tao is the root of all existence and non-existence, the natural order of all things, the law of all creation. What is the self? I am the Tao. The Tao is me. I am myself. Gu Pingyan answered, faint, thread-like line starlight into his body. Each starlight thread connected to an event, an object, or person. These dense, intricate threads of starlight, with the karmic ties he had formed since arriving in this world. After a long while, the majestic voice spoke again. Sever cause, sever effect, sever the Tao to truly know the self. Let the past vanish like smoke. The future lies entirely at your feet. If you perfect all three intents of this sword technique, you will attain the Tao on the spot. With these words, the majestic voice faded away, and Gu Pingyan slowly opened his eyes. Congratulations, host. You have comprehended sever cause, sever effect technique. With the first intent mastered, sever cause cuts the beginning, sever effect cuts the end. A single sword strike against causality holds immense terror. Gu Ping murmured, lost in thought. Sever cause, sever effect, sever the doubt, see self. Within this supreme sword technique, sever cause and sever effect are one part, sever the doubt is another, and see self is the third. Although I've only grasped the first intent of sever cause, sever effect, Gu Ping could feel that. This single intent is far more powerful. The six-fold sky-cleaving sword intent and the fourfold yellow spring sword intent. Just a pity, it cannot be used lightly. The sword of causality is an inescapable strike. The path of causality holds immense terror. A single bout of drunkenness grants 10 years of cultivation. Gu Ping shook his head. He took out his phone. 2 messages popped up. One was Yao Yao's good night, and the other good morning. He couldn't help but smile. Gu Ping replied with a good morning. Just as he put down his phone, a huge head suddenly appeared. Seeing the old principal's big face, he gave a slight start. Jumping back, he said, "Principal, you're..." Gu Ping glanced at the middle-aged woman beside him. A guess immediately formed in his heart. "Greetings, madam," he said respectfully, bowing with clasped hands. Xian Linglong chuckled lightly. "You woke up just in time. Any later, and you'd be late for the college entrance exam today." The old principal beside her patted his chest. "What's the big deal? So you're late. At most, we'll just postpone the exam for a day." Gu Ping looked at the old principal. "You're just bragging now," he said with a wry smile. Unlike the liberal arts and science exams, the martial arts college entrance exam, officially the unified higher martial arts examination, is held in late spring each year. It's arguably the most serious event of the entire year. How could it possibly be postponed? The old principal pursed his lips. "Don't believe me then. Hurry up and go. Look at the time." Gu Ping snapped back to reality. "Aha. Going now," he said with a grin. He lifted his foot to leave. Thump. Still drunk and not fully awake. Gu Gun clung to Gu Ping's leg. Gu Ping shook his leg twice, but couldn't shake Gu Gun off. The sticky panda even yawned. Blowing a snot bubble, Gu Ping and the old principal couldn't help but smile. "Seems Gun is quite attached to you. Take him along." Gu Ping's heart stirred slightly. He remembered the panda natural affinity from yesterday's rewards. A flicker of understanding crossed his mind. Then he said with a bitter smile, "This is college entrance exam. Me taking Gun." The old principal smiled mysteriously. "It's fine. I raise your access level just a tiny bit. Just go straight in. No one will stop you." Gu Ping, half believing, thought for a moment. He picked up the round Gu Gun in his arms. Smiling, he said, "Well then, principal madam, I'm off to the exam. See you later." With that, he cheerfully carried Gun, heading toward the school. Chapter 27. Your exam qualification has been revoked. Tai number 1 high school, the largest in Tyne City, hosted the martial arts college entrance exam for all students in the city. Non-martial arts seniors and students from other grades were even given a day off, vacating the entire vast campus of Tai number 1 high. The martial arts exam lasted only one day, starting officially at 9 a.m. First, all students underwent standardized testing. In the afternoon, students who have reached the level of quasi-warrior and above will engage in an unrestricted arena competition. The goal is to determine the top scorer and the top 10 in the entire Tyne City. The top scorer and the other top 10 from each city will receive resource support from the Great Qin Imperial family, especially the top scorer, who can receive not only resource support, but also a noble title. The top scorer of a city can obtain the title of Viscount. Those who possess a noble title belong to the privileged class. This is also the reason why the borrowed land college entrance exam is widespread throughout Great Qin. And at this moment, at Tai number 1 high school, 8:55 a.m., the entire sports ground is buzzing with noise and excitement. It's filled with senior high school students from martial arts departments across the city. Of course, there are also those 6 young men and women taking the borrowed land exam. As the time approaches, tens of thousands of examinees have taken their positions. In order for the 3 large sports grounds at Tai number 1 high school, they can never accommodate so many people. Zhang Jinghong stood with arms crossed, coldly staring at Liao Yao and Su Xiaoyan not far away. She snorted coldly. A quasi-warrior, a warrior. All they can do now is pray. Pray not to meet me in the arena competition. The unrestricted arena in a college entrance exam, as the name suggests, has almost no restrictions except for things like firearms. There are no limits. There's even a casualty quota. Injuries are allowed. Even killing is allowed. Beside her, the young man, surnamed Wang, glanced at her. He spoke calmly. "I advise you not to go too hard on the Yao Yao. She's from the Li family of the Imperial capital." Zhang Jinghong was stunned for a moment. Her expression turned somewhat ugly. "The Li family? Which Li family?" The young man, surnamed Wang's tone remained indifferent. "The Li of the chief grand secretary." Everyone gasped in shock. The chief grand secretary, in the entire Great Qin, are from the Imperial family. He holds the greatest power. Zhang Jinghong's face changed colors repeatedly. After a moment, she snorted coldly again. "So what if the chief grand secretary's family? She's not the direct line daughter. She'll just be a tool for political marriage in the future. What's the harm in sparing her life?" While these young men and women from the Imperial capital were conversing, on the sports ground, Su Xiaoyan whispered, "Yao Yao, why hasn't your sweetheart arrived yet?" Yao Yao's face flushed slightly. Then, pretending nothing was wrong, she said, "No, he even mentioned having a surprise for me earlier." As she spoke, she subconsciously glanced at her phone. She couldn't help but pout. That annoying Pinyin still hasn't replied. Su Xiaoyan blinked her eyes, still curious, and said, "A surprise? Today is the college entrance exam. What kind of surprise could he give you?" Just as they were talking, there seemed to be some commotion at the school gate. Li Yao Yao and Su Xiaoyan curiously looked over. They saw a young man holding a round, chubby black and white creature. "Gu Pinyin, a panda!" Su Xiaoyan exclaimed. All the students on the sports ground, and Zhao Wuji's eyes flashed with a strange light. Murmuring to myself, "What a Gu Pinyin! Truly unexpected." Zhang Jinghong and the others also saw this scene. A flicker of surprise flashed in her eyes. "The panda is quite cute." A young man in blue beside her chuckled and spoke. "Sister Jinghong, I'll go buy it." As he spoke, he lifted his foot, pretending to head toward the school gate. "If you're planning to get disqualified from the exam, then go ahead." The young man surnamed Wang suddenly spoke coldly. The young man in blue halted his steps. He smiled awkwardly. "Forgot about that. TSK. Looks like that kid's going to be disqualified. Bringing a pet into the exam hall, and a protected species at that. Is that student an idiot?" Thinking this, the young man in blue spoke with a hint of mockery. "Though I don't know where he got that panda from." But bringing it to the college entrance exam, what was he thinking? Meanwhile, at the school gate, the chief examiner for this year's exam frowned deeply. "Forget being late, forget reeking of alcohol. What is this?" A big smile spread across Gu Pingin's face. "It's Gu Gun clinging to me. Had to bring him along for the exam." He lifted the drunken Gu Gun as he spoke. Gu Gun wriggled his butt uncomfortably, but still slept soundly. A snot bubble hung on his furry face. "So cute," a female staff member whispered. Stars twinkled in her eyes, but the chief examiner's expression darkened. His voice turned cold. "Illegally capturing a protected species, arriving at the exam site late, and under the influence. Hand me your ID. You're disqualified from the exam." Chapter 28. Me. First rank royal family's top advisor. The homeroom teacher of the swordsmanship class saw this. and hurried over. Most of the other students watched with a spectator's mentality. Some students from tie number 1 high laughed from a distance, all gloating. This time, Gu Pingyan is probably going to be disqualified, right? Definitely. This is the college entrance exam. Even if Mayerly himself came, he couldn't interfere. Serves Gu Pingyan right for being so arrogant. And then showing off with a black and white ball. Now he's done for, getting disqualified. But you have to admit, the black and white ball is so cute. Amidst all the chatter, the Yao Yao bit her lip worriedly, feeling anxious. Su Xiaoyun beside her whispered, Yao Yao, the surprise your sweetheart mentioned, it wasn't the panda, was it? But now, forget the surprise, we got a shock. The Yao Yao looked worried and said softly. Pingyan wouldn't be unaware of the importance of the college entrance exam. Maybe he has some confidence. As she spoke, she herself seemed a bit uncertain. Her worry deepened. Su Xiaoyun glanced at Yao Yao and let out a bitter laugh. This is the college entrance exam. I'm afraid, this time, your sweetheart is really in trouble. The Yao Yao was silent for a moment. Then, determination flashed in her eyes. It's fine. If Pingyan's exam qualification is revoked, I'll also give up and repeat the year with him. She had promised Gu Pingyan they would go to Capital University together. Since they promised, they must go together. Su Xiaoyun's eyes widened. She wanted to say something, but seeing Li Yao Yao's resolute gaze, she ultimately said nothing, just sighed. You silly girl. Meanwhile, the swordsmanship class homeroom teacher, Xia Ligua, hurriedly arrived at the school gate. He wiped his sweat and forced a smile. Chief Yang, this is my student. Chief Yang glanced at him and said coldly, oh, then your student's exam qualification is revoked. He then turned his head, looked at the young man holding the little iron-eating beast, and said indifferently, student, please hand me your ID card. After your qualification is revoked, you may leave. Gu Pingyan placed the drunken Gu Gungun on the ground. Gu Gungun had been sleeping soundly, but the moment it touched the ground, it drowsily got up again and hugged Gu Pingyan's calf, even nuzzling against it. The nearby staff, and some students watching from afar, were slightly stirred. That black and white ball is so adorable. Gu Pingyan helplessly rubbed Gu Gungun's furry head. Then he smiled lightly. It's okay, teacher Xia. He then looked at the cold-eyed Chief Yang. Wait a moment, let me find it. As he spoke, he began searching his person for his ID card. Meanwhile, teacher Xia wiped the sweat from his brow, still trying a last-ditch effort, forcing another smile. Chief Yang, Pingyan is a top talent, a first-grade martial artist. Missing the exam would have a huge impact on him. Hearing this, Chief Yang and the nearby staff's expressions changed. A first-grade martial artist? This young man before them? Chief Yang's expression shifted uncertainly, then he said coldly, that's no excuse. The rules of the martial arts college entrance exam will not be broken for anyone. As he spoke, he felt a sense of relief. Fortunately, he had revoked this boy's qualification fairly and by the book. Otherwise, the Tyne City top scorer might not have gone to those young masters and misses. Teacher Xia was utterly despaired. He took one last look at Gu Pingyan and the chubby black and white ball. Without a deep sigh, at this moment, Gu Pingyan also pulled out his ID card, calmly handed it over. Officer Yang took the card and casually passed it to a staff member beside him. Swipe it to record his info and disqualify him from this year's Advanced Martial Arts Unified exam. The staff member expertly took the card and swiped it on a machine. Beep. Officer Yang looked coolly at the calm-faced youth. Don't do this again next year. You brought this on yourself. Officer Yang, before he could finish, the staff member beside him interrupted, trembling. Esther, look at this. Officer Yang was stunned for a moment, then turned his head to look at the small screen in the staff member's hand. At the very top of the screen were 2 large characters. Top secret. Below the screen was a string of top secret labels and a few short lines of text. Name, Gu Pingyan. Top secret. Details cannot be viewed by anyone below provincial level. Age, top secret. Gender, top secret. Identity, supreme advisor to the Great Qin imperial family. Top secret. Top secret. Title, first rank prince. A chill shot up Officer Yang's spine. His back and hair stood on end. His body swayed violently, nearly collapsing to the ground. Why you? Officer Yang's mind was in chaos, unable to speak for a long while. Every hair on his body stood on end. The back of his head tingled. Supreme advisor to the Great Qin imperial family. First rank prince. In Great Qin, with billions of people, there are only 4 or 5 first rank princes. Chapter 29. The exam begins. Gu Pingyan's wrath. Outside Tie number 1 high school's gate, many students saw Officer Yang suddenly collapse to the ground from afar, and were slightly stunned. Zhang Jinghong frowned, asking with some confusion, Uncle Yang, what's wrong with him? The young man, surnamed Wang, narrowed his eyes slightly. Looks like he got a scare. But the thing is, Uncle Yang is a grandmaster, perfectly composed. He shouldn't lose his composure like this. As he spoke, his mind raced. What did Uncle Yang see that terrified him so? The ID card. Could that boy's identity be abnormal? Not far away, Zhao Wuji looked thoughtful, then chuckled softly, muttering to himself, it seems. This one's background is also quite extraordinary. Really just an orphan? As he spoke, he straightened his posture slightly, making a decision in his heart. I must spare no cost to please this one thoroughly. Only then, after our ancestor passes, might the Zhao family have a sliver of hope. Just as everyone's minds were racing. At the school gate, Gu Pingyan picked up Gu Gungun again. He spoke softly. Chief Examiner Yang, may I have my ID card back now? Or do you still intend to disqualify me from the exam? Outwardly, he appeared calm and unruffled, but inwardly, a storm of emotions was raging. The information on the screen. Gu Pingyan had seen it all. Just do as the old principle. This is what he meant by slight increase in status. More like a massive one. Chief Examiner Yang suddenly snapped back to reality. He kept his head bowed low, his voice trembling slightly as he spoke. And Mr. Gu, your ID card. His hands shook as he said it. The hairs on his arms stood on end. He respectfully handed the ID card to Gu Pingyan. Teacher Xia, who hadn't seen the information on the screen, was utterly confused and swallowed nervously. This student of mine, over these past 3 years, have I ever truly understood him? Gu Pingyan held the drunken Gu Gungun in one arm. With his other hand, he took the ID card and put it in his pocket. His again is totally different. So, may I take Gungun with me to the exam? Chief Examiner Yang nodded vigorously, garlic. A fawning smile spread across his face, a perfect display of switching from arrogance to deference. Of course, Mr. Gu, absolutely. How would you like us to arrange the college entrance exam for you? Gu Pingyan gave Teacher Xia a calm nod. Then, holding Gu Gungun, he headed towards the sports field. As he walked, he said, proceed as usual. Chief Examiner Yang hastily bowed, ending the waist. As you wish, Mr. Gu. As Gu Pingyan, holding Gungun, walked amidst the bewildered gazes of many students and some teachers, and entered the line of students. Teacher Xia finally couldn't hold back questions any longer. See Chief Examiner Yang, what is going on here? What exactly was on that screen? What's so special about Gu Pingyan's identity information? It could terrify the chief examiner of the entire Tyne City College entrance exam to this extent. You didn't understand. Chief Examiner Young wiped the sweat from his forehead. His back was already soaked through. You're Gu Pingyan's homeroom teacher, right? Some matters involve the confidentiality law. I hope you understand. I cannot explain it to you. As he spoke, he shot a stern glance at the still somewhat dazed staff member beside him. The Great Chin Law states, those who leak top secret information are to be executed by firing squad. No exceptions. On the sports field, under the watchful eyes of everyone, Gu Pingyan cheerfully ran up to Li Yao Yao's side. He winked playfully at little Yao Yao. Yao Yao, look, surprise, he said, holding up the round, chubby Gu Gun in his hands. Li Yao Yao rolled her eyes, but then she couldn't help but take Gu Gun from him. Her eyes crinkled in happy slits. So soft. Gu Pingyan chuckled. Not bad, but not as soft as you. Upon hearing this, Li Yao Yao's face flushed red. She glared fiercely at Gu Pingyan. Meanwhile, Su Xiaoyan beside them wore an expression as if she had eaten something disgusting. She silently retreated 2 steps. What a disgusting couple. Li Yao Yao pinched Gu Gun's furry cheeks. Then she said with some annoyance, you almost got disqualified from the exam. This is the college entrance exam, you know. You really had the nerve. Gu Pingyan didn't seem to mind. He just chuckled happily. It all turned out fine, didn't it? As he said this, he leaned in closer, about to say something else. But his gaze suddenly froze, looking at the clearly visible slash marks on Li Yao Yao's 2 fair, lotus-like arms. Gu Pingyan's expression darkened sharply. Yao Yao, what happened to you? Yao Yao, who was her own soft cheek against Gu Gun, was stunned for a moment. Then she said nonchalantly, it's nothing, just a minor thing. Gu Pingyan remained silent. Within his body, upon his bones, the profound runes symbolizing the marquee longevity realm trembled slightly. Then he turned his gaze to Su Xiaoyan beside them. Su Xiaoyan hesitated for a moment. She recounted in detail what had happened yesterday. Gu Pingyan listened quietly while stroking Gu Gun in Li Yao Yao's arms. He listened silently. A genius taking the exam here? So what? He sighed softly, under Su Xiaoyan's disdainful gaze. Gu Pingyan pinched Li Yao Yao's little face. Why didn't you tell me about this yesterday? Li Yao Yao poked and burst a snot bubble from Gu Gun's nose. She wrinkled her pretty nose. You have the nerve to ask. I messaged you yesterday, and you didn't even reply. Gu Pingyan let out a bitter laugh, just as he was about to say something. The campus broadcast sounded with the voice of Chief Yang. All students proceed to the designated locations in order for the basic aptitude test. After the test, students with results of quasi-warrior or above will proceed to the arena ranking matches. Gu Pingyan narrowed his eyes. Arena ranking matches. If I remember correctly, those seem to have casualty quotas. Chapter 30. Gu Gun's Dragon's Roar. The morning passed quickly, and the testing was nearing its end. Over 100 classrooms and multi-purpose rooms were used for the students' tests in turn. Even with tens of thousands of students, they were about to finish testing them all soon. Most, or rather, almost all students' results showed little difference from their final assessment. After all, a week isn't enough time to get much stronger. And the martial arts track is like the liberal arts sciences. There's no such thing as underperforming or overperforming on the day. Before long, Li Yao Yao emerged from classroom number 66. She ran excitedly over to Gu Pingyan's side. My results are much better than the final test. Well, not that much better. Still, at the 8th grade warrior level. Gu Pingyan smiled gently. It's fine. Looking at past college entrance exams, even 9th grade warriors have a high chance of getting into the Imperial Capital University, let alone you being 8th grade. As he spoke, he reached out a finger and playfully tapped the tip of little Yao Yao's cute nose. Gu Gun, who was clinging to Gu Pingyan, just woke up, though clearly still a bit sleepy-eyed. It struggled to turn its head. Its pitch-black eyes and their dark circles glanced at Li Yao Yao. Then, Gu Gun decisively let go of its 2 chubby hands holding Gu Pingyan's neck and leaped down abruptly. Its round, plump body thudded on the ground, bouncing like a rubber ball. Then, Gu Gun spread its 2 bare paws, and with a sound, hugged Li Yao Yao's slender, fair, long legs. Gu Pingyan's eye twitched. Li Yao Yao, on the other hand, smiled until her eyes curved, like crescent moons. Adorably so. She picked up the chubby Gu Gun and spoke with a mischievous grin. Pingyan, your Gun seems to like me more, huh? Gu Pingyan watched silently as his own Gun lay comfortably on his own Yao Yao. After a moment, he slapped Gu Gun on the head. TSK, you traitorous bear, for getting your dad for a pretty face. Gu Pingyan's slap wasn't hard. For the direct descendant of an immortal king, it was like a tickle. But the problem was, Gu Gun hugged its head, looking pitiful, and tearfully looked at Li Yao Yao. Whimper. Li Yao Yao's expression turned cold. First, she gently rubbed Gu Gun's head. Then, with a fierce glare, she spoke harshly. Gu Ping, and why did you hit our Gun? While the 2 humans and the bear cub were playing around, a proctor stuck their head out from classroom 66. With a smile, student Gu, it's your turn. You're the last one. Gu Pingyan glared at Gu Gun, comfortably nestled in Li Yao Yao's arms, then smiled at Li Yao Yao. I'll be right back. Little Yao Yao pinched Gu Gun's chubby cheek, distractedly. Okay. Hurry up. Gu Pingyan had 3 big question marks over his head. Then, with a look of tragic indignation, he walked towards the exam hall. He made a firm decision in his heart. This kid, Gu Gun, needs some discipline. Meanwhile, on the other side, on the open field, Zhang Jinghong stood with arms crossed, indifferently watching the students, some excited, some dejected. Then she turned her head and spoke softly. Uncle Yang, what was really going on with that young man earlier? Several other youths from the Imperial capital also turned towards. Officer Yang looked at him with curiosity. Officer Yang's expression stiffened slightly. After a moment of silence, he said, it's best you don't ask. If all goes as expected, the top scorer in Tyne City this year will likely be him. Upon hearing this, the 4 men and 2 women all showed signs of unease. Zhang Jinghong raised an eyebrow slightly. Uncle Yang, isn't that a bit too absolute? Among my peers, I'm confident in my strength and fear no one. As she spoke, she lifted her chin proudly, like a graceful swan. Zhang Jinghong indeed had the right to be proud. At just 18, she was already a 4th-rank martial artist, just a step away from entering the upper 3 ranks. Nearby, Officer Yang let out a bitter laugh. His gaze fell on a young man entering the examination hall in the distance. His expression turned serious, and without another word, he quickly left after uttering a single sentence. I'm heading to the exam hall. Stay put for now. He knew all too well the temperament of these young masters and misses, especially Zhang Jinghong. Her arrogance might have been tolerable before, but now, Tyne No. 1 High School was where that young man studied. At this thought, Officer Yang swallowed hard, his mind slightly dazed. A 1st-rank king. Just who is he? What kind of power stands behind him? As his thoughts raced, Officer Yang hurried into examination hall 66. Inside, he saw the young man testing his strength. With a casual punch, the young man struck out. The force testing machine shook violently, creating a shockwave that nearly knocked the 2 teachers recording the results off their feet. T10,000 kilograms, one teacher stammered, his eyes filled with confusion and shock. 10,000 kilograms was the standard for a grandmaster. Officer Yang, however, looked unsurprised. Even if this young man, Gu Pingyan, had punched with the force of a great grandmaster, 100,000 kilograms, it wouldn't have fazed him in the slightest. Compared to that series of top-secret reports, this was nothing. Speed, 100 meters per second. Vitality, 1,000 calories. Reaction time, 80 points. Each result barely met the minimum for a 9th-rank grandmaster. The recording teacher shivered slightly, stammering. Gu Pingyan, grandmaster level. The information was logged, and his grandmaster level college entrance exam results were permanently recorded. Fortunately, the exam hall was single occupancy and fully sealed, or else the entire Tai No. 1 high school would have erupted in chaos. An 18-year-old grandmaster. Meanwhile, outside examination hall 66. Footsteps stopped in front of Li Yao, who was teasing Gu Gun. From the Prime Minister's family, are you? Probably about to be married off for alliance. Zhang Jinghong gazed quietly at Li Yao. With a cold tone, the smile on Li Yao's face vanished instantly. She glanced at the girl with the blue necklace. None of her business. Gu Gun also glared angrily at the overbearing girl. Zhang Jinghong frowned. She said, her tone brooked no argument. She reached out to snatch Gun from Li Yao's arms. Gu Gun bared its teeth, letting out a fierce, babyish roar. Oh, whoa. The air exploded. A fierce gale erupted. Chapter 31. This bamboo eater deserves death for its crime. A single babyish beast roar, yet it boomed like spring thunder. It also rumbled like war drums. Who was Gu Gun, the direct descendant of the immortal king? In the ancient realm of bamboo eaters, it snacked on divine bamboo shoots. Just yesterday, it even drank half a jar of divine bamboo elixir wine that could kill a venerable. Although Gun hadn't yet begun formal cultivation, its sheer brute force was terrifying, perhaps measurable in tens of thousands of tons. Thus, even a soft roar was enough. It stirred a terrifying hurricane across the school. Zhang Jinghong felt his soft, babyish roar enter her ears, as if a million drums were placed before her, all beating in unison. She was instantly stunned, rooted to the spot. The immense wind pressure surged forward. A deafening boom turned Zhang Jinghong's mind to mush. The wind pressure lifted her entire body, then slammed her heavily to the ground. The baby roar, with Gu Gun deliberately restraining it, didn't spread too far. It only created leg wind that scattered students across the playground. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. The girl had now lost all her initial cold arrogance and defiance. She curled up on the ground, mouth agape, hands covering her ears, writhing incessantly. Trickles of blood seeped from between her fingers. Although the young man, surnamed Wang Jinghong, usually disliked Zhang Jinghong's arrogance, their families were ultimately on good terms, and they came from the same place. He quickly stepped forward, his expression grave, and helped up the trembling Zhang Jinghong. Several other young masters and ladies gathered around. The blue-clothed youth's eyes were icy cold. He glared at Li Yao, gritting his teeth. Fine. Letting a beast run wild. Truly worthy of the Prime Minister's family. The scattered students around the school now struggled to their feet. They all looked with terror at Gu Gun in Li Yao's arms. Someone gulped. Gu Pingyan being terrifying is one thing, but why is this bamboo eater so scary too? A few girls were farther away, untouched by the hurricane, spoke up. Oh my, the panda's roar is so cute. I love it so much. That's because it wasn't roaring at you. If it roared at you, you wouldn't love it anymore. These harming humans is the most unacceptable thing. I'm wondering if the panda will get into trouble. Probably not. After all, that girl seems to have only minor injuries. There aren't many giant pandas in the entire ancestral star. For a moment, discussions broke out on the playground. Some teachers also came to their senses and hurriedly maintained order. Teacher Xia from the Kendo class was sweating profusely, while shouting for the students to be quiet. He felt a bitter smile in his heart. It's one thing for Gu Pingyan to cause trouble, but how can a little panda cause such a huge mess? As Teacher Xia thought this, his heart also trembled a little. That cute, milky roar. It severely injured a 4th-grade martial artist and stirred up a fierce hurricane. This is no ordinary panda. Where did Gu Pingyan get it? Many people thought of this point, their expressions flickering uncertainly. That young Master Zhao's face also showed shock and amazement. Indeed, everyone associated with Gu Pingyan, without exception, is extraordinary. First, Li Yao is from the Prime Minister's family, and is seemingly adorable. Round Panda is also terrifyingly abnormal. The noise grew louder and louder, gradually becoming a roaring clamor. And while everyone was discussing intensely, the door of classroom number 66 opened. Gu Pingyan stepped out slowly. The young official followed behind him, bowing humbly. Scanning the noisy commotion, Gu Pingyan was slightly bewildered. He listened quietly to the discussion for a while before understanding what happened. His expression turned strange. That woman, why provoke anyone else? She had to provoke Gu Gun, the one who stole half a jar of my divine bamboo immortality wine. The expression of the young official beside him also looked unpleasant, but it quickly returned to normal. He respectfully bowed his head. The Zhang family that Zhang Jinghong belongs to, although it is a venerable's family, holds great power. The venerable in their family governs an entire province. His prestige unmatched. But no matter what, you can't compare this youth with a series of top-secret classifications. The only two non-top secret pieces of information. 1. A top advisor of the great king of your family. 2. A first-grade king. Which one is more exalted than a venerable? Just as he felt a slight surge of emotion and awe in his heart, another incident occurred on the playground. Zhang Jinghong's mind had cleared up a bit by now. Her eyes were bloodshot as she pushed away the young man, surnamed Wang. She stared coldly at Li Yao. Blood seeped from both her ears, making her look especially terrifying. Fine, Zhang Jinghong laughed. Her laughter was cold and frightening. Prime Minister has many granddaughters. Perhaps more or less doesn't matter, right? As she spoke, a killing intent flashed in her eyes. The students and teachers were slightly stunned. What granddaughter of the Grand Counselor? What Grand Counselor? Their minds couldn't quite process it for a moment. None of them made a connection to that Grand Counselor Li, who wielded immense power at court. After all, he was far too distant from their world. Gu Pingyan's expression also shifted slightly. He wore a thoughtful look. Shi Yong, however, looked utterly shocked. His mind began to race with wild speculations. A granddaughter of the Grand Counselor. Grand Counselor Li. Could the Li family be planning to marry her to this young man? Just as his thoughts were running wild, the youth in blue on the other side tugged at Zhang Jinghong's sleeve. Sister Jinghong, since she's that person's granddaughter, I have another idea. A fierce killing intent flashed in Zhang Jinghong's eyes. She said nothing. Seeing her reaction, the youth in blue didn't press further. He simply took a step forward. His gaze coolly settled on the Yao and the ball of fur curled in her arms. Gu Gun. A beast that harms humans deserves death. This iron-eating beast, attacking a human prodigy, is a crime punishable by death. The Yao was taken aback for a moment, opening her mouth to rebuke him. But a cold, detached voice spoke before she could. Kill your mother? The words were spoken and fell. Gu Pingyan slowly walked to Yao's side. He put an arm around her shoulder. Chapter 32. You've chosen the wide road. The entire school grounds fell into a hushed silence. All the students and teachers turned their eyes to Gu Pingyan. Some students remembered the scene from the final assessment day. Gu Pingyan severely injured the old Jinghong with a single strike. This was a truly brutal individual. But today is the college entrance exam. Even though this Gu Pingyan seems to have a terrifying background, surely he wouldn't dare cause trouble today, right? Chief Proctor Yang's face twitched. He was the one who best understood this young man's true status, although the youth in blue also came from a powerful family. Compared to this one, a trace of pity appeared in his gaze as he looked at the youth in blue. Li Yao Yao didn't resist Gu Pingyan's arm around her shoulder. As if accepting it, she stood quietly by his side. Meanwhile, Gu Gun Gun, curled up in Li Yao Yao's arms, poked out his big head. He stretched out two little chubby paws. It seemed to be asking for a hug. The tense atmosphere became slightly awkward. Many people's expressions turned odd. Do iron-eating bees go ing? Should it be squeak squeak or cuckoo? Their looks became rather strange. The corner of Gu Pingyan's eye also twitched. He glanced at Gu Gun Gun's pitiful, aggrieved expression. Helplessly, he pinched the chubby cheek of the black and white fluff ball. All right, Gun Gun, be good. I'll treat you to a drink tonight. Gu Gun Gun's eyes suddenly lit up. Li Yao Yao pouted and shot Gu Pingyan an annoyed glare. Her voice was fierce yet soft. I knew it. I wondered why Gun Gun smelled of alcohol. It turns out, before she could finish, the ignored youth in blue flashed a look of fear and fury. He then snorted coldly, cutting Li Yao Yao off. Gu Pingyan, is it? Your words are utterly vulgar. Let me tell you, this iron-eating beast has injured someone. Before he finished, a palm, jade-like and translucent, eerily traversed space, and slapped the youth in blue hard across the face. A mist of blood erupted from the youth's body. He was sent flying, spinning twice in the air, before crashing heavily to the ground, blood seeping from all 7 orifices. He was critically injured. The crowd's expressions changed drastically. Not unexpected. This seemingly gentle youth to act so decisively and ruthlessly. That one slap nearly took the blue-clad youth's life. Some students shrank their necks. Their hearts pounded with both shock and confusion. What just happened? Gu Pingyan clearly hadn't moved from his spot. How did his hand cross over 10 meters? To send the youth in blue flying? It looked so jarring, a sense of spatial dislocation. Unsettling. Yang, the highest-ranking official, was deeply shaken. He had glimpsed a clue. That was a divine ability. But aren't divine abilities only for the legendary Mountain Sea realm? For those great powers who become nation guardians? The youth Gu Pingyan coldly withdrew his hand. He had used the shrinking earth to an inch ability from a past reward. He'd had it for a while, but never used it. Seems it works quite well. A man surnamed Wang helped the blue-clad youth up. A flicker of thinly veiled anger passed through his eyes. He looked at the terrifying youth and spoke gravely. Your actions were excessively harsh, sir. It was merely a verbal dispute. Was this necessary? Gu Pingyan gave him a casual glance and replied lightly, not really harsh. After all, I let him keep his life. He exhaled a breath and added softly, you're here to borrow our city for the college entrance exam, right? How come it's okay for you to treat Tyne City as an easy target? But I can't treat you the same way. His words made the young master's and Mrs. expressions turn ugly. The other students suddenly understood. This group was here to borrow the city for the exam. Immediately, the senior high students' gazes toward these youths turned several degrees colder. Tyne City had been borrowed for exams for 9 years, losing 9 top scholars. What a disgrace. Just as everyone was feeling united in their anger, the terrifying young man gently pinched Gu Gun Gun's cheek. He then spoke indifferently. A martial artist must have a heart that strives to win. An invincible heart. By choosing to avoid conflict and come to Tyne to seek shortcuts, you've already lost that invincible heart. He paused, shook his head and sighed. Without an invincible heart, how can you go far? Leave Tyne number 1 high school. Don't participate in the upcoming arena matches either. I won't allow it. Someone shouted first. And then tens of thousands of students in the 3 large playgrounds erupted in cheers. The fury in Zhang Jinghong's eyes was almost overflowing. She yelled, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Young, this kind of contempt for the college entrance exam is, before she could finish, Xi Fang's expression changed drastically. The imposing aura of a grandmaster erupted from his body. The aura swept through, scattering dust in all directions. Waves of energy exploded around Qi Yang as he broke the sound barrier. With a sonic boom, he closed in on Zhang Jinghong in an instant. Then, Qi Yang held back 70% of his strength. He kicked out, landing squarely on the girl's abdomen. Zhang Jinghong curled up like a boiled shrimp, her body bending as she crashed through a large tree. Blood spilled from her mouth. Leave quickly if you don't want to die, Qi Yang said with a grim expression. He immediately turned back and stood beside Gu Pingyan. Bowing his head respectfully, he said, Master Gu, if they don't leave, I will disqualify them from the exam. What do you think? Gu Pingyan glanced at him and nodded slightly. Okay. He thought to himself, this Chief Yang is playing it smart. Zhao Wuji, who had been silent all along, suddenly stepped forward. He jogged up to Gu Pingyan, first putting on an ingratiating smile. Brother Pingyan, he said, bowing and lowering his head. The men surnamed Wang and others were shaken to their core. After all, Zhao Wuji was the eldest grandson of a respected elder. Then Zhao Wuji spoke up loudly again. Brother Pingyan, to be honest, I'm a transfer student. I'm not really behind City. I voluntarily withdraw from the college entrance ranking competition. Gu Pingyan was taken aback for a moment. He didn't say anything, just silently nodded. He thought to himself with some emotion. This Zhao Wuji is playing it smart too. Chapter 33. The little girl in the white dress. In the end, the young masters and ladies from the capital slunk away from Tyne number 1 high school. They had no choice. They didn't dare take a risk, because that young man was just too unpredictable. Even Zhao Wuji was groveling, and Chief Yang, who was supposed to be their backer, was being subservient. Of course, the main reason was still because blue-clad teenager and Zhang Jinghong both comminuted cheekbone fracture of a teenager in blue who has been seriously injured. Half of the skull is broken. Zhang Jinghong is better, but it's not much better. All the ribs are broken. Several organs were damaged. This kind of injury, even if both of them are fighters. But if you drag it, you're likely to die. Therefore, they had to leave Tyne number 1 middle school despondently. I gave up my qualification to take part in the challenge competition and compete for the top 10 college entrance examination in Tyne City. And the other side of the ring. In fact, after the young ladies left, after Zhao Wuji also gave up the challenge match, there are only 16 senior 3 students in Tyne City who have reached the martial arts realm, and 15 of these 16 are 9th-grade fighters. The only 8th-grade warrior is Li Yao Yao, Gu Pingyan. Now the whole body of the 206 bones are covered with mysterious runes. It is based on the pinnacle of the lung habitat of the feudal marquis. Here power is 9 million kilograms. That is, he forces 9,000 tons does not say the mountains divided into sea, but one blow is enough to easily destroy a building. However, Gu Pingyan also chose to abandon the match. To be exact, to throw in the towel. He gave up the position of number 1 scholar in Tyne City to Xiao Yao Yao. The number 1 scholar in the city will be awarded the position of 9th-grade viscount. But Gu Pingyan is already on the throne. It is even said that the position of the king of Peking is already the highest in the state of Qin. It is useless to ask for the number 1 position. And his martial arts college entrance examination also went like this. Li Yao Yao became the number 1 scholar in the face of bewilderment. By 6 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun had begun to set. The sky in the west is the sunset. The spring breeze has stopped, but the peach blossom tree is still in full bloom walking under the peach blossom tree. Liao Yao holding Gu rolling with some stupid force. Pingin, why did you just throw in the towel? She pouted and pouted. It seems that some dissatisfaction Gu ping and rubbed Gu rolling head. He rubbed Xiao Yao's head again. It's no use laughing and talking. I want a top spot. Might as well give you say again. Li Zhuan Yuan sounds more powerful than Gu Zhuan Yuan. Little Yao Yao holds Gu rolling's ass. I nod my head with deep belief. Yes, I also think that Li Zhuan Yuan is better than Gu Zhuan Yuan. Our heroes think alike. Gu Ping lost his smile, and the two fell silent. Walking in the sunset dragged out the long shadow. There are not many people on the street at this time. However, there are also many, and Gu Ping and Liao Yao undoubtedly achieved 100% return rate. Not because of their beautiful faces. Most people watch the chubby Gu rolling. You know, the entire ancestral star will not have more than 1,000 iron-eating beasts. The cold sight of a cocoa-loving cub of an iron eater. Most people naturally stare for a while, walking far down the long street. Gu Ping finally spoke up. Yao Yao, the Prime Minister's family. What's going on? Li Yao Yao lowered her head. A flicker of gloom and sorrow flashed her eyes, but it was quickly well hidden. A bright smile forced its way onto her face. She slightly raised her little chin. Looks like this young lady's identity couldn't stay hidden after all. As she said this, Liao Yao wore a look of melancholy. Originally, I wanted to get along with you as an ordinary person. But okay, you can't hide anywhere. Cards on the table. I'm the granddaughter of the current Prime Minister Li. Although her face wore a bright smile. When she uttered the words, Prime Minister Li, Liao Yao's tone was quite calm, even indifferent, even though she had hidden it well. How could such subtle expressions escape the notice of Gu Ping, who was about to reach King Realm? His thoughts churned slightly. He didn't say anything, just gently patted little Yao Yao's head. Oh, so, I've been aiming high, huh? Liao Yao rolled her eyes dramatically. Just as she was about to say something, their steps suddenly halted. It was a little girl, about 15 or 16, wearing a pure white, flawless dress. A lollipop in her mouth, she stood blocking their path. Little sister, you are? Liao Yao blinked. She glanced at Gu Ping, then asked the little girl, somewhat puzzled. Gu Gun struggled to turn around in her arms. His big, dark eyes sized up the little girl. His pupils slightly contracted. The little girl, lollipop in mouth, ignored Liao Yao, staring fixedly at Gu Ping instead. After a long moment, Gu Ping felt uncomfortable on her gaze. Just as he was about to speak, the little girl spoke first. Gu Ping, I'll come find you again. I'm very curious about you. You're responsible. Finished speaking, the little girl, lollipop in mouth, skipped away with light steps, disappearing into a side alley. Gu Ping, a dangerous glint flashed in Liao Yao's eyes. Oh my, she said slowly. Old Gu, your romantic debt's outside. They've come knocking. Gu Ping's face fell into a bitter smile. I don't know that girl, but her aura is a bit strange. Can't quite put my finger on it. Seems very ethereal. Liao Yao tightened her hold on Gu Gun in her arms. She looked Gu Ping up and down with a suspicious expression. Just as she was about to say something, a screech of brakes sounded. A black car came to a steady stop right in front of them. The entire long street fell silent for a moment. Many passers-by stared in shock. The black car bore the license plate TI A00001. Secretary Liu, dressed in black, stepped out from the driver's seat. He bowed respectfully. Mr. Gu, Miss Li, His Excellency invites you both to celebrate successful completion of the college exams. Gu Ping nodded with a light smile. All right, thank you for coming in person, Brother Liu. Secretary Liu remained respectful. It's my honor, Mr. Gu. With that, he gently opened the car door. Gu Ping and Liao Yao first worked together to squeeze Gu Gun inside. Then the two of them got in as well. Soon, the black car slowly started up. It disappeared into the traffic of the long street, leaving only countless stunned pedestrians behind. Their minds were filled with confusion and awe. Was that Secretary Liu, Deputy Director of the Patrol Bureau, Grand Secretary of the Administration Hall? He actually greeted those two teenagers holding the black and white panda with such respect. Who on earth are they? Chapter 34. The counselor level within reach. In a villa somewhere in Tyne City, a little girl in a pure white dress sat on a high stool. Her two little feet dangled and swung in the air. In front of her knelt three men in black with white masks. Respectfully, Lord Celestial Official, we have urgently transferred a dormant King Realm expert from the land of Neon. Another, also King Realm, Thunder Falcon, is on his way here. The little girl yawned, crossing and clasping her small hands. She spoke indifferently. Do not act in Tyne City. The last assassination attempt has already drawn Li Tianming's attention. The leader of the black-clad, white-masked men nodded firmly. Then he cautiously said, if nothing goes wrong, Gu Ping will definitely go to the Imperial Capital University. Martial Arts College entrance exam results will be out tomorrow. I estimate that at most a week later, he will depart for the Imperial Capital. The little girl in white tilted her head, thinking for a moment. A flower-like smile bloomed on her face. Then we'll act when they head to the Imperial Capital, right? Her expression turned more serious. Remember to tell those two King Realm experts. Gu Ping is not simple. Well, I got close to him before. I understood on involuntarily. The three men in black with white masks widened their eyes. Although Lord Celestial Official's cultivation isn't strong, she possesses a treasure capable of withstanding attacks from a venerable. For her to feel threatened, could be that Gu Ping possesses a treasure capable of unleashing a venerable strike. The Li residence was still that 1,000-square-meter apartment. Li Tongming first poured tea for Gu Ping and Liao Yao. Then he rubbed the head of Gu Gun, who was sprawled on the floor. He asked curiously, Young Master Gu, where did you get this little panda from? Li Tianming also cast a curious glance. Gu Ping took a sip of tea. He chuckled softly. This is the son of an old friend of the headmaster. The headmaster dropped him off a couple days ago. I suspect he was acquired. Li Tongming nodded thoughtfully. He mused. The old man actually has a panda friend? He didn't know the old man's exact background, but he knew his own father held him in the highest regard. The utmost regard. Meanwhile, Li Tianming's expression changed drastically. He shot to his feet, exclaiming, Brother Gu, you're saying the old man brought this one? Everyone was taken aback. Gu Gun was startled too. He instinctively leaned back, rolling twice on a rosewood floor. Gu Ping blinked, asking in confusion. The headmaster did give him to me, Brother Tianming. Why? What's wrong? Nothing. Li Tianming swallowed. His eyes were filled with shock. What panda friend could he possibly have? The fallen great Qin human king, however, did have a panda king friend. Could his adorable, clueless-looking Gu Gun be the panda king's son? Thinking this, Li Tianming couldn't help but look at the bewildered Gu Ping. Was the old man planning to groom Ping as the next human king? The great Qin human king and the panda king roamed the ancestral star together in their youth. Later, man and beast both achieved immortality. It's said that when the human king fell in battle, the Panda King nearly tore the celestial clan's ancient realm in two. Shaking his head, Li Tianming suppressed his inner turmoil. He smiled again. Pinyin, yao yao, pinyin, yao yao. Were you two planning to go to Imperial Capital University? His tone suggested their admission was a foregone conclusion. Gu Pinyin thought for a moment, then grinned. In 3 days. Go early. Imperial U starts mid-April. 2 weeks early is always better. Beside them, Li Tongming patted his chest, beaming. Uncle Gu, Andy Gu, I'm a junior class president. I'll be senior class president next term. If you need anything, just say the word. I'll be at your service. Li Yao Yao blushed, but she didn't refute the Andy Gu title. Gu Pinyin just grinned foolishly. Haha, no problem. He paused, his expression turning serious as he looked at Governor Li. Brother Tianming about guiding the intent. Why not now? At these words, the atmosphere grew solemn. Whether Li Tianming could comprehend the intent was crucial. It determined if he could become the Grand Governor of Xianying Province. A provincial Grand Governor holds immense power, especially in Xianying Province, home to the imperial capital itself. Li Tianming nodded gently, a smile spreading across his face. Oh, by the way, I've got a gift for you. Celebrate your college entrance success. He waved his hand, and the air rippled. 10 ancient porcelain bottles appeared out of thin air. Gu Pingin's heart skipped a beat. His eyes widened. Gu Gun Gun also abruptly sat up straight, his big, dark eyes fixed on the wine bottles. I know you like wine, so I prepared some ancient method aged wine for you, Li Tianming said with a smile. It might not be the world's best wine, but it's pretty good. Gu Pinyin reluctantly tore his gaze away from the bottles. He solemnly bowed to Li Tianming. Thank you, Brother Tianming. 10 bottles of ancient method aged wine. This has a great chance of helping me break through to the King Realm. The King Realm is also called the Counselor level. One can join the 9-Nation Joint Council as a counselor. They can propose policies that affect the entire ancestral star. They can even influence Qin's legislation to some degree. Chapter 35, The Great Four's Second Seat. Dealing with Gu Pinyin will be easy. In the living room, Li Yao Yao and Li Tongming had quietly withdrawn, leaving space for Gu Pinyin and Li Tianming. In a spacious living room, Gu Pinyin imitated Governor Li's posture, sitting cross-legged. Then he asked curiously, Brother Tianming, how should I guide you to comprehend intent? Li Tianming's expression turned solemn. Then he smiled gently. Activate your sword intent. Fill this living room with it. Just restrain the killing intent within it. This might need to last for a little while. I see. Gu Pinyin seemed thoughtful. Then he tilted his head and asked, should I activate the sword intent I comprehend best, or all of them? Li Tianming's smile froze instantly. He stammered. Well, what? You've comprehended another sword intent. His eyes widened in disbelief. Isn't it? Ordinary people might not even touch the edge of intent in a lifetime. Yet this brother, Gu, comprehended too, in such a short time. You're joking, right? Looking at Li Tianming's utterly incredulous expression, Gu Pinyin smiled sheepishly. Not a second sword intent. Li Tianming breathed a sigh of relief. It's just I comprehended a third sword intent. Gu Pingin's smile grew even more sheepish. He scratched his head lightly. Li Tianming was completely dumbfounded. He stared, speechless. A third sword intent? No way. Suddenly, Li Tianming had an epiphany. No wonder Elder Li is cultivating Brother Gu as an immortal. With talent like this, it would be strange if he didn't achieve immortality. After a long silence, Governor Li spoke hoarsely. There's no need to use all your sword intents. Just share his insights. As he spoke, he seemed to drift into a daze. Gu Pinyin nodded silently, then closed his eyes. In his mind, he began to visualize the scene of one sword opens the heavens. In an instant, sword intent erupted. A full 60% of the heaven-opening sword intent roared forth. In the blink of an eye, it filled the entire living room, stripped of all its killing aura. Only the purest Tao essence remained, slowly spreading out. Simultaneously, across the entire city of Tian. Long swords, short swords, gold swords, iron swords, all trembled gently in their owners' bewildered gazes. They admitted this realm, 60% sword intent, equivalent to the intent of 4th rank venerable, was enough to effortlessly stir every sword in the city. The citywide sword realm has paying homage to the supreme sovereign of sword path. At a 5-star level, 7 young masters and his backing backs, ready to leave, were taken aback, hearing the hum in their ears. Their eyes widened. Young Master Wang swallowed hard and spoke incredulously. This is sword intent. Which venerable is drawing their sword? Beside him, Zhang Jinghong, still recovering from serious injuries, was equally shocked. There's actually a venerable in Tian City, a reclusive old monster. As he spoke, he said with relief, luckily, we didn't provoke that being. Another young woman, i.e., looked grave. She whispered, I had my second uncle check Gu Pingin's college entrance exam results early. A 9th rank grandmaster. We've offended him to the core. So what? Zhang Jinghong's eyes flashed with a fierce light. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The capital is our turf. My brother is the vice president of the Capital University senior class this year. Dealing with a freshman will be a piece of cake. At a luxurious villa elsewhere. A little girl's lollipop fell to the ground. Her expression turned serious. Such terrifying sword intent. 60% or 70%? The 3 men in black with white masks looked at each other, also swallowing hard. In this Tian city, there's actually a suspected upper 3 ranks venerable, and we didn't detect it at all. The little girl picked up the lollipop, unconcerned, and popped it back in her mouth. Mumbling, she said, good thing I didn't send Lei Ji and the others to Tian to keep a close watch on Gu Pinyin. We'll make our move as soon as he heads to the capital. The 3 in black with white masks exchanged glances, then nodded respectfully in unison. Yes, Lord Tianguan. In the penthouse, Li Tianming was utterly captivated, comprehending the incredible Tao essence within the heaven-opening sword intent. In his trance, he seemed to see Gu Pingin's figure walking atop the clouds, standing with sword in hand, then thrusting forth. Destiny is mine, all things are permitted. I have a sword to open heavens. The thick, heavy clouds parted to either side. The majestic heavenly gate swings open, golden lotuses bloom, and celestial beings kneel in reverence. Li Tianming's heart trembles. Is this brother Gu's heaven-splitting sword intent? So domineering, all is permitted. Heaven's mandate is mine alone. He falls into a state of enlightenment. An unknown amount of time passes. The trembling sword in Tian City gradually subsides. The heaven-splitting sword intent filling the living room retracts back into Gu Pingin's body. A crisp sound emanates from Governor Li, a battle-ready aura rising. His eyes shine brilliantly like 2 great suns, golden lamps. The venerable realm is achieved. Chapter 36, results announced. Top secret reaches the summit, shocking the nation. The next afternoon, unlike the June liberal arts exam, the martial arts college entrance exam is in March. After the martial arts scores are systematically compiled and ranked. The entire national ranking for the Great Qin Kingdom's exam is published online. Using their ID cards, students can check their own rank. Pinyin, come check the results. Inside the old principal's dilapidated villa, the Yao Yao's clear voice rings out. Gu Pinyin yawns. Gu Gun Gun, also bleary-eyed, clings to his leg. He trudges forward with difficulty. The old principal and his wife are nowhere to be found. The large villa holds only the two of them, and Gun Gun. Dragging Gu Gun Gun, he struggles to the computer. Little Yao Yao, looking nervous, is typing her ID card number. Soon the page refreshes, displaying her results. Name, Liao Yao. Age, 18. Exam district, Tyne City. Martial arts realm assessment. Martial artist, 8th rank, entry level. National martial arts realm rank. No. 4096. Unrestricted arena, Tyne rank. No. 1 yay. Liao Yao cheers. She leaps up, excitedly throwing herself in Gu Pingin's arms. Gu Pingin is momentarily stunned, feeling a warm, jade-like softness in his embrace. A silly grin involuntarily spreads across his face. A moment later, Liao Yao comes to her senses. She abruptly pulls away, her face slightly flushed. But soon, she too breaks into a silly smile. Lugu, I'm in the top 5,000. Imperial Capital University. It's in the bag. Imperial Capital University enrolls over 10,000 students yearly. Top 5,000 naturally secures a spot. Gu Pingin, quite dotingly, ruffles Liao Yao's head. Then let's book tickets. The flight tomorrow night. What do you think? It's over 8 hours flying from here to the Imperial Capital. Sleep through it and arrive in the morning. Liao Yao's little face remains rosy. She waves her hand grandly. No rush, no rush. Hurry up and check the results. Gu Pingin chuckles slightly, then nods gently. With one hand, he lifts Gu Gun Gun, who's hugging his thigh. With the other, he taps lightly on the keyboard. The page refreshes. Name, top secret age, top secret exam zone, top secret martial arts assessment. Grandmaster 9th rank, national martial arts ranking. Number 1 unlimited arena, top secret ranking. Liao Yao was slightly taken aback, then asked with some confusion. Little Gu, what's going on? Gu Pingin's mind quickly turned, and he immediately understood. Ever since the old principal boosted my status by a tiny bit, his has gone ridiculously high, all top secret, and the top 100 in the college entrance exam are always made public. So a whole string of top secret for me isn't strange, he thought. Gu Pingin pinched Gu Gun Gun's cheek with one hand, and pinched little Yao Yao's soft face with the other, chuckling as he said, my clearance level with the Great Chain authorities is a bit high now, probably just security measures. Liao Yao nodded, not fully understanding. Then she jumped up excitedly. Little Gu, first place, first place. As she spoke, she instinctively threw herself into Gu Pingin's arms, even pushing the bewildered Gu Gun Gun out. The bewildered Gu Gun Gun landed on his bottom on the floor, reaching out a chubby hand to scratch his head, whimpering, while Gu Pingin just smiled gently. His gaze was profound. The entire Great Chain has a population of 30 billion, with nearly 100 million taking the college entrance exam this year. And Gu Pingin ranked first among those 100 million peers. And this is the result after he suppressed his power with all his might. At the same time, the entire Great Chain was in an uproar. As the top 100 list was released, the internet exploded. Holy crap, what's the deal with this number 1? And I Grandmaster is one thing, but a whole string of top secret. Could it be someone from the royal family? Seems several princes took the exam this year. No, the names of those royals are all in the top 100. It can be found. Who the heck is this number 1? Am I the only one who noticed? He's the second place in that zone's arena competition. Holy crap, and I Grandmaster is only second. For a time, countless people were buzzing with discussion, all debating about this number 1. So obviously big shot he must be. You have to understand, Great Chain has been founded for 100,000 years, and the college entrance exam has been held 2,000 times. Every time the list is released, no matter who took the exam, if they made the top 100, their info was clearly displayed. But this one, the whole string of top secret, is the first time in 2,000 years. That night, Gu Pingin and Liao Yao submitted their applications to Imperial Capital University one after another. They were approved almost instantly, passing together. The word elated was practically stamped on little Yao Yao's forehead. She picked up the day's Gu Gun Gun and started spinning. Beaming with joy, Gu Pingin watched the scene with a chuckle, tapping his finger on his phone. Bought 2 first-class tickets for tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, from Tyne Airport to the Imperial Capital International Airport. Then he chuckled softly and said, all right, Yao Yao, if you keep spinning around, Gun Gun's gonna puke. The Yao Yao stopped. Gu Gun Gun decisively broke free, falling to the ground. Just managed to struggle to his feet, then dizzy, face planted again. A crisp splat sound. The Yao Yao pursed her lips and smiled. Then with a grand wave, Little Gu, open the wine. Celebrate. Hearing the word wine, the dizzy Gu Gun Gun immediately scrambled up. His dark, shiny eyes lit up a bit. Gu Pingin couldn't help but laugh. Then he too, boom, good. Open the wine. Saying this, he brought out 10 bottles of ancient method aged wine gifted by Governor Lee, plus the one from the old headmaster he hadn't had time to drink yet. 11 bottles in total. 11 bottles of ancient method aged wine. That should be enough to step into the king realm, right? Chapter 37. Gu Pingin's actions. All things are permitted. Host drinks 300-year ancient method Mount High. Superior rate. Gains 50 years of cultivation. Current remaining cultivation to king realm 9th grade. 400 years. Host drinks 300-year aged Huadiao wine. Superior grade. Gains 50 years of cultivation. 11 bottles of ancient method aged wine. 10 superior grade. 1 top grade. A full 515 years of cultivation. Gu Pingin, eyes bleary with drink. The mysterious runes on all 206 bones throughout his body began to tremble. The Marquis longevity realm involves engraving mysterious runes on the bones using the power of heaven and earth. Now, the mysterious runes on his bones naturally linked together, transforming into an ancient formation, using to mobilize the power of heaven and earth. Brilliant treasure light shimmered on Gu Pingin's bones. One after another, the mysterious runes connected. An ancient formation materialized. The power of heaven and earth rippled. Above, thick clouds gathered in the sky. The king realm is achieved. Gu Pingin, holding the equally bleary-eyed Liao Yao, glanced at Gu Gun Gun, completely passed out drunk beside them. He chuckled and said, Yao Yao, do you want to see snow? Tyne City is perpetually hot. It never snows. Liao Yao was now completely drunk, giggling foolishly as she hugged one of Gu Pingin's arms. Good, I love snow the most. Snowflakes swirling like willow catkins. Saying this, she gently rested her head on Gu Pingin's shoulder. Gu Pingin's expression suddenly turned solemn, eyes bleary with drink, yet holding half a caddy of majesty and 8 tails of spirit. He put his arm around Yao Yao's shoulders, walked to the garden, looked at the bright moon and sparse stars, smiled and laughed. Wind come. A great wind rises, clouds fly and scatter. The night wind, carrying a hint of spring, whistled through Tyne's million doors and windows. Clouds came, thick layers blanketing the sky, slowly covering it completely, yet leaving a place for the bright moon. Moonlight fell through gaps in the clouds, bathing Tyne City. Like a hazy veil, snow came. The clouds churned, a great snow began. It's snowing, it's snowing. Liao Yao stared dazedly at the heavy snowfall, reaching out her hand. She caught a crystal clear snowflake, her eyes slightly dazed. Little Gu is so beautiful. You are worth 1,000 pieces of gold in a single spring night. Li Tianming looked out the window at the heavy snow. A flicker of surprise passed through his eyes. Li Tianming spoke softly beside him. He has seen snow in years. Such heavy snowfall now means someone has stepped into the king realm. Cultivation reaching the king realm allows one to manipulate the power of heaven and earth. A single thought, a single word can change the weather. Li Tianming nodded lightly, somewhat emotional. That's good. Talents emerge in every generation. Are you returning to the imperial capital? Li Tongming smiled lightly, his gaze profound. I just received a mission from the school. I need to go to Old White Mountain. There seems to be a traitor hiding in a village there. I'll probably return to the imperial capital in 4 or 5 days. Li Tianming nodded silently, gently pushing the window wide open. Cool wind and snowflakes drifted in, along with the joyful cheers of adults and children floating from afar. Father's being transferred to the imperial capital in 7 days. This is granddaughter of Tiny Province. Counting the time, it's about the same as you. Your little uncle and them. Seem to be leaving tomorrow or the day after. Uncle Goo is the one who topped the college entrance exam rankings, right? A whole series of top secrets. I bet those old folks at Imperial Capital University are completely baffled right now. After a pause, Li Tongming was somewhat emotional again. This year's freshmen, encountering a monster like Uncle Goo, are in for trouble. Speaking of which, Uncle Goo seems quite capable of stirring things up. Father, you'll be busy then. Gu Pingyan can be troublesome. There's no shortage of trouble. The Imperial Capital has many powerful families. Li Tianming will inevitably have to step in to protect them. Li Tianming reached out and caught a snowflake. So calmly. The Imperial Capital has many arrogant young masters. It's best they don't provoke Brother Gu. The one standing behind Brother Gu is that person. Li Tongming was stunned for a moment, slightly puzzled. In the conference room, a dozen or so elders sat around a huge round table. They all looked puzzled and confused. They all looked grave. What head was Chu Tianfang, the president of Imperial Capital University, a terrifying existence at the first Great King realm, on the verge of stepping into the venerable level. He scanned the people present, his expression slightly grave. The top score on college entrance analyst has already enrolled at Imperial Capital University. His name is Gu Pingyan. Give him all privileges, the best treatment of all. Do not offend him. The vice presidents and deans were all slightly taken aback. A vice president spoke up in surprise. Old Chu, who exactly is this Gu Pingyan? Good grief, a whole series of top secrets. Chu Tianfang shook his head lightly. His expression grew even graver. I checked his information the moment I got it. Almost everything is top secret. The only thing not classified is his name, a noble title, and an official position. Everyone was stunned. All of them gasped in shock. Even the investigation into this was top secret. What on earth is that kid's background? What identity is he? The vice chancellor swallowed. What position? What noble title? Chu Tianfang glanced at him. He clasped his hands together, his brow twitching slightly. The noble title is first-class king of the realm. As for the official position, you can know about. This is the advisor of the Great Qing Imperial family. When these words came out, the conference room fell dead silent. Even these powerful elderly men all gasped in shock. Chu Tianfang rubbed his brow. He smiled bitterly. This is the real crown prince. All of you remember, do not leak any information about Gu Pingyan. And Gu Pingyan can do whatever he wants at Imperial Capital University. Anything is permitted. Chapter 38 Big Bang. The next morning, after a night of heavy drinking, his cultivation increased by 10 years. He unlocked an achievement while drunk. Farewell to boyhood, with an extra reward of divine power. Dharma body heaven and earth. Gu Pingyan opened his eyes. Lying beside him was the gentle beauty. He quietly got up, prepared to cover Yao Yao with quilt. He just grabbed the edge of the quilt to cover her delicate neck. When Yao Yao woke up, their eyes met, and the air suddenly turned stiff. Yao Yao's face flushed with embarrassment, and she glared fiercely at Gu Pingyan. She coquettishly said, "I'm gonna get dressed, get out of here." As she spoke, all sorts of feelings welled up in her heart. How'd I end up getting so drunk? Oh well, I didn't lose anything anyway. She glanced at Gu Pingyan's handsome face. Li Yao Yao covered herself in her heart. Yep, no loss at all.
顾平安乐呵呵地笑了笑，捏了捏小夭夭的脸蛋。那成，我去瞅瞅顾滚滚，等你起来了，咱们收拾收拾，晚上还要赶飞机嘞。李夭夭撅了撅嘴，轻轻点头。等到顾平安推门离去，他光速穿好了衣服。武者强大体质的好处就在这时候体现了出来。犹豫了一下，李夭夭还是将床单叠好，郑重其事地收了起来。与此同时，门外，顾平安脸皮子抽了抽，有些呆愕地看着顾滚滚，准确地说，正在看书的顾滚滚。这黑白团子体质好的惊人，这些超品的古法陈酿酒都无法让他宿醉。只是这顾滚滚为啥会看书？顾滚滚似乎感受到了顾平安惊愕的注视，他费力地扭过脑袋，扬了扬手中的《论语》。顾平安，这孩子是要当一只有文化的滚滚吗？这时候推门而出的李夭夭正巧瞧见了这一幕，也呆立在原地，瞪大了眼睛，沉默了半晌，他有些迷茫。滚滚在看《论语》。顾平安沉默了片刻，艰难地点了点头，也有些迷茫。莫非是这一顿酒给他喝开窍了？二人面面相觑，而顾滚滚还在抱着《论语》翻来覆去，津津有味。临近日暮时分，顾平安一手提着行李箱，一手抱着顾滚滚，有些无奈地开口：“夭夭啊，咱们恐怕真的打不到车了，我让天明哥安排一辆车来。”他们两人还有来送行的苏小云，已然在大街上站了很久了，可就是打不到车啊。选择在今天离开泰安市的准大学生们太多了。李夭夭翻了个好看的白眼：“有车，咱也来不及了吧？你看看这道路堵成什么样子了。”一旁苏小云则是好奇地歪了歪头：“天明哥是谁？也是咱们学校的吗？我咋没听说过？”李夭夭捏了捏顾平安怀中的顾滚滚，笑着开口：“天明哥，我还是叫李叔吧。李叔算是小顾的忘年交。”苏小云有些迷茫地眨巴眨巴眼睛，而另一旁顾平安已然将电话拨出去了。不多时，拥挤的车流快速地分立在道路两旁，10多辆稽查车围绕着一辆黑色的7座商务车飞驰而来。苏小云啧啧称奇，稽查车开到，那商务车里头坐着的恐怕是不得了的大人物。他话还没说完就愣住了。10多辆稽查车和那辆黑色商务车稳稳当当地停在了3人面前，无数路人都朝着这边投来目光，都在窃窃私语着什么。商务车的副驾驶车门打开，李天明从车上走了下来，笑着开口：“本来李老和他妻子是要和我一起来送你的，结果好像是有什么事情，他们暂时离开了泰安。”话还没说完，天空之上有气浪滚滚，众人下意识地抬起头，瞳孔猛地一缩，天上那是一枚导弹，导弹不偏不倚，猛然落入几人身后老校长的别墅之中，火球腾起，冲击波扩散，刹那将整栋别墅撕扯得粉碎。恐怖的冲击波席卷着碎裂砖石泥块，朝着众人咆哮而来，有路人还没反应过来，就被恐怖的冲击波撕成了碎渣。这一切只是发生在一瞬之间，李直正神色猛地一沉，手掌探出，重重一压，当即撕裂一切的冲击波和膨胀的火球都诡异的凝滞，碎裂的石块、抛飞的泥土，乃至于残肢断臂，亦是凝滞在半空中，如同时间被暂停了一般。见状，肌肉紧绷正打算出手的顾平安略微放松了一些，而李直正手掌又是猛然一握，停滞的冲击波和火球被泯灭了得干干净净，碎石块和碎肉渣都落在了地上。死寂的街道轰然间炸开了锅，尖叫声、喇叭声、惊呼声不绝于耳。跟着过来的10多辆稽查车上的稽查连忙下车维持秩序，现场 乱作了一团。是 B6号重型导弹，这是大秦用来打击军事堡垒的。李执政的声音冷冽到了极点，目光之中杀意闪动。祖星除了9大国度，还有一些海盗、罪犯之类的建立的小国，这些小国偶尔和9大国度爆发冲突，一般都是直接以热武器直接洗地。顾平安几人也回过了神来，他看着遍地狼藉，看着残肢断臂，沉默片刻。天明哥，咱们的武器怎么会用在自己的城市？李天明掏出电话，轻声开口：顾老弟稍等，我要问一问。第39章人间背光者。苏小云看着眼前的这一幕，整个人都有些恍惚，血火惊呼声。他有些迷茫地看向方才那个一只手将恐怖的冲击波消泯的中年男子，他正在打电话，看起来有些熟悉，似乎是那位泰安市的执政，经常在电视中出现的。苏小云更加迷茫了一些，只觉得自己好像置身于梦幻。先是这位传说中的执政大人呼喊顾平安为顾老弟，紧接着是导弹来袭，那可是用来摧毁一座军事堡垒的大威力导弹啊！火焰还在熊熊燃烧。李天明放下了挂断了手机，神色有些难看。天明哥，这到底是怎么一回事？顾平安凝视着化作废墟的别墅，还有哀嚎的人和残肢断臂，有些沉默。李天明深吸了一口气，看了一眼苏小云，犹豫了片刻，轻声开口：是人间，他们控制了一座附近的军事基地，如今已然被剿灭了。顾平安目光略微幽深，歪着脑袋没有说话。一旁的李夭夭则是忍不住开口问道：李叔叔，人间是什么？这个宇宙不只是咱们人类存在，是有其他种族的。李天明的声音很平淡，但是双眼中却涌动着杀意。人间，他们自诩为引路人，万族入侵祖星的引路人。顿了顿，他轻轻吐出一口浊气，目光冷冽。不过我们一般称呼他们为人间，或者说背光者。他们背弃了祖星的光辉，致力于让黑暗重临祖星。李夭夭和苏小云都有些茫然，万族祖星原来还有敌人吗？而顾平安则是相对平静，他早就知道了万族的存在，也知道那位大秦的人王，大秦的不朽战死在了星空长城，甚至尸身到现在还定在星空长城上。只是他没想到，原来还会有人间有背光者的存在。缓缓吐出了一口浊气，顾平安轻声发问：他们是冲着校长来的？那枚重型导弹是正好不偏不倚的落在了校长的别墅里头的。李天明沉默了片刻，轻轻摇了摇头：不会，大概是冲着你们来的。背光者的一个任务就是猎杀我人族天骄。说着，他眼中闪过冰冷到极点的光芒，似乎想起了什么，然后又继续说道：好了，顾老弟，你们先去机场吧，我留下来处理这里的事情，今天就不能送你了。顾平安没有说话，只是抱着有些迷茫有些瑟缩的顾滚滚，轻轻点了点头。人间背光者吗？泰安市机场下了车，三人依旧有些沉默。顾滚滚今天格外安分，躺在顾平安的怀里，抱着那本论语。机场人来人往，似乎并没有因为之前导弹袭击的事情而惊讶。官方给出的解释是一伙流窜的武装恐怖分子已然被剿灭。恐慌来得也快，去得也快，更何况机场中来往的人并没有亲眼见到那条街道上的惨状，故此都很平静，甚至大多人都在以惊异的目光朝着这边瞧望，准确的说是都在瞧望着圆嘟嘟的顾滚滚。顾生，我先回去了。柳秘书恭恭敬敬地说了一声，随即又补充了一句：需要我将您的朋友送回去吗？三人都回过神来，顾平安看了一眼头顶的蓝天白云，脸上很勉强地扯出一个笑容。这时候车也不好打，柳哥，你把小云送回去吧。苏小云此时依旧有些魂不守舍，她轻轻叹了口气：把你们送到机场，我的确也该回去了，我是明天中午的飞机。顿了顿，苏小云看向李夭夭：夭夭，说起来我学校离帝都也不算远，有时间我来帝都找你，你可要好好招待我哎。李夭夭心中阴霾略微散了一些，她抱了抱苏小云，轻轻点头：没问题，等我把地皮子踩熟了，你就来帝都玩。苏小云笑着点头，也不墨迹，也没有过多的伤感，很快就上了车。而柳秘书则是又恭恭敬敬地冲着顾平安低了低头，亦是快速驾车离去。目送汽车远离，二人在原地驻足了很久。半晌，顾平安一只手抱着顾滚滚，另一只手轻轻捏了捏小夭夭白嫩的手掌。好了，夭夭，别再想刚才的事情了。李夭夭默默地点了点头，没有说话。他们两个说到底还只是学生，方才的大爆炸，乃至于后来的残垣断壁和残肢断臂，又何曾见过？即便是顾平安，心头也略微受到了一些冲击的。与此同时，泰安市的一处别墅之中，叼着棒棒糖的小女孩打了个哈欠，首尾都收拾好了吧？一个黑衣白面具的男子恭敬点头：天官大人，那个小队的引路人将自己和那座基地炸上了天，没留下任何东西。顿了顿，他又补充了一句：按照航司查到的信息来看，顾平安和李夭夭会乘坐今晚的航班飞往帝都。小女孩将棒棒糖嚼了个粉碎，咽下肚子，随即淡淡开口：通知雷隼和织田武准备出手吧。顿了顿，他好像想起来什么似的，又补充了一句：对了，让他们留下那头食铁兽的命，罗刹族的太子也偷渡到了祖星，而他似乎最近需要食铁兽的骨血来淬炼体魄。说着，小女孩伸了个大大的懒腰。第40章机场小风波。先生，不好意思，这只食铁兽不能进入机场。机场门口，安检小姐姐看着全程一团的顾滚滚，眼睛冒出小星星来，小心翼翼地开口：咱们机场暂时不允许宠物进入，由不得他说话不小心，整个祖星的食铁兽加起来都没多少。而面前这对少年少女抱着一只，这能是普通人吗？一旁来往的路人亦是朝着这边投来惊异的目光，都在小声的窃窃私语：妈耶，我这辈子居然还能看见一只活着的食铁兽，这对情侣到底是什么人？那可是食铁兽啊，就这么堂而皇之的抱在怀中，估计来头不小。我赌5块钱，他们绝对能进机场，甚至能上星空取帅剑，这样的人物不会简单的。在众多 围观路人的窃窃私语中，顾平安冲着安检小姐姐微微颔首。没事的，我给滚滚也买了一张机票。滚滚固然没有身份卡，但是以顾平安如今的身份级别，额外购买一张机票压根不是什么事儿。说着，顾平安将圆嘟嘟的顾滚滚抱给李夭夭，随即从兜里摸出来了身份卡，递给有些懵逼的安检小姐姐，笑着开口刷一下。安检小姐姐明显的愣了一愣，不过也没有犹豫，小跑到工作台，轻轻一刷，网页刷新，整个屏幕被2个大字填满：绝密。安检小姐姐和旁边几个机场工作人员都是瞪大了眼睛，后脑勺酥酥妈妈，这是什么情况？他们都不由自主地看了一眼那个笑容温润如玉的少年，脊背略微发颤，来了一个大人物啊！很快，一个中年秃顶的男子快步小跑而来，在无数旅客惊诧的目光中，他冲着顾平安恭恭敬敬地行了一个礼。顾生，我是咱们泰安机场的负责人。这个机场负责人擦了一把头上的汗水，有些胆战心惊地开口：您是本机场最尊贵的客人，请您跟我来。说着，这位平日里在整个泰安机场说一不二的负责人，恭恭敬敬地接过了顾平安和李夭夭手中的行李。顾平安温和地笑了笑，也没说什么，只是牵着小夭夭的手，跟着这位诚惶诚恐的机场负责人快步离开了现场。等到他们走后，机场大门的安检处轰然喧闹了起来，来往旅客们议论纷纷，啧啧称奇，都在猜测那个少年到底是什么级别的大人物。莫非他是理直郑家的公子？接下来的事情就很简单了，机票不用2人去取，第2道安检也是直接略过，甚至最后是在数位空姐的簇拥之下，在无数旅客惊诧的目光之中，率先登上了星空取帅舰。这家中型星空驱绿舰的头等舱较为一般，不过也是极为宽敞，一共都只有8个位置，且都座椅是宽阔的航空舱。顾平安好奇地打量了一番这艘星空舰，不由得有些感慨，这架星空舰可是能够在宇宙中航行，甚至可以抵御小型星空风暴。据老校长说，每一艘星空驱绿舰都是曾经人族用来抵御万族的武器，只是后来被淘汰了，便用来做组星内或星际间的运输。将抱着轮椅呆萌的顾滚滚放在位子上，李夭夭一边坐下一边有些感慨地开口：小顾，这就是特权吗？啧，大秦国是有高低上下之分的，看的便是修为境界，是爵位高低。然而哪怕是公侯爵位的大人物，信息资料上也最多有1-2个保密，可顾平安呢，直接就是2个大的绝密。顾平安安逸地躺好，轻声笑了笑。特权这种东西其实是应该存在的，我算是个例外。至于大部分拥有爵位的人，何该享受这些特权？李夭夭眨巴眼睛，有些迷茫。而顾平安心头却是一片平静。大秦的爵位，除了高考状元的授予之外，如何提升，如何获取，官方一直没有给出一个细则。但是他猜得到，为军功耳，战功彪炳，默默守护人族的存在，获封爵位，享受特权，合情合理。甚至于说，顾平安已然隐约猜到，为什么每年武道大学都会有伤亡指标的存在。对外说法是高强度训练会造成意外伤亡，因为这些一度在网上掀起舆论攻势，都在谴责大学每年死人这件事情。刚开始他也很不解，现在倒是大概明白了，那些伤亡的大学生是阵亡的或者牺牲的吧。所以顾平安会说自己是个例外，他纯粹是被老校长通过某种手段提高了一点点的身份级别。想到这里，他轻轻叹了口气。而一旁的李夭夭大致也猜到了一些，面色微微暗淡。时间很快过去，这架星空驱帅舰的乘客陆陆续续的登了上来，头等舱剩下的5个位置也都座无虚席。这时候乘务长快步走了过来，径直走到顾平安和李夭夭的面前，恭敬开口：顾生、李生，我是本次航班的乘务长，路途中若是有任何需要，请您们尽管吩咐，我们必定会尽最大努力满足2位的需求。生童先生是对地位崇高或者德高望重之人的敬称，不分男女。李夭夭是泰安市的状元，本身是获得了9品子爵位的，所以乘务长会将他称呼为李生。顾平安笑着点头，刚想要回话，一旁有不怎么和谐的声音响了起来：我说你们大秦航空是怎么一回事？为什么会有牲畜坐在我旁边？顾平安、李夭夭乃至那位乘务长都是眉头一皱，顺着声源瞧望了过去，却是一个中年妇女，身上珠光宝气，只是面相略微刻薄。她一脸嫌弃的指了指一旁在航空舱椅上不安分的顾滚滚，声音有些发尖：这是石铁兽吧？你们航司为何会允许一只牲畜上星空驱帅舰？第41章晋升。那贵妇尖锐的声音让头等舱的其余几位客人都下意识的皱了皱眉头。乘务长面上浮现标志性的笑容，快步走到那位中年妇女的面前，微微弯着腰：这位女士，若是给您带来了不便，我们深感抱歉。不过顾生是替小石铁兽购买了机票，并且顾生是我航司最尊贵的客人。他将尊贵2个字咬得特别重，意图告诉这个贵妇别惹上自己惹不起的人。头等舱的其余4位客人都听出了乘务长的言外之意，几人都惊奇地看了一眼俊秀少年和可爱少女，心头都在思忖着什么。这是哪家的大少爷、大小姐？似乎并未听闻过呢。而这时候，那中年妇女眼睛一瞪，油滋滋的肥脸一抖一抖，破口大骂：你个服务生跟谁俩呢？老娘也是你们大秦航空的金钻贵宾，你让我一个金钻和一只畜生做一个舱？说着，他有些激动地挥着手：我要求你们立刻、现在、马上将这头畜生……李夭夭听不下去了，解开安全带站了起来，面色愠怒地抱了抱顾滚滚，轻声呵斥：第一，公共场合，请你放尊重一点；第二，我家滚滚不是畜生；第三，我们给滚滚买了票的。一旁其余的4位乘客也都开始嘀咕了起来：人家黑白团子多可爱啊，碍着你了，在这里逼逼赖赖，这是金马地产老总的老婆吧？这素质，这眼力见他不会不知道什么是石铁兽吧？其中一个穿着朴素衣服的老者一时站了起来，神色严肃地对着那中年妇女开口：我认识你丈夫，你的行为给了我很不好的感官，我会慎重考虑和金马地产合作开发泰安市商业圈的事情。顿了顿，老者又和蔼地冲着李夭夭点了点头。小姑娘，那中年妇女呆了一呆，随即面色阴晴不定了起来。而众人的议论还在继续，谴责声、嘲讽声不断传来。头等舱中，一个被母亲抱在怀中的奶娃刮了刮自己婴儿肥的脸蛋， 这个阿姨羞羞羞，又丑又胖，还没礼貌。中年妇女终于忍不住了，脑子嗡的一下，有些歇斯底里的咆哮：好好好，老娘说不过你们，老娘还收拾不了一头畜生。话还没说完，晋升那个眉目清秀的少年淡淡开口了，声音很平淡，却透着不容置疑。中年妇女如同被扼住喉咙的鸭子一般，脸上长得通红，想要说些什么，可是却什么也说不出来，只能发出呵呵的声响。有人倒吸了一口凉气，看向顾平安的神色凝重了一些。这个少年是什么境界？那和蔼的老者脸上也闪过惊异，笑呵呵的冲着李夭夭颔首。这下安静了，小姑娘，快些回去坐着吧。李夭夭捏了捏顾滚滚的小耳朵，笑着点了点头。那中年妇人面色惨白，从脊背到发梢都在震颤。那少年轻言晋升的时候，他感觉到有恐怖的东西压在了自己的身上，他有预感，若是自己再次发出声响，会死，真的会死。中年妇女彻底胆寒了，老校长抹了一把脸上的泥土，一脸倒霉样子，晦气晦气，怎么又臭了？一旁仙灵拢翻了个白眼，看着自家丈夫又没有被很好保存，也没有力量镇护，这些酒放了成百上千年，自然都是要变质的。顿了顿，他叹了口气，咋当初你追我的时候没见你这么认真？说着，仙灵拢危险的眯起了眼睛。老校长打了个哆嗦，连忙陪笑，这能一样吗？平安是我后辈，我替他寻一些酒，又不是啥事。说着，他神色略微严肃了起来。主要原因还是平安的体质，我发现他每一次喝酒，每一次醉酒，身上气机都会变强，虽然不知道具体强大了多少。仙灵拢若有所思的点了点头，一种和酒有关系的先天体质嘛。话说起来，咱就这么走了，你不怕平安遇到危险？老校长摆了摆手，笑呵呵的说道，我在他身上留下了一道拳印，真有危险我也能感应到，而且他旁边有滚滚在，滚滚他爹可是时刻关注着他宝贝儿子呢。说着，老校长伸了个懒腰，豪情万丈，走着走着，去下一个地方，老夫今天就不相信了，翻不出好酒来。秦约8848航班已然起飞，中型星空剑划破夜空，朝着咸阳行省帝都的方向疾驰而去。泰安市距离帝都有上万公里遥远的距离，哪怕这家中型星空舰能以音速航行，也需要足足8个小时时间。抵达帝都的时候倒是正好早上。一般来说，星空舰是很少会在星球内启用曲率引擎抵达光速的，那太过浪费能源了。此时星空舰已然飞行平稳，头等舱内的那个小奶娃从母亲怀中跳了出来，摇摇摆摆地跑到顾平安和李夭夭的面前，一脸渴望。大哥哥大姐姐，我可以摸一摸黑白团子吗？小奶娃很有礼貌，看得出来母亲教得很好。李夭夭温和地笑了笑，摸了摸小奶娃的脑袋，可以啊，他叫顾滚滚，你可以和他去玩。小奶娃兴奋地点了点头，又是摇摇摆摆地跑过去，猛地扑在了顾滚滚身上，嘿嘿地笑着。顾滚滚看着这个小奶娃，大眼睛扑闪扑闪，随即熊脸严肃地从屁股底下摸出一本《论语》。小奶娃看到书本的刹那，条件反射的笑容一僵。顾平安和李夭夭一时之间都有些失笑，这顾滚滚莫非是想要教小奶娃看《论语》不成？与此同时，一头雷隼，一个武士打扮的老者，身形从天空急速掠过，音爆滚滚，气浪四散。第42章法天象地，伟岸人影筑长城。太白山山脚处，李通明对着建立起封锁线的士兵出示了自己的学生证和身份卡，当即就有校官小跑过来，行了个礼，您就是这次的专员组长吧？其他专员已然在里面等待您了。说着，校官眼中闪过一丝尊敬，帝都大学大3的首席，准确的说，已然是大4首席了，这样的位置定然战功彪炳才行。在这位校官的带领下，李通明很快走进了一个临时搭建的小屋子，里面坐着几个少年少女。李首席到了。李通明冲着校官轻轻颔首，随即推门而入。一看见他走进来，几个少年少女都站了起来，面上都扬起惊喜之色。李哥，居然把你也派过来了，那这下妥当了，哈哈。小屋子一时之间纷扰了起来，李通明温和地笑了笑。好了，先说说现在是个什么情况？几个帝都大学即将大4的少年少女对视了一眼，其中一个女孩轻声开口：首席，是这样的，这太白山上似乎是被光者的一处根据地，张教授这时候正在环绕勘测，这山上似乎有万族的异宝。顿了顿，他继续诉说道，那异宝形成了阵势相当强大，张教授都无法强行打破，根据情报来看，这里是一处接引万族偷渡者的地点。李通明满上闪过一丝惊容，张教授都没法打破，那咱们又如何能进去？帝都大学的教授实力都很强大，基本上都是封侯长生境的存在，放在军队中甚至可以直接升任降级。那少女苦笑了一声，自然是因为年轮检测了，那些背光者因为经常要掳掠少年孩童进行洗脑的缘故，24岁以下是可以进入阵势之中的。一旁另一个戴着眼镜的学生亦是开口说道，如今太白山上的背光者高层似乎都去了某个地方，线人说山上最强也只是宗师。李通明若有所思地点了点头，思索了半晌，他沉声开口，那行，呼唤张教授吧，我们准备一下进入登太白山，剿灭那些人间。星空舰平稳地行驶在云端之上，路程已然走了大半，机舱里面大部分人此时都在沉睡。李夭夭平躺在航空舱椅中也睡着了，一旁的顾滚滚则是屁股对着天花板，冒着鼻涕泡泡，打着小声的奶呼噜。而顾平安则是在闭目养神，或者说感悟自身的一式剑招，2门神通，3道剑意。新得来的法天象地神通，越是感悟，他越是心惊。这门神通强大的过分，或者说上限恐怖的过分，一旦法天象地大成，便可以将自身膨胀为比你一颗星球大小的恐怖生物，力量等等也是呈几何倍数暴涨，一拳打崩星辰都只是等闲。而缩小的话，亦是可以小到微观程度，甚至这门神通若是圆满，缩小到极致，可以进入量子通道进行短时间的时光回溯，真真正正的顶尖神通。精神世界之中，法天象的神通映照出来一些强大存在使用这门神通的景象， 有不知道多少年前的一头猿猴施展法天象地之后，身形横亘一片星域，手中棍棒一扫，就是大片大片的星河熄灭。有一头石铁兽法天象地冲杀一座庞大到不可思议的古界，古界之中仙气氤氲，天人无数，却险些被那头巨大的石铁兽杀穿整个古界。甚至说顾平安看到了一个模糊的景象，是一个人，一个伟岸到不可思议的人。法天象地伸手拈来无数星辰，甚至古界凝练成一枚枚的砖石，搭建出来一座横亘无尽星域的长城。那是星空长城吗？搭建长城的又是谁？顾平安心头震撼，哪怕是老校长口中的不朽境，也没有这般恐怖的吧？毕竟人族可是依仗着星空长城聚拦了万族无数年，打退了很多不朽之王的。这个世界还要远比我想象中恐怖啊！顾平安在心头喃喃自语，缓缓睁开眼睛，神色略微有些凝重。一直观察着头等舱中客人动向的乘务长连忙走了过来，用很低的声音开口：“顾生，你有什么需要吗？”他神色上满是恭敬，声音也压得很低，免得吵醒了其他几位乘客。顾平安回过神来，冲着乘务长笑了笑：“没事。”话还没说完，大雷炸响，轰咔！无数乘客从睡梦中惊醒，呼呼大睡的顾滚滚一时吓得一个哆嗦，胖嘟嘟的身子艰难地翻了个个，睁开了满是迷茫的大眼珠子。窗外不知何时，厚重的乌云将这架星空舰包裹，紫色大雷在其中不断浮现而出，撕裂长空。女士们、先生们，星空舰遇到雷暴天气，或许会有轻微颠簸，请稍安勿躁。播报适时响起，惊慌的乘客都略微安了安心绪。头等舱中，那中年妇女刚想要大声抱怨，却瞅见了眉头紧锁的顾平安，她打了个哆嗦，没有发出半点声音。李夭夭也看见了顾平安紧缩的眉头，她轻声发问：“小顾，怎么了？”顾平安摇了摇头，目光深邃，似乎有些不对劲。王静，一念可改天象，他方才试图消弭雷暴天气，可是却失败了。李夭夭神色也凝重了起来，刚想要说些什么的时候，轰！星空舰剧烈颠簸，乘务长猛地摔在地上，而驾驶舱里舰长和驾驶员都露出了惊恐的神色，失神的喃喃自语：“那是什么？”第43章，星空舰崩毁，居河断海。舰长和驾驶员此时整个人都懵了，他们呆呆地看着前方雷云中的场景，是一头隼，一头一展超过100米的雷隼，而在那头雷隼的头顶，似乎还有一个人，身着霓虹国度的武士装，手放在腰间刀柄之上，好似蓄势待发。那雷隼双眼之中满是紫色雷光在涌动，他张开嘴，发出一声咆哮，打！伴随着这一声咆哮，厚重的大雷和恐怖风压刹那而至，两个人的面色都有些苍白，想要说些什么，可是根本来不及了。雷已至，风已至，二人化作焦炭，又被风压碾成彻底的粉末，烟消云散。最接近驾驶舱的头等舱之中，顾平安神色巨变，猛然站起了身子，安全带崩断。他伸出2只手掌，骨骼之上的古老阵势转动，天地之力微微震荡，躯壳内上万吨的纯粹力量也在内气和玄奥符文的增幅下喷薄而出。可即使如此，只是很勉强的将击穿驾驶舱而来的恐怖雷光和飓风给抵消。顾平安不由自主的后退了一步，头等舱的木质地板寸寸崩碎，无数乘客都发出尖叫。李夭夭将顾滚滚抱在怀中，面色苍白。那个中年妇女已然彻底吓昏了过去，四肢随着凶猛的寒风飘飞着。那位老者和抱着奶娃的母亲都神色惨白，整个驾驶舱化作粉末，星空舰也开始急剧施压力，恐怖的狂风将没有系安全带的乘务长卷落出去，还没飞入雷光闪烁的乌云，就已然被风压撕了个粉碎。顾平安透过破碎的驾驶舱直视着那头雷隼和那个年迈武士，神色有些难看了起来。两位王境，而且是资深王境，至少也是迈入了中3品，也只有王境才能轻而易举地撕碎星空舰的高强度合金外壳。要知道，正常来说，星空舰是能抗住小型宇宙风暴的啊，毕竟是曾用搭载各种高能武器抵御万族的宇宙战舰。顾平安呢，只是9品王境，和那2位资深王境的差距大到离谱。雷隼和那年迈武士的眼中也闪过一丝惊芒，雷隼发出冷笑，那少年居然是王境，不可思议，不可思议。不过可惜了，只是初入王境，今天要陨落于此。年迈武士轻轻点了点头，手依旧放在腰间刀柄，他面上展露一个难看的笑容。老夫最喜欢的就是猎杀天骄啊，他才18岁吧？18岁的王境，啧，前无古人，后无来者。就在二人交谈之时，星空舰已然开始坠落，从上万米的高空急速下滑，其上搭载的基础炮台已然开始自动还击，但是对于2位王境来说没有任何作用。顾平安的双脚钉入了木质地板，周身206块骨头上的古老阵势缓缓转动，浩荡的天地之力将飞机护持住，否则的话，那些乘客已然因为急速坠落和施压而昏迷甚至死亡。星空舰碎裂的速度越来越快，越来越快。李夭夭面色惨白，而顾滚滚则是将胖脸迈入了他怀中，似乎有些战栗。毕竟他虽然是不朽之王的嫡子，但说到底也还是个孩子，是个幼崽。很快，星空舰临近地面了，乘舱中还清醒着的老者和抱着奶娃的母亲神色都惨白到极点。眼看星空舰即将坠地，那位母亲抱紧了她的孩子。1000米、500米、100米、10米，最后10米。顾平安发出一声轻喝，身上腾起恐怖的气血狼烟，将星空舰的舱顶顶冲了个粉碎。随即古老阵势转动，天地之力牵引而来，将整个急速下坠的星空舰凝滞在了立地10米。那位母亲和老者都长长的出了一口气，一些空姐也是劫后余生。他们看向顾平安的目光又惊又惧又感激。这个少年恐怖的有些过头了，这已然超出了大宗师的范畴。莫非他是一尊封侯长生境的存在？可是这又怎么可能？面色依旧惨白的老者颤抖着开口：“多谢，多谢。”蜷缩在母亲怀中，那4、5岁的奶娃此时才回过神来，发出了一声响亮的啼哭。这啼哭声好像是引爆了炸药桶一般，整个星空舰数百人都开始喧嚣了起来，一时之间沸反盈天。航空舱椅中紧紧地抱着顾滚滚的李夭夭回过神来，他后背一片 冷汗，有些迷茫的开口：“小顾，发生了什么？”顾平安一边操纵着天地之力，将星空剑缓缓放平在地上，一边开口：“是云端上有人劫杀。”我怀疑是背光者，是那群人间的。话还没说完，顾平安面色巨变。云端之上，雷隼发出一声尖笑，随即朝着地面俯冲而来。那年迈的武士似乎蓄力已成，他稳稳当当地站在雷隼头顶，身子压得很低很低，下巴几乎贴近了雷隼头上的子羽。居河断海，话音一落，抽刀出鞘，一掌而落，刀光横亘上千米，伴随着恐怖的紫色大雷轰然而下。这恐怖刀光速度快到了眉边，眨眼就跨越了4000米，空气都在这刀光之下被劈碎，形成大片真空。星空剑中，顾平安感应到了这超过10倍音速轰然落下的刀光，他想做出反应，可是已经来不及了，只能将李夭夭和顾滚滚护住，仓促间伸出手掌一劈而出，剑久6000里，有剑气从天边而来，倾泻而下，恰似银河倒挂，纵横6000里，剑气长河浩浩荡荡，可是却被刀光轻易破开，不过总归是有点作用的。这一道恐怖刀光被泯灭了9成9，而剑气长河则是损失殆尽，毕竟是仓促间的一招，并未曾凝聚太多力量。很惊艳的一剑，雷隼头顶老迈的武者收刀入鞘，轻声赞叹。话音才落，被消磨了9成9的刀光落在了星空剑上，星空剑被彻彻底底的撕了个粉碎。第44章，一声剑来天下惊，凌冽的刀光斩落而下，并没有引爆星空剑，只是刹那间将整个星空剑撕扯得4分5裂，连同里面的人。崩碎的钢块击穿了老者的胸膛，这位和蔼的老者挣扎着伸出双手，虚空抓了抓，却什么也没抓到，最后还是遗憾地闭上了眼睛，似乎在遗憾没有看到远在帝都的小孙女最后一面。断裂的钢条将母亲和奶娃一起钉死在座位上，奶娃双眼涣散，口中有鲜血溢出，她咳嗽着，断断续续地呼唤着妈妈妈，沙哑的奶音戛然而止。那位母亲的嘴角颤了颤，似乎想要呼唤什么，可终究没有呼唤出来，一时没了声息。她到死还是紧紧抱着自己的孩子，很用力很用力。商务舱和经济舱的乘客更是惨不忍睹。顾平安眼角抽搐着，没有说话，只是轻轻捂住了李夭夭和顾滚滚的眼睛，很轻很轻，低着头，不要睁开眼睛，等我回来。说完，拍了拍李夭夭发颤的肩膀，又拍了拍缩成一团拳在小夭夭怀中的顾滚滚。顾平安冲天而起，杀！太白山跟着一起穿过阵势，进入太白山的年轻士兵一个又一个的倒在地上。李通明双眼血红，跑啊，快跑啊！你们武者都是未来的希望啊！这是一个准武者级数的士兵大声嘶吼出来的话。随即，他被青衣老者的手掌洞穿胸膛，抓碎了那颗勃勃跳动的心脏，身躯无力到底，如同破布娃娃一般。青衣老者面上洋溢着笑容，无视了不断向他倾泻而来的热武器，他只是不断的杀戮着一个又一个前仆后继的士兵。跑吧，跑吧！青衣老者轻轻的笑着，凌空一拍，骨骼上的玄奥符文绽放光明，随即从虚空中凝聚出一个大手印，轰然落下，血肉横飞。李通明喉咙中挤出撕心裂肺的呜咽，他不敢去看，咬着牙拖着几个帝都大学的少年少女奔逃。这是一个陷阱，这座山，这座太白山只能进不能出啊！奔逃着，李通明咬碎了2颗牙齿，他想要回去死战，哪怕以宗师之躯对上一位封侯长生镜，无异于螳臂当车。但这个世上总要有皮肤去撼树，可他不行，这几个少年少女还指望着他。说句不好听的，联系上李天明，他们才有机会得救，这些少年少女最后才能活下来，都是未来的希望啊！年迈的武者已然收刀入鞘，站在雷隼头上，轻笑着看着那位如利剑般冲霄而来的少年。他摇了摇头，面上浮现出一丝悲悯之色，开口叹息：螳臂当车，皮肤撼树，他一直这么勇的吗？他不知道我是一品王境的吗？雷隼也是轻轻笑了笑，口齿之间紫电咆哮：你们人族总是最爱皮肤撼树的，不是吗？年迈武者撇了撇嘴巴，搭手于刀柄之上，声音很淡：我知道，所以需要纠正。而我是万族的引路人，终将会引领万族的荣光重临祖星。话音落下，他又抽刀出鞘，居合取命，刀光泼洒而下，波光粼粼，恰似大雨扑落。那少年，那个直冲云霄而来的少年，眼中是杀意盎然。云端上之前的交谈都落入了他的耳中。顾平安手中无剑，但他自己就是一柄长剑，一柄天底下最锋锐的长剑。剑出鞘时，刀折，枪断，万兵俯首，意气风发。少年身形错乱，一步迈出，缩地成寸，刹那撞碎了泼洒而落的刀光，立足在云端之上，直视着雷隼和年迈武者。顾平安开口了：为何劫杀？年迈武士笑出了声：我杀你，何须理由？面上虽然在笑，但他却又是收刀入鞘，手握刀柄，略微压低身子，心头亦是相当凝重。方才这个少年是用了缩地成寸的法子，那可是神通啊！明明到了山海境才能领悟神通的，可这个少年断不能留。顾平安目光澄澈，他脑海中回荡着被钉死在座椅上的母子，回荡着遗憾叹息的老者。半晌，顾平安轻声开口：你们刚才说人族最爱皮肤撼树，的确如此，毕竟总是要有人前仆后继，而这些你们不懂。说着，他平静地伸出了手掌：那武士，我今日以我手中3尺气概杀你，那隼，我则是会将你生撕。顾平安的语气很平淡，仿佛只是在陈述事实，向着2个敌人宣告他们的死法。一盏超过100米的雷隼微微眯了眯眼睛，紫雷翻滚而又咆哮，他心头莫名其妙的有些凝重了起来。而年迈武者亦是狠狠地压低了身子，一副蓄势待发的模样，嘴上却是在冷笑：3尺气概，你手中哪来的剑？3尺气概便是剑客手中的长剑，剑有3尺长，即是手中剑，亦是胸中气概。伸直的手掌轻轻摊开，顾平安语气依旧很平淡，平淡的吓人。谁说我无剑？剑来！6成开天剑意，4成的黄泉剑意轰然而出，法天象地之下，顾平安在雷隼和年迈武者惊骇欲绝的目光中，化作了一个3000米高的恐怖存在。 周身环绕着的是黄泉剑意映照而出的黄泉滚滚，头顶着的是开天剑意所化的天门一扇，随手抓住一座千米山峰，倒拔而起，大地撕裂，山峰剧烈震荡，无数山石崩落而下，而他就这么将一整座山峰抓入了手中。顾平安吐声如天雷滚滚，这不就是剑了吗？说着，这一尊3000米高的恐怖存在手持千米山峰拟作剑锋，身形贯穿苍穹，随即千米山峰之剑一斩而落。第45章说生死撕你，就生撕你。云端之上，听着如同洪钟大吕般振聋发聩的呵斥声，雷隼和他头顶的那位年迈武士都下意识地瞪大了眼睛。年迈武士感觉自身从脊背到发梢都在不由自主地震颤，寒气从尾椎骨涌出，顺着整条脊椎骨直达后脑勺。雷隼也好不到哪里去，身上泛着雷光的紫羽一根一根地竖直了起来，微微地站立着。这又是什么神通？年迈武士不由自主地出声，有些呆呆愣愣。身化3000米巨人的顾平安手执千米山峰高高的举了起来，山峰直入云端，微微震颤着，一些山石树木都从山峰上剥离，但是并未坠落，而是在剑意的托举之下环绕在山峰的四周。顾平安眼中迸发出骇人的杀意，他声音森冷，如同告死：我此一剑，请你入黄泉。话音一落，手中千米山峰如同大剑一般轰然挥下。年迈的武士心脏猛然一缩，他没时间多想什么，发出一声低低的咆哮：我知道，可斩我一切所见。话音落下，年迈武士体内骨骼之上浩大的古老阵势开始转动，恐怖的天地之力汇聚而来，长刀出鞘，居合再斩，绵延数十里的厚重云层猛然间一分为二，那是刀痕，刀光呼啸而至，朝着斩落的千米山峰之剑迎击，似乎要将这山峰一刀两断。一品王境也的的确确有这个能力，对于一品王境来说，分山开海不难。然而有泉水声响起，那山峰之上隐隐约约之间浮现出黄泉浩荡之景，无数尸骨埋葬其中，仙佛残躯在黄泉上飘荡，那是剑意。年迈武士和雷隼神色大变，运用了法天象地神通后，顾平安本身力量就暴涨100倍不止，100万吨级的力量在天地之力的加持之下，更是抵达了一个难以想象的层次。如今再辅之以4成的黄泉剑意，刀光轰然破碎，千米山峰之剑斩落而下。雷隼毫不犹豫的阵意就逃，横亘100米的巨大躯壳却如同奔雷一般迅捷，将年迈武士抛在原地。年迈武士面对千米山峰之剑发出不甘的嘶吼，他持刀欲再斩，可没机会了。剑落53刻，黄泉已至。年迈武士在黄泉剑意的冲刷之下，整个人呆滞在了原地。他看了一眼奔逃的雷隼，发出一声苦笑，随即魂飞魄散，断绝往生。而他本身躯壳亦是在千米山峰之剑下被斩，或者说被砸成了尘埃。顾平安随手一掷，山峰坠落，砸在地上，掀起巨大轰鸣，大地之上烟尘蔓延而起数百米高。他看着已然远遁的雷隼，轻轻笑了笑：该你了。说着，顾平安伸出巨大的手掌，辅以缩地成寸的神通，手掌将空间收束，轻而易举地将已然远遁数十里的雷隼一把抓住，再抽了回来。100米大小的雷隼在顾平安面前如同一个玩具，他发出绝望的嘶吼，紫电炸裂，妄图挣脱。说了生死你，就生死你。顾平安很冷漠地开口，两只巨大手掌抓住雷隼的两只翅膀，猛然发力，紫雨飘飞，混杂着雷光的血液大泼大泼地洒落。这头雷隼发出凄厉惨叫，两只翅膀已然被撕扯而下，一只手抓着雷隼的头，另一只手握成拳，随即拳出。哀嚎的雷隼看着越来越大的拳头，他彻底绝望了。紧接着，这头雷隼被硬生生地打爆，真正意义上的打爆，数百万吨力量轰然爆发之下，雷隼的身躯也轰然炸碎。两位王境一品死。地面上4分5裂的星空剑残骸之中，李夭夭始终听话地闭着眼睛，顾滚滚也缩躺在他怀中，没有睁眼。听着云端上的巨大轰鸣，小夭夭不由自主地有些战栗。不知道过了多久，那恐怖轰鸣戛然而止，他心头也是猛然一抽，结束了。随即，李夭夭感觉到一只温暖的手掌，一只带着熟悉味道的温暖手掌轻轻揉了揉自己脑袋，伴随着醇厚的声音：夭夭，一切都结束了。李夭夭揪紧了的心猛然一松，蜷缩在他怀中的顾滚滚似乎也放松了起来。泰安市，李天明神色有些难看到了极点。先是秦 A8848航班失联，紧接着太白山那边也传来了急讯，他心头相当沉重。一旁柳秘书亦是满脸愁容，说是顾生那趟航班遇上了雷暴天气，或许是因为电子信号被干扰的原因才失联，少爷那边怎么办？太白山的医保阵势，非24岁之下不得入内，且阵势相当强大。按照帝都大学张教授的说法，山海境大能也够呛能打破的，偏偏这个时候李老也联系不到了。大人，要不要先去尝试联系上顾生？柳秘书此时又开口说道：顾生他可还没满24岁。李天明神色猛然一动，随即他沉默了。半晌，这位即将升任咸阳行省大执政的尊者闭上眼睛，摇了摇头。平安虽然掌握了剑意，但自身终究只是宗师，太白山上则是有封侯长生境的存在，我不会让他也去冒险。可是柳秘书欲言又止，李天明睁开眼睛，似乎一下子苍老了许多，显得有些疲惫。和通明比起来，顾老弟是希望，是大秦的希望，也是祖兴的希望。算了，你不懂。柳秘书沉默了。叮铃铃，有电话声响起。喂。李天明满脸疲惫地接起了电话。天明哥，是我，顾平安。电话中传来顾平安沉稳而又略微冰冷的声音。我预习了星空剑崩灭式2个王境。李天明猛然站起身子，后背汗毛发炸。第46章，顾平安没成长起来的天骄罢了。李天明的心紧紧地揪了起来。你在哪千万藏好？我立刻过来。2位王境袭杀，他断定这位顾老弟应该是逃了，暂时躲藏了起来。但愿那2位王境不要那么快找到顾老弟啊！电话中沉默了片刻，少年有些啼笑皆非的声音响了起来。我等下发个定位给你。对了，那2个王境已经被我宰了。 宰了就好，等等，被你杀了。李天明的声音猛然提高了8度，顾老弟，这种事情可开不得玩笑啊！说着，他咽了口唾沫，心头悸动。顾老弟不像是开玩笑的人，不会是真的吧？可这又怎么可能？电话中，顾平安的声音有些无奈：“天明哥，你过来一趟就知道了，我先挂了，给你发个定位。”李天明木然的点了点头。片刻过后，一个定位发到了他的手机上，目光微微一凝，李天明没有再犹豫，身形一晃，撞入了虚空之中。尊者境，感悟一役，同时在躯壳之中种下道中，以一浇灌之，道种盛放之时候，即是迈入山海之日。太白山，一个看起来18、19岁的小士兵站立的瘫坐在地上。不要杀我，求求您了。青衣老者笑了笑，轻哼着世上只有妈妈好的童谣，走到了年轻士兵的面前。面前士兵听着沙哑的童谣声，他身子猛地一抖，随即慌忙开口：“别杀我，我给你吹笛子，我还有个妈妈。”他最喜欢我吹的笛子了，你听。说着，他手忙脚乱地从贴身的内兜里摸出了一根有些暗淡的短笛，颤颤巍巍地吹响了世上只有妈妈好的调子。青衣老者听着这调子，摇了摇头，随即一脚踹出，风撕而裂。老者一脚不偏不倚地踢在了笛子正中，笛子顺着年轻士兵的干裂的嘴唇灌入头颅。士兵身子抽了抽，手无力地垂下，脑袋也无力地垂下，鲜血顺着这根他入伍时母亲送的礼物一点一点地淌落了出来。青衣老者撇了撇嘴，脸上勾勒起一个笑容，看着四散奔逃的士兵，自言自语：“逃吧，逃吧，好久没玩游戏了，正好一起玩猫抓老鼠的游戏。”说着，这个诡异的老者又是哼着童谣，漫步在半山腰，收割一条又一条的生命，同时也距离李通明他们藏身的山洞越来越近了。太白山山脚的一处山洞之中，两个少年，一个少女李通明，他们神色都有些惊慌，替受伤的少女包扎好伤口。李通明一屁股坐在冰凉的石头上，神色有些难看。一旁，一个少年带着哭腔开口发问：“首席，外界说了救援什么时候到吗？”李通明看了他一眼，轻轻叹了口气：“别急，这太白山根本就是背光者布置的一个陷阱，我怀疑山上不止那青衣老者一个封侯长生境。”顿了顿，他又安慰道：“外界要救援，需要紧急调集人，不急。”说着，李通明眼中有些暗淡。阵势笼罩之下的太白山，只有24岁以下的人才能进入，可24岁以下的人又能有多强？哪怕是皇室的那位天骄皇子，23岁也才是大宗师啊！大宗师的确不弱了，可太白山上疑似有2尊封侯长生境存在啊！没办法了的，24岁之前抵达封侯长生境的妖孽的确是有，可那样的存在又怎么会来太白山犯险？不值得。其余3人其实也想到了这点，但是他们都还抱着一点希望，万一呢？帝都张家大院，一个黑衣白面罩的男子对着张家老爷子轻声开口：“天官大人要你们张家处理一些事情，尽全力。”张家老爷子也是支撑起整个张家的那位尊者，笑了笑：“自然是没问题的，到时候张家一定会安排妥当。”顿了顿，他神色略微严肃了起来：“使者可否透露一下，天官大人要我们张家做什么？”帝都作为整个大秦国的首都，治安可以说是最为好的，对于背光者和万族偷渡者的探查也是最严格的。张家在帝都潜伏了很多年，一直平安无事，就是因为从未在帝都行动过。黑衣白面罩的使者瞥了一眼这位修为远远凌驾自身之上的张老爷子，天官大人安排了一次对顾平安的刺杀，出动了2位王境，但是就在刚才有消息，李天明离开了泰安市。顿了顿，他声音也有些低沉了起来：“天官大人怀疑2位王境没能对顾平安一击必杀，李天明很可能是去救顾平安的，顾平安不能活。2位王境出手截杀，居然可能让顾平安活下来。”张家老爷子眼中闪过一丝惊叹，随即他若有所思的开口：“李天明，那个巅峰王境，听说他若是突破尊者，或许会接任咸阳行省大执政的位子，不过哪有这妖巧合？”顿了顿，这位尊者郑重的点了点头：“使者放心，一个少年罢了，再怎么天骄又能如何？”张家老爷子心头有些不以为意，说到底，一个没成长起来的天骄罢了，那位天官大人也太过郑重其事了，何必如此？使者淡淡的点了点头：“对了，天官大人吩咐，记得把那顾平安身旁的石铁兽也捕捉，要活的。”说完，他的身形从空气中缓缓消失。张家老爷子则是陷入了沉思。忽然，一旁的张家当代族长轻声开口：“老爷子，金红之前在泰安市似乎就和那个叫做顾平安的结怨，要不要叫他过来了解一些情况？”张家老爷子回过神来，沉稳的点点头：“叫过来吧，也是时候让金红也加入引路人的行列了。”背光者人间总是喜欢自称为引路人。第47章，这个少年是增援。李天明看着地面上还闪烁着雷光的雷损残骸，陷入了沉思。可以从碎裂的骨头上看到浩大的古老残阵是一位一品王境，他忍不住看向一旁的顾平安，咽了口唾沫，声音有些颤抖：“你杀的？”顾平安面色古井无波的逗弄着顾滚滚，也没抬头，只是轻轻嗯了一声：“是我杀的，还有一个一品王境的霓虹国武士也被我斩死了。”说着，他指了指不远处地面上的一口残刀，那是他的武器。李天明顺着瞧望过去，瞧见了那口崩碎的半截刀锋，瞳孔猛地一缩。鬼国顽罡剑圣织田长，他倒吸一口凉气。织田长是霓虹国度大名鼎鼎的免许接传，在王境之中有刀法剑术第一的名号，他居然是背光者，还被顾平安斩了。李天明一时之间有些失语，捏了捏顾滚滚胖乎乎的脸蛋，又轻轻理了理小夭夭乌黑的长发。顾平安轻声开口：“安了，我不觉得这是一件值得骄傲的事情。星空舰上200多位乘客都死了。”此话一出，李夭夭眼中闪过暗淡之色，不由自主地想起了那个很有礼貌的奶娃，还有那个笑呵呵的 急着去看小孙女的老者。李天明亦是沉默了片刻，轻声开口：“背光者是人族毒瘤，这也是为什么我们一直致力于剿灭背光者的原因。事实上，每年光帝都大学都有很多学生死在背光者手中。”说到帝都大学，李天明眼中绽放出一点光芒，很认真地看向那个似乎有些落寞的少年。平安，老哥，我想再求你一件事情。顾平安转过脑袋，轻轻点了点头。天明哥，你但说无妨，我也有一件事情想要求你来着。李天明若有所思，随即他深吸了一口气。通明他去了太白山执行剿灭背光者根据地的任务，但那是一处陷阱。太白山上有封侯长生境的存在。顿了顿，他又补充道：“太白山被阵势笼罩，只有24岁之下的生灵才能走入。本来我是不想找你的，但是老弟你既然能斩杀2位王境。”说着，李天明眼中闪过震撼之色。他到现在也想不通，这位顾老弟到底是如何杀死2位王境，还是2位一品王境的。虽然这位顾老弟领悟了剑意，可宗师与王境之间的差距，哪怕10成10的剑意也无法弥补啊！莫非顾平安远超宗师？李天明咽了口唾沫，似乎这是唯一的可能了。顾老弟的天资还远在想象之上啊！他并不打算追问究竟，没必要。顾平安从小夭夭怀中抱起了顾滚滚，他眼中闪烁起冷冽的光芒。太白山吗？没问题，背光者都该死。顿了顿，顾平安深吸了一口气。我要求您帮的忙，准确说是2个，一个是将夭夭和滚滚先送去帝都，另一个则是帮我查出这次劫杀的幕后主使。好，李天明果断点头。既然织田长这个背光者浮出水面，一定会牵扯出很多蛛丝马迹，查出来不难。顿了顿，他又继续说道：“顾老弟，太白山离这儿倒是不远，你往东去，约莫200公里就到太白山了。我会提前通知那儿的驻军。”顾平安默默地点了点头，眼中杀意迸溅而出。随即他揉了揉怀中黑白团子的大脑瓜子：“滚滚，去了帝都，我不在的时候，你可要保护好夭夭，知道了吗？”顾滚滚迷迷糊糊地抬起头，黑眼圈上的大眼珠子眨巴了一下，随即他很用力地点了点头，咿咿呀呀，似乎是在说好一般。李天明看着顾滚滚，眼中闪过异色，心头则是有些感慨。这头小石铁兽，这只顾滚滚似乎快要炼化横骨了，到时候就能口吐人言，只能说不愧是那位的儿子吗？就在他心头感慨的时候，李夭夭很重很重地抱住了顾平安，将顾滚滚挤在中间，随即轻声开口：“小顾小顾，你要平安来帝都。”顾平安感受着小夭夭软和的身体，轻轻点了点头。顾滚滚的叫声打破了这微妙的气氛，他气呼呼地从顾平安和李夭夭之间挤了出来，一屁股坐在地上。顾滚滚扬了扬毛茸茸的小拳头，他被2人挤疼了。3人一时之间都有些失效。太白山封锁线都动起来，上面来了指令，增援即将赶到，准备迎接。那位校官大声呼喝着，面上忍不住闪过一丝喜意。太白山之中情况很不好，如今终于来增援了啊！一时之间，封锁线繁忙了起来，士兵们都站得笔直，静静地等待着增援的到来。时间一点一点的过去，不多时，不远处的丛林有动静传来，校官和众多士兵都是精神一振，随即他们愕然。只见一个眉清目秀的少年从林木中钻了出来，大步朝着这边走来。同学，这是封锁线，不要再靠近了。校官有些无奈，随即大声开口：“你是迷路了吗？太白山封锁进行军事演练的消息不是已然通知出去了吗？”那少年停下步子，神色平静，轻声开口：“哦，我不是迷路了，我是来增援的。”众多士兵都瞪大了眼睛，这位校官眼角也抽了抽。增援？让一个看起来18、19岁模样的少年来增援，上面脑子坏掉了吗？那少年轻轻一掷，身份卡破空而来，不偏不倚地落入校官的手中。那校官愣了一愣，随即将信将疑地拿着身份卡在机器上一刷，页面刷新，鲜红色的绝密浮现而出。校官张大了嘴巴。第48章被派来送死的顾平安。校官在众多士兵惊诧且不明所以的目光之中，将身份卡递还给了少年，随即他恭恭敬敬地开口：“顾生，要我替您介绍一下太白山的情况吗？”方才身份卡刷出来的画面，除了一个名字和职位，其他全是清一色的绝密。校官将顾平安和皇室最高顾问这2排仅有的文字死死地记在了脑海之中。顾平安轻轻点了点头，目光略微有些深邃。长话短说吧，我还急着进太白山。校官干脆地点了点头，先是招呼来一个士兵：“你去将支援抵达的消息向太白山里面还活着的战士和专员传递一下。”说完，他又看向顾平安，在众多士兵茫然不解的目光中，恭恭敬敬地叙述起来太白山中此时的情况。太白山山脚山洞之内，特制的信息传讯器亮了起来，几个少年少女当即就围了上去。信息传讯器上闪烁了片刻，随即接通：“我是专员组长李通明。”李通明拿起传讯器，沉稳开口。传讯器中传来士兵的声：“李组长，支援已然抵达，您的位置还是在山洞吗？”支援抵达了。一旁的2个少年和那少女兴奋地对视了一眼，脸上浮现出惊喜之色。李通明依旧沉稳：“是的，我们还在之前汇报的山洞之中。”冒昧地问一句，有哪些人前往支援？太白山上可能不止一位封侯长生境。他心头有些疑惑，大秦过国24岁之前能对抗第4境封侯级数的存在寥寥无几，甚至于说一只手都数得过来，怎么这么快就赶来支援了？传讯器对面的士兵犹豫了一下，还是轻声开口：“来支援的只有一个人，是一个少年，不知道名字，看起来18岁模样。”此话一出，一旁3人欢欣雀跃的神情猛地一僵。就一个人，还是一个18岁的少年，这不会是得罪了哪位大人物被送来赴死的吧？李通明也想到了这一点，神色猛地一沉，随即他开口说道：“让那个少年别来了吧，多死一个人没有意义的。” 传讯器对面的士兵沉默了片刻。我会报告给长官的。说完，传讯器挂断。在这种时候，传讯器的电量用一点是一点，自然不能浪费。李通明小心翼翼地放好传讯器，看了一眼有些消沉的三人，苦笑了一声。罢了，先在这里待着吧。太白山不可能一直被阵势封锁，我们有机会逃出去的。一旁，一个手臂吊着简易绷带的少年轻声开口：“首席，那来支援的少年恐怕是得罪了什么大人物，被派来送死的。”另一个少女有些愤愤不平地开口：“我觉得也是，这种时候还有权贵内斗，但愿那个少年不要进阵势吧。”他们心头此时都有些五味杂陈，本来以为可以获救了，结果来的只是一个得罪了权贵的少年。李通明神色也阴晴不定，沉默了半晌，很冷漠地开口：“若是这一次活着出去了，我定然不会放过搞这些幺蛾子的权贵。”说着，他眼中闪过凌冽的杀意。若真活着逃出去，自己老爹也成了咸阳行省的大执政，收拾一个权贵再简单不过了。只是真的还能活着出去吗？几人一时之间都不禁有些绝望了起来。与此同时，帝都李天明带着李夭夭和顾滚滚从天际落下，稳稳当当地站定在地面上。随即他轻声开口：“你们可以先去地大，虽然还没开学，但也可以报到了，或者也能先去地大附近租一套房子。”李夭夭抱着顾滚滚点了点头，随即有些担忧地开口：“李叔，平安那边？”李天明笑了笑：“我现在就赶赴太白山，有什么事情我会联系你。”顿了顿，他又开口：“你也记一下我的号码，遇见什么事情打我电话就成。”李夭夭连忙点头，顾滚滚则是将大大的脑袋放在小夭夭肩膀上，好奇地看着街道上来往的行人。此时已然是清晨，不少早起上班或是晨练的行人都惊诧地朝着这边瞧望过来。石铁兽一族本来就个个可爱，顾滚滚更是石铁兽中最萌的那一种，自然吸引了大量视线，甚至引起了一些小小的骚动。妈耶，有生之年居然能看到活着的石铁兽，比电视上还要可爱。你们说这个少女是哪家的子弟？居然能有一只石铁兽做宠物，就算是皇室也不过如此了吧？你可高看了皇室了。就在众多行人一边远观一边议论纷纷的时候，李天明已然将自己号码留给了小夭夭。他揉了揉顾滚滚的脑瓜子，然后说道：“好了，我得要先赶去太白山了，有什么事情拨我电话。”我知道了。李夭夭轻轻应声，随即咬了咬晶莹剔透的嘴唇：“李叔，顾平安那里有什么情况，一定要告诉我。”李天明笑着点头，随即身形一晃，从长街之上消失得无影无踪。太白山，校官看着走入太白山的少年，心头一时之间有些感慨。一旁有士兵终于忍不住了，开口发问：“长官，这少年到底是什么人？莫非是被派来送死的？”他们心头也有和李通明几人一样的猜测。校官果断地摇了摇头：“不该问的不要问，这个少年的确是来支援的，是个很了不得的大人物。”众多士兵面面相觑，而那校官则是咽了口唾沫，略微有些恍惚。大秦皇室最高顾问虽然不知道那是个什么职位，但是一听就知道权势或许大的吓人。这个少年应该能救出来那几位专员的吧？片刻过后，太白山山脚的山洞中，几个忧心忡忡的少年少女微微怔了怔，他们听见山洞外传来的脚步声，当即面色都是一变。李通明神色肃穆，肌肉紧紧地绷着，随时准备施以全力一击。忽然，山洞外的脚步声顿住了，一个醇厚而又清亮的声音响了起来：“无需紧张，我是来增援的。”几人微微一怔，少女如同泄了气的皮球一般瘫坐在了地上，苦笑出声：“首席，是传讯器里提到的那个少年啊，还是被派来送死了那些该死的所谓大人物？”而李通明却并没有回话，只是呆站在原地，眨巴眨巴眼睛。山洞外的声音怎么这么耳熟？第49章，顾说你怎么在这里？此时此刻，帝都张家老爷子听完张金红的叙述，若有所思地点了点头：“那个顾平安应该是一位宗师，我怀疑高考榜上那个一连串绝密的第一就是他。”这话一出，张家家主和张金红都微微一怔，随即张金红惊呼出声：“不会吧，那贼子就是榜单第一？”而张家家主思索了片刻，轻轻点了点头：“也对，这次高考只有一个宗师，多半就是那个顾平安了，只是他资料为什么都是绝密，背后会不会牵扯到什么大人物？”那老爷子轻轻摇头，目光幽深：“不会，按照资料来看，他和李天明交往密切，除此之外再也未曾接触过什么大人物了。资料上其实是提到了老校长的，但是在这位老爷子眼中，一个小城市重高的校长实在算不得什么。”顿了顿，老爷子又是开口：“不过这个顾平安似乎领悟了建议雏形，的确是个不得了的天才。我猜测李天明那家伙和顾平安交好，就是在提前投资。您的意思是张家家主若有所思，那李天明想要等到顾平安领悟至3成建议的时候，带着他一起领悟一？如此倒是说得清楚了。”顿了顿，他一副恍然大悟的模样。这般一来，那一连串绝密也能说通了。李天明和皇室是有一些交情的，改一改资料不难。张家老爷子赞许的点了点头：“不错，但他李天明终究只是泰安市的执政，爪子伸不到帝都来的。”说着，他目光略微幽深，心头冷笑：“等到这一次将天官大人的任务完成了，他或许有望成为仙族的附庸，到时候他在引路人的地位也会更上一层楼。”咚咚咚！就在这时，有敲门声响起，一个中年人推门而入，脚步匆匆：“老爷子，大哥，有情报说，在第5大街上有一个女孩抱着石铁兽，这是照片。”张金红看了一眼照片，目光一冷，随即咬牙切齿：“她就是顾平安的女朋友。”那位中年男子看了一眼张金红，又是恭敬地对着老爷子说道：“老爷子，根据情报来看，这个少女和石铁兽是被泰安市的那位李直赠送过来的。”张家老爷子微微眯了眯眼睛，身上腾起了一丝一缕恐怖的气势，道韵流转：“顾平安没来吗？”思索了片刻，他又继续开口：“也好，先将那头石铁兽捕捉回来，毕竟是天官大人要的东西。”中年男子和张家家主对视了一眼，有些犹豫地说道：“可是老爷子，这终究是在帝都，没让你们正大光明的抓。”老爷子有些不耐烦地挥了挥手：“金红不是和那少女有约吗？让金红去，起了冲突再将那少女 女和食血兽带回来。张金红兴奋地站了起来，两眼放光。爷爷，包在我身上了。说着，他眼底闪过怨毒的光芒。哼哼，李夭夭吗？你可是真敢来帝都啊！张金红恨屋及乌，对顾平安的怨恨也有一些转嫁到了李夭夭的身上。那一日在泰安邑中的经历，是他人生中最大的耻辱。最大的，太白山山脚处的山洞，看着缓步走进来的清秀少年，两男一女脸上都是浮现出苦笑。得，来了一个陪葬的。少女姬无月扁了扁嘴，哭丧着脸。小伙子，你这是真天堂有路不走，地狱无门闯进来啊！一旁的绷带少年一时叹息摇头。那兄弟，你这是得罪谁了，才把你派来送？还不等他话说完，顾叔，李通明忽然惊疑不定的开口。姬无月三人都是微微一怔。李首席认识这个少年，这个少年的名字叫做顾叔。正当他们有些发愣的时候，便瞧见那个少年古井无波的脸上浮现出笑容。哎，大侄子！李通明俊朗的脸猛地一黑，而姬无月三人则是瞪大了眼睛。卧槽，不是叫顾叔，是真的说姬无月。李通明黑着脸苦笑了一声。顾小叔，怎么会是你？你不是应该在去帝都的星空剑上吗？顾平安耸了耸肩膀，眼中闪过一丝冷冽的光华。被劫杀了，然后坠机了。李通明和姬无月几人都是瞳孔微微一缩。劫杀还是在星空剑上？妖婶和滚滚他们李通明神色有些凝重的问道。顾平安眼中冷冽光华更盛了一些。夭夭和滚滚我都护下了，但是星空剑上其他人都死了。几人对视了一眼，都有些沉默了起来。顾平安缓缓吐出一口浊气，紧接着天明哥就来了，说是你在太白山踩了陷阱，拜托我来救救你，正好我也想杀几个人贱。说着，顾平安微微舒展筋骨，杀意勃发。姬无月瞳孔猛地一缩，他是知道自家首席的父亲李天明是一位顶尖王境，是一座城市的执政。这少年和一位王境以兄弟相称，他到底是什么人？另外两个少年也是面面相觑，都忍不住咽了口唾沫。李通明则是苦笑，我爹不是知道这山上有封侯级的背光者吗？他这不是让你来涉险吗？说着，他心头有些不解，自家老爹不像是会干出这种事的人啊，莫非其中还有什么自己不知道的事情？顾平安找了块干净的大青石坐下，摆了摆手，面色古井无波。哦，封侯啊，没事，来劫杀我的还是俩王境呢。他语气很平淡，似乎只是在陈述一个微不足道的事实一般。而李通明几人则是一整个人惊愕住，只觉得有寒气从尾椎骨涌起，顺着脊椎骨直达后脑勺。两位王境，姬无月眨巴眼睛，几乎下意识的就以为这个少年在吹牛，可是似乎也没必要在这种时候吹牛吧。也就是说，这个少年真的从两尊王境的劫杀下活了下来。第50章，此上无人，此下众生。略微伸了个懒腰，顾平安眼中闪过危险的光芒。说起来，这座太白山上到底是怎么一回事？又到底是发生了一些什么事情？几人对视了一眼，李通明率先开口说道：“顾小叔，这太白山顶疑似一处万族偷渡而来的降临点，目前至少有一位封侯长生镜坐镇，还有一件异宝。”说着，他心头略微泛起了一些希望。这位顾小叔可是领悟了剑意的存在，更何况还从两位王境的劫杀之下生还。那么顾小叔是否有可能能够对抗封侯？若是可以的话，他们也算有救了。从始至终，无论是李通明还是姬无月三人，都认为这个少年是从两位王境手中逃得了一条性命，这在他们看来已然是一件很不可思议的事情了。至于对抗甚至斩杀两位王境，他们压根就没想过，不可能，这绝对不可能。顾平安沉思了片刻，轻轻站起身子，拍了拍陈辉，走吧。几人微微一愣，姬无月忍不住开口发问：去哪？自然是去山顶看一看，将这处根据地覆灭。众人愕然，这个少年是疯了吗？即便他能从两位王境手中逃生，很了不起，可问题是，这太白山已然摆明了是针对天骄布置的陷阱，如今还有一位封侯境还在漫山遍野的晃荡着呢。山顶说不定还有封侯境的存在。顾平安看了一眼面面相觑的四人，轻声发问：你们是觉得我们遇上那位封侯境就必死无疑了吗？可按照你们所言，他迟早也会找到这里的，不是吗？说着，他微不可察地摇了摇头。其实顾平安也知道山顶或许会有危险，毕竟是背光者的一处根据地，但是他不在乎。剑意已铸无敌心，身既有无敌心，又如何会畏惧？如何会退缩？更何况他也有足够的底气。斩因斩果剑士是无解之剑，斩人因果，杀人根本，最不讲道理。大罗剑胎的剑柄仅仅只是出现一个刹那，就引动9天银河群星皆震颤，其中的恐怖力量似乎横亘一方岁月。哪怕以顾平安如今的修为，还无法完全发挥出斩因斩果剑士以及大罗剑胎的威能，可这已然给了直面尊者境，甚至于说山海大能的底气，打不过也逃得掉。此时面面相觑的四人都看出了彼此眼底的犹豫之色，最终还是李通明最先开口了：顾小说，我和你出去。姬无月三人闻言都苦笑了一声，我们也去。这种时候团结在一起才是最好的选择。面前这个少年既然可以从两位王境手中逃出性命，恐怕也是有一些手段的吧。顾平安微微点了点头，随即率先朝着洞外走去，四人都是紧随其后。片刻走到洞外，顾平安抬头看了一眼太白山的山顶，并不是很远。真要说起来，这座太白山不过300-500米高，而他之前随手倒板起作为剑来使的那山都有1000米之高。若非是太过于惊世骇俗，顾平安都想再次生化3000米巨人，将这座太白山砸崩。一行5人不急促，但也不缓慢地朝着山上走去。每隔一段距离，都可以看见许多士兵的尸体。众人一时之间都有些沉默了起来。整座太白山此时都悄无声息，似乎只有5人走路的响动。似乎那些进入太白山中的年轻士兵都被杀了个干净。一路行来，众人的心也逐渐沉重了起来。都死了，都死了！该死的背光者，该死的人间！另外一个穿着运动服的少年忍不住开口咒骂。李通明则是发出了一声轻轻的叹息，又走过一具尸体，是一个跪坐在地上的年轻士兵，头颅被一只笛子洞穿，眼睛大大的睁着，死不瞑目。顾平安伸出手掌，默默地将小士兵的双 双眼合上，抬头看了看天空，轻声开口：“你们这些背光者，到底为什么要这样做？背弃人族，残害同胞，你们枉为人啊！”说着，他侧过头看向一旁茂密的丛林，丛林中响起脚步声。李通明4人都是汗毛一炸，被几略微发寒，满脸警惕。而那个少年面色依旧很平静，只是目光有些冰冷，就好像万载不化冰一般，寒彻骨髓。一个青衣老者面上洋溢着笑容，从茂密的林木中缓步走了出来。他饶有兴致地上下打量了一番顾平安，赞叹开口：“感知倒是相当敏锐，看来又是一个了不得的天骄。”寒气从李通明4人的尾椎骨猛然炸起，彻彻底底地遍布了全身上下。是那位封侯长生境的背光者。姬无月下意识地握紧了腰间佩戴着的长剑剑柄，随即又无力地松开。面对一位封侯境，一位不借助内息和骨骼上玄奥符文，单靠纯粹气血都能爆发出100万公斤巨力的存在，抵挡似乎毫无作用，应该说的确毫无作用。4人心头不由得都有些绝望了起来。顾平安歪了歪脑袋，面色依旧平静，平静的吓人。所以你们为什么背弃人类，投靠万族？那青衣老者面上笑容不变，只是悲悯地摇了摇头。不，你们不会懂的，人族终究会失败，星空长城也终将崩塌。吾等只是做出了最正确的抉择。说着，他有些痴迷，有些狂热地张开双手。我本来只是一个3品大宗师，投入罗刹族麾下，仅仅3年就成了封侯，受过1000年，这就是万族的力量，这就是你们残害同胞的理由吗？顾平安声音很冷，冷到吓人，随即缓缓低下了头，似乎有些落寞。青衣老者撇了撇嘴，似乎有些意兴阑珊了起来。罢了，和你们废话什么？跪在我们面前，安静领死，我会让你们走得痛快。说着，他打了个哈欠，双手背负在身后，神色云淡风轻。顾平安忽然抬起了头，亮的吓人，他那一双眸子如同2盏大日金灯，璀璨着骇人的光芒。我会杀光你们，然后倾覆星空长城，俯瞰星河100万，此上无人，此下众生不会很久远的。少年一字一顿，清秀的面庞上满是认真之色，似乎下定决心，至多醉酒3年，他就能做到此上无人，此下众生。那时候他会大开杀戒，杀到星空无人敢称尊，杀到万族尽皆匍匐脚下。少年转过头看向姬无月，轻声开口：“可借剑一用否？”第51章天雷昭昭，不及我一剑。姬无月看着少年亮堂的吓人的眸子，下意识的点头，将腰间佩剑递了出去。顾平安似乎完全忽视了一旁面色惊疑不定的青衣老者，自顾自的结果长剑一抽而出，寒光四射。好剑！他赞叹出声，又有些可惜，这般好剑拿来杀一个渣子，有点浪费了啊。几人回过神来，不由自主地咽了口唾沫。这个少年似乎胸有成竹，他当真能杀一位封侯长生境吗？姬无月看着这个持剑少年，眼中闪过一丝异彩，而那位青衣老者则是面色猛地一沉，不怒反笑：“好久没有看见这般狂妄的后生仔了，老夫今天就让你见识一下什么是绝对的力量差距。”话音落下，青衣老者身上腾起恐怖而又骇人的气势，骨骼之上的玄奥符文熠熠生辉，整个人都散发宝光莹莹，那骇人气势直冲云霄，搅动风云变幻。太白山外驻扎的士兵们瞧见天上风云变动，都是愕然。那位校官神色一时大变，倒吸了一口凉气，拳头也下意识的捏紧，而他身旁才到来的李天明却平静得很。一位封侯境巅峰倒是不错，可惜了，遇上了顾老弟。想到这里，李天明微微摇了摇头。而与此同时，太白山顶华贵的宫殿之中，半靠在椅子上养神的罗刹族太子微微睁眼，随即又重新闭上。蝼蚁之间的争斗啊！他面上浮现出嘲弄的神色，随即又全副心神沉浸在祖星那浩大的本源之力中。祖星之上常年密布着先天本源之力，这些本源之力对于生而人形的先天人族来说没有什么作用，但是对于万族可是大有裨益的。这也是万族孜孜不倦的想要攻占祖星的重要原因。这可是块宝地啊！青衣老者的身上缭绕而起耀眼的宝光，而这宝光又映照出一枚又一枚的古老符文，杀伐之力在其中流转，似乎随时可能爆发出惊天一击。老者神情淡漠而又高高在上，身形凌空而起，俯视着顾平安。无天资超绝，封侯境即可变换天象，而今日吾送你一场造化，以天象杀你，叫你感悟天地之威，后方绝命。说完，老者伸出手掌，掌心上翻，对准了天空。今朝我引天雷，天雷眷顾人间。话音落下，在李通明、姬无月等人震颤的目光中，青衣老者周身映照而出的古老符文爆发璀璨光芒，随即苍穹处云雾变幻，有乌云滚滚而来，有紫雷在其中一闪而过。雷落，水桶粗细的紫色大雷灌破重重云雾，直而下。顾叔，躲开！4人见状都是齐发出惊呼，李通明更是有些声嘶力竭，可那少年持剑而立，寸步未动。大雷咆哮，一路撕裂空气，雷光将整个太白山映照的有点发紫。然而众人惊愕，那沉重的咆哮的怒雷在少年头顶3寸处时变得温顺了起来，一点一点的消散。青衣老者目瞪口呆，顾平安平平直直的举起了手中长剑，面无表情。该我了。说着，他就这么轻轻往前一送，长剑穿刺而出，并没有剑意浩荡，也没有剑气惊天，就是这么平平无奇的一次而已。青衣老者瞳孔猛缩，在他视角中，这个少年身形似乎一下子伟岸了起来，似乎一整个天地都压在自己身上，无法动弹，无法躲避，甚至连说话都不行。这是天地之力，这个少年是王静。青衣老者心脏猛烈悸动，他张开嘴想要求饶，想要痛哭流涕，可是压根做不到，只能眼睁睁地看着那一个少年不缓不慢地将那一柄长剑灌入自己的头颅。死寂！李通明4人只觉得自身呼吸都有点困难了起来，他们好似坠入幻梦一般，都不敢相信眼前所见所闻。假的吧？那少年看起来轻飘飘的一剑就刺穿了一位封侯长生境的头颅。最诡异的是，顾平安明明站在地面上一动不动，手中剑却凯越了数十米空间，定穿了半空中青衣老者的头颅，而且 眼前这一幅景象看起来还是连贯的，就好像那柄剑被拉长了，又好像空间被缩短了。这种诡异的、违和的景象让四人都有种反胃的感觉。顾平安轻轻抽出长剑，带出血花3-5朵，随即他以剑身在死不瞑目的青衣老者头顶就这么一拍，老者坠落而下，嵌入地面，下半截身子跪着的，上半截身子微微弯曲着，好似跪死，就是跪死。收回长剑，轻轻一抖，其上的血迹斑驳都自然而然的退落。顾平安收剑入鞘，将这佩剑递给呆呆愣愣的姬无月，轻声开口：“谢谢。”众人这才回过神来，顾小叔。这是李通明有些结结巴巴，满脸都是不可思议之色。顾小叔也没动用剑意啊，这到底是怎么一回事？李通明想不清楚，也想不明白。顾平安神色温和而又平静，仿佛只是拍死了一只苍蝇一般，微不足道。他轻声笑着，轻声开口：“走吧，往山上去，我倒要看看有多少背光者的存在。”顾平安已然下定决心，凡背光者，杀无赦，他要杀光他们。四人都有些木然的点了点头，随即回过神来，看向这个少年的目光中泛起惊惧和敬畏。李通明不由得苦笑了出来。顾叔，以你的实力，哪怕帝都大学的教授都不如你远了，而你却还要去读书。旁边姬无月三人微微一愣，随即姬无月汗毛炸起，他瞪大了眼睛，结结巴巴：“这位顾生，您要去帝大读书？”顾平安温和地笑了笑：“4月份入学，我去读大一。”三人呆立在原地，彻底愕然。绷带少年有些迷茫地开口：“您去当教授还差不多吧？”顾平安认真思考了一下，又是咧嘴笑了笑：“也不是不行，说不定可以兼任一下。”第52章，这片星空下我就是奇迹。帝都抱着顾滚滚的夭夭，吸引了沿途绝大部分的目光，不应该说是所有。没多久，他就走到了帝都大学的大门口。帝都大学作为大秦国最好也是最大的大学，就连大门也有些宏伟的感觉。在大门旁边有一块天然玉石，其上以毛笔龙飞凤舞的写着大秦帝都大学6个大字。可以看出来，留字之人或许相当恐怖。墨汁穿透了大半块玉石，即使是从侧面观望，也可以透过晶莹剔透的玉石瞧见丝丝缕缕的黑色墨汁。此时虽然正是寒假，但是校门口也有不少学生进出，且个个身上都有不俗的气势，个个都是武者级数的存在。不少学生都朝着小夭夭张望，或者说盯着他怀中的顾滚滚一顿猛瞧。咦，那是石铁兽，这是奶舅家的闺女，不知道。看起来年龄不大，不会是这一届的新生吧？我估计多半就是了，嘿嘿嘿。学妹啊，还是炒鸡好看的学妹，爱了爱了。大部分路过的学生都在盯瞧着黑白团子，也有不少人惊叹于李夭夭的颜值，芙蓉出水，倾国倾城。李夭夭被盯得有些不自在，下意识地紧了紧怀中的顾滚滚，随即他发现似乎有些不对劲。顾滚滚此时蜷缩在小夭夭软和的怀抱中，双眼紧紧地闭着，喉咙处高频震颤，小胖手则是死死地抓着那本《论语》，这是炼化横骨。李夭夭瞪大了眼睛，作为一个学霸不学神，他是在书上读到过的，当大兽迈入封侯长生境的时候，就可以炼化横骨，口吐人言。外在表现则是喉咙高频震颤。顾滚滚，封侯境了！李夭夭有些不可思议地瞪大了眼睛。就在他有些错愕的时候，尖锐的声音响了起来：“李夭夭！”李夭夭微微一怔，随即下意识地侧过头，正就瞧见了张金红以及他身后跟着的一个老者。太白山一路向山巅行，畅通无阻。很快，一行人就即将抵达山顶，已然可以看见山峰处鳞次栉比的楼屋，还有很多人，很多人。顾平安危险地眯起了眼睛，那些都是背光者。说着，他心头有些发冷。这是一座太白山上就有无数背光者的存在，那么整个祖星又会有多少人间？顾平安想不明白，他们为什么要选择背弃人族？他想不明白。一旁，李通明沉默地点了点头，没错，都是背光者。背光者们一直都潜伏得很深，不好查出来。顿了顿，他还是忍不住开口问道：“顾叔，你到底是什么境界了？”顾平安眺望着山顶处数不清的背光者，轻轻开口：“我啊，一般，境界比起你父亲要差远了。”李通明眼角抽了抽，心头一时之间有些无奈了起来。这话说的，自家老爹是尊者了啊！一旁的姬无月三人也是面面相觑，他们心头都有些感慨。原本以为自己等人就已然称呼得上天骄，知道遇见了面前这位少年，似乎看出了几人心头所想。顾平安面上浮现出一个淡淡的笑容，目光略微深邃。无需看我，我是一个例外。说着，他随手折下身旁大树的树枝，又仔细地将树枝上翠绿的叶子摘掉。虽然听着或许有些狂妄了，但是在这片星空下，我是奇迹，不可复制。话音落下，顾平安身子乘风而起，朝着山顶横渡而去，只丢下了一句话：“在这里等我，我去斩了他们。”说着，他身形倏忽间消失不见。李通明四人面面相觑，都沉默了很久。半晌，挂着绷带的少年发出一声苦笑：“18岁，一剑斩首封侯长生境，那位顾生的确是个奇迹啊！”一旁，姬无月则是有些失神的喃喃自语：“天骄并立，依旧只手遮天，好像看到了一尊新王的崛起，看到一位无敌的诞生。”说着，他心头略微有些激荡。那个少年当真是惊艳啊！山顶作为这里是一处背光者的根据地，但是条件并不好。事实上，作为人人喊打的背光者，大秦皇室更是将这些背光者的存在向普通民众解释为恐怖分子。故此，除了那些潜伏很好、位高权重的背光者，其余人间的生活都相当惨淡。可他们偏偏还乐此不疲。此时，几个负责看门的背光者打着哈欠，百无聊赖的开口：“哎， 你们说那位大人怎么还没回来？这是还在玩？那是自然。另一人有些怠惰地回答道：好不容易有侏罗可以杀，可以玩弄，如那位大人自然是要玩尽兴的。在他们口中，似乎入山的年轻士兵和帝都大学的学生都只是玩具一般的存在，在他们眼里，人命似乎是拿来取乐的工具。忽然，有轻缓的脚步声响起，几人都是神色一震，姿态也恭敬了起来。大人，您回来了。他们话还没说完，就都愣住了。出现的并非是那位青衣大人，而是一个少年，一个眉清目秀、手中握着树枝的少年。请问你们是背光者吗？我是说，自诩为引路人的背光者。少年很有礼貌地发问，手中树枝垂在地上，一边走来，树枝一边在泥地上留下一道长长的划痕。几个背光者都端起了手中枪械，眼中都闪过嘲弄之色。哦，居然逃到了这里，来到也好，给哥几个姐姐们先打断手脚吧。说着，他们齐齐扣动了扳机，火光炸碎而出，黄澄澄的特制穿甲弹撕裂空气，朝着少年的四肢呼啸而去。似乎下一刹，这穿甲弹就要撞断少年的四肢，似乎已然预见到这个清秀少年到底哀嚎的景象。几个背光者面上都浮现出了病态的笑容。当，黄澄澄的子弹撞击在少年四肢，如同撞击在了世界上最坚硬的合金之上。少年纹丝不动，而几个背光者病态的笑容则是凝滞住了。所以说，你们就是背光者了。少年很认真的开口。那我就杀掉你们吧。第53章人族天骄，我最爱杀。话音落下，少年手执树枝，伸直手臂，横斩而出，树枝摇曳。顾平安并未施加天地之力，未曾转动古老阵势，也没有动用剑意和剑势，只是凭借一身气血，一身纯粹的力量横斩而出。王境9品，纯粹力量标准为1万吨，也就是1000万公斤。再辅以恐怖的速度，这一斩，细细的树枝带着磅礴到不可思议的力量横击而出。1000万公斤的力气自普普通通的树枝传导而出，居然没有将树枝破碎半点分毫。空气在恐怖的力量下泛起了肉眼可见的褶皱，随即一层又一层的破碎。几个背光者瞪大了眼睛，想要惊呼出声，可是压根来不及。破碎的空气在超强压的挤压之下撕裂呼啸而出，所过之处留下了淡淡的白色痕迹。在音爆的轰鸣中，几个背光者如同破布娃娃一般，肌肉纤维被狂猛的撕碎，脏腑刹那爆成血雾，一身骨骼化作粉末，死了个干干净净。背光者人间在背弃人族的时候，下场早已注定。气浪继续横扫，一排排的房屋被卷了个粉碎，其中的无数背光者，无数人间都还没反应过来，便被搅成了血肉渣子。半个山顶的建筑群落都被这纯粹力量劈斩出来的一剑夷为平地，整个山顶沸反盈天。无数劫后余生，后知后觉的背光者拿起了武器，都在高呼，都在声嘶力竭，滴血滴血。而少年只是淡淡的笑了笑，肌肉震荡，骨骼作响，恐怖的气血实质化，变作血气狼烟冲霄而起。山顶无数的背光者，半山腰处的李通明4人，乃至山外驻扎的士兵和李天明，甚至更遥远处的城市，都瞧见了这一道笔直冲霄的血气狼烟。封锁线处，李天明眼中闪过一丝震撼，忍不住喃喃自语：这般气血，顾老弟果然成王境了，这怎么可能？他有些不解，心头悸动，顾老弟还只是个18岁的少年啊，怎么就迈入王境了？而且还是一位领悟了剑意的王境，这岂不是说尊者境在顾老弟面前轻而易举，唾手可得？李天明神色震动，随即似乎下定了什么决心一般。忽然，太白山顶传来一声清亮而又浩大的声音，如同洪钟大吕，振聋发聩。顾平安今日以手中3尺气概扣太白山，当凭此地人族败类，尔等何不跪地领死？洪亮的声音在恐怖气血的加持下，将天上厚重的云层震散。随即，这一声呼喝如同天雷咆哮一般，先是席卷整个太白山顶，紧接着扩散而出，震耳欲聋。封锁线处，那校官眼中爆发出不可思议的光芒，声音有些颤抖：是那位顾生，是那位顾生。说着，他惊喜和鼓舞，他振奋：好啊，我人族有少年，如星辰耀眼，气概无双，意气风发。这位校官虽然修为并不强，只是大宗师，但他也曾远赴星空长城，曾奋战在人族边关第一线。他是知道，每一位天骄对于人族来说都很重要，都是未来的希望。而山上那个少年一般的人物，未来定能扫四方一族，雄踞星空。太白山顶，罗刹太子缓缓睁眼，瞳孔之中难得的生出一丝异彩，同时还有些许轻蔑。人族天骄还是一个很了不得的人族天骄，啧，我最喜欢杀人族天骄了。说着，他站起了身子，手中浮现出一柄血红色长枪，躯壳中古老阵势转动，甚至有道种在蓬勃恐怖的力量。他是一位尊者。罗刹太子咧嘴笑了笑，随即自言自语：杀了这个了不得的天骄，也该离开太白山了，不然那些老怪物定然要暴怒。他很清楚，如同方才吐声如雷的少年一般的绝世妖孽，定然是被不少人族老怪物看中的。若是自己杀之，那恶老怪物定会暴怒。这儿可不是罗刹古剑呢。想到这里，罗刹族的太子面上浮现狞笑，尖声咆哮：杀！道种震颤，古老阵势一时转动，恐怖的音波四散荡开。嗡！这座房屋刹那之间被音波撞成碎片，呈圆形扩散而开。山顶的地面被硬生生的离了3尺泥土，建筑碎片、泥土、石块等随着音波向四周咆哮而去，无数背光者被撞了个粉碎，整个太白山顶都夷为平地。看着裹挟着砖石草木和残枝断壁而来的冲击波，顾平安目光微微一凝，但却丝毫不惧，手中树枝一挑，剑9 6000里，有浩荡剑气蔓延6000里，自云端之上倾泻而下，如同银河倒挂。半山腰处，看着天上壮丽景象的4人都略微有些吃了。姬无月失神的喃喃自语：试顾平安的一剑，他真的只有18岁吗？缠着绷带的少年一时咽了口唾沫，恍惚的开口：首席，你这位顾叔叔当真不是某个返老还童的老怪物？不是吧？ 李通明苦笑，顾小叔是领悟了义的真正天骄，但我也没想到他能强大到这个地步。几人一时之间心头都猛烈悸动，那少年到底是什么境界？绝对不止大宗师封侯境，总不能是王境吧？与此同时，太白山顶倾泻而下的倒挂银河，轻而易举地将朝着顾平安撞杀而来的冲击波泯灭掉，烟尘缓缓消散，一切都平息了下来。哒哒哒，有脚步声响起，一个人影从缓缓消散的烟尘中漫步而出，正是那位罗刹族的太子殿下。第54章，天门，给老子开！顾平安紧握树枝，看着那个缓步走来的持枪男子，神色彻底凝重了起来。这气势是王境之上，一位尊者。罗刹族的太子上下打量了一番顾平安，咧嘴笑了笑，赞叹开口：好年轻的人类，你这般天资，若是放在古族之中，是值得一位神明亲自护导的。修行境界，第6境为尊者，第7境是山海大能，而第8境即为神明境。顾平安微微眯着眼，声音淡漠：你不是人族，看来是偷渡来的，你倒是狠心，将投靠你们的人间一并杀了。罗刹太子轻蔑地笑了笑：杀了就杀了，人类低劣种族罢了，生而寿命只有100年，连许多位启灵的族群都不如。说着，他摇头叹息：你倒是算不错的，小小年龄迈入王境，我能从你身上感受到血腥味，才杀了2个顶尖王境吧。顾平安微微眯了眯眼睛，手中树枝为剑，横尖且横剑，轻声开口：人族寿短，所以我们才知道生而可贵，薪火不息，代代相传，不也以我人族之力拒万族于星空长城之外？若人族低劣，万族又算什么狗屁？罗刹太子神色阴沉了下来，他冷笑：好好好，牙尖嘴利，你以为斩死2位顶尖王境，自身就无敌了？你不会明白王境和尊者之间的差距有多巨大。顾平安轻轻点头，我不知道，但不妨碍我斩你。话音落下，树枝震颤，一刺而出。顾平安并未使用法天象地的神通，那波及范围太广阔了。李通明他们还在半山腰，山下也还有无数士兵。不过，即便不用法天象地也无妨，我有一剑可开天门，活人往生，生灵赴死，天人跪安。树枝朝天，天象骤变。罗刹太子的神色也微微变了变，剑意至少领悟了5成以上的剑意，难怪你能连杀2位顶尖王境，可惜了，若本座只是初入尊者境，或许还要忌惮你。说着，他咧开嘴笑了起来，手中血红长枪猛地一抖，有枪意冲霄而起，映照出滔天血海。本座世中3品啊！话音一落，血红长枪旋转而出，滔天血海猛然膨胀，遮天蔽日。顾平安神色古井无波，大声呵斥：天门，给老子开！遮蔽苍穹的血海猛然一颤，从中间撕裂开巨大的口子，有一扇巍峨天门伫立云端，轰然洞开，天花乱坠，地涌金莲，天人奏乐，紫气东来。半山腰，李通明4人彻底看傻了眼，呆呆地望着天上景色，都说不出话来。整个苍穹此时都是血红色，唯有中间有一扇大开的天门伫立，天光伴随着飘落的仙葩自上而下铺满了太白山。这是意，顾平安他到底是什么人？姬无月失神的喃喃自语，双眼之中满是迷茫。这是个大义新生，这是个18岁少年，他有些不能接受。而此时山脚下，无数士兵连同那位曾在星空长城浴血的校官都呆呆愣愣，都彻底傻眼。而李天明却握紧了拳头，神色之间满是凝重。太白山上的是一位尊者，还是中3品的尊者？他的心紧紧地揪了起来。固然顾平安是不世出的天才，迈入了王境，掌握了剑意，可那是一位尊者，一位至少中3品的尊者啊！当即，李天明冲霄而起，在众多士兵震怖的目光中，他以斗战拳意横击太白山阵势，拳意斗战，有我无敌。太白山阵势剧烈震荡，泛起波纹道道。可惜也只是震荡。罗刹族异宝是山海层次的异宝，换句话说，非山海境镇国级的大能不可破阵。李天明面色苍白了起来，他无法想象，若是顾平安死在了太白山，自己该如何去面对李老，甚至自己步入尊者级数都是在顾老弟的帮助下。若顾平安战死太白山，自家儿子也死了，他又还怎么活得下去？太白山头顶的苍穹，漫天血海浩浩荡荡的倾泻而下，似乎有无数厉鬼冤魂在其中浮现了出来。若非是异宝护持，整座太白山已然崩塌。顾平安眼中闪过厉色，天穹上的天门轰然崩塌，化作一道通天剑影，朝着罗刹太子灌杀而去。少年直视着朝着自己汹涌而来的血海，还有其中嘶吼咆哮的厉鬼冤魂，他紧握树枝，吐声如雷：鬼魂魄灵，岂能滞留人间？该往生就往生，该魂飞魄散就魂飞魄散。我第2剑超对等，送2等一场黄泉滔天。树枝再次展出，这一次勾勒出来的是一条黄泉凶猛，尸骸在其中沉浮，仙佛残躯亦是漂浮其上，更有残破的鬼门关、断裂的奈何桥等异象，在黄泉和水之上隐隐约约。罗刹太子先是挥舞长枪击碎通天剑影，随即面色有些难看，有些惊叹的开口：2道剑意，还都是顶尖品级的剑意，一剑天门，一剑黄泉，留你不得啊！就在他杀意勃发的时候，黄泉滚滚，已然将血海之中的厉鬼冤魂冲刷了个干净，甚至血海压落之势也是猛地一缓。罗刹太子眼中杀意彻底爆发了出来，体内道种在血海枪意的滋润下疯狂转动，这一枪取你性命！说完，血红长枪高高抛起，扎入血海之中，血海沸腾，包裹着这一杆长枪，呈螺旋状灌落而下，似乎要将顾平安钉死在太白山上。半山腰处，瞧见浩瀚血海化作巨大龙卷刺落的4人，心脏猛然一抽，都是不自觉的冷汗淋漓。而直面这一切的顾平安忽然笑了起来：我本不想用这一剑的，有代价，代价也不算小，现在不得不用了。他并不打算动用大罗剑胎，怀璧其罪。若是被人洞悉大罗剑胎的存在，或许人族都有强大存在要对自己下手。既然不能用大罗剑胎，那只能用那一剑了。罗刹太子瞧见面色平静的顾平安，心头一紧，长枪灌杀而下的速度更快了些，掀起音爆滚滚。顾平安手执树枝而立，神色肃穆，低声开口：此一剑 斩因斩果，取你性命，担你因果。第55章，斩你因果，杀你此身。与此同时，帝都大学门口，李夭夭柳眉一竖，冷声开口：“是你？有什么事情吗？”他对于张金红可没有半点好感，甚至嫌恶有加。当时在泰安驿中发生的事情，可还是历历在目呢。怀抱中，顾滚滚似乎感应到了什么，大脑袋晃了晃，不过依旧没有睁开眼睛，喉咙处的骨头还在高频震颤。张金红发出了一声冷笑，危险地眯起了眼睛：“我啊，可是睚眦必报呢，在泰安驿中的那脚，我是要还回来的呢。”说着，他冲着一旁的老者微微颔首。那位老者心领神会，往前迈出了一步。此时此刻，很多路过的地大学生和一些路人都注意到了这里的冲突，毕竟有头顾滚滚在，很惹人注目。一些人都认出来了张金红，毕竟是张家那位尊者的嫡孙女，在帝都又较为跋扈。是张金红，那女娃子要遭殃了。张金红可不是个什么善茬，我倒是觉得不好说，一个普通女孩能抱着石铁兽吗？恐怕也是一个大族子弟。这倒也是，就看谁的后台硬了。议论纷纷中，那位老者周身筋骨齐鸣，身上迸发出圆润如一的感觉，整个人就好像一枚浑圆的大丹。有围观路人瞳孔一缩，是一位大宗师，随即便瞧见老者身脚猛然踹出，踢脚如鞭，抽爆了空气，带起肉眼可见的气浪。小夭夭神色一变，他来不及反应，下意识的就要将顾滚滚护在身后。忽然，一只毛茸茸的熊爪子凶煞的拍击而出，砰！老者腿上炸出血雾，腿骨崩碎，随即整个人倒飞而出，重重的砸在地上。街道上猛然一寂。子曰：“君子不重则不威。”顾滚滚打了个哈欠，舒舒服服的躺在小夭夭怀中，奶声奶气的开口。顿了顿，在众人愕然呆愣的目光中，顾滚滚又是一脸严肃，奶乎乎的开口：“圣人都说了，君子揍人就得下重手，不然没法树立威信。”说着，顾滚滚扯出一本《论语》，又是翻开看了看，似乎确认了一下自己没有说错。有人倒吸了一口凉气，石铁兽开口说话了：“能说话的异兽，封侯长生镜。”好家伙，那小姑娘抱着的居然是一头封侯级数的石铁兽。也有人哭笑不得，那君子不重则不威，是这样解释的吗？李夭夭有些懵逼的眨巴眨巴眼睛，下意识的揪了揪滚滚毛茸茸的耳朵。笨蛋滚滚，哪里是这样解释的？顾滚滚龇牙咧嘴，傻呵呵的抱着《论语》笑着。而另一边，张金红先是面色煞白的后退了2步，随即眼中爆发出欢喜之色。起冲突了，那就可以光明正大的抓人了啊！他默不作声的发了一个短信出去。片刻过后，有10余辆六扇门的巡捕车呼啸而来，在众多路人惊愕的注视下，10多个六扇门巡捕走下车，身上散发着骇人气势。不同于稽查，六扇门是针对修行者作乱的暴力机构。有人叹息摇头，为首的是张家在六扇门的营捕头，这女娃子要遭殃喽。营捕是六扇门中的职位，全称营兽捕头，唯有封侯境才能担任，权力极大。这些巡捕很快将李夭夭包围，为首的营兽不冷哼了一声，纵容异兽当街行凶，将这一人一兽带回去。李夭夭面色一下子苍白了起来。太白山顶，罗刹太子面色古井无波的人族少年，心头生出很不好的预感，底气十足。是什么给了他底气？罗刹太子想不明白，只是天际坠落而下的长枪和血海更加迅捷了一些，音爆滚滚，空气炸碎。顾平安看了一眼朝着自己定杀而来的长枪，轻轻笑了笑：“我第3剑为无解之剑，因果之剑。”说着，他双眼灿烂，两只瞳孔如同2盏大日金灯一般璀璨起光辉。斩因斩果剑势第一次催动，剑意微微波动，在顾平安眼中，世界完全变了一个模样，任何事、任何物之上都出现了密密麻麻的星线，或者说因果线。无论是那位异族人，还是地上的一块石头，亦或者天上坠落而下的血海长枪，都有无数因果线缠绕其上。斩因斩果剑意一旦使用，便能看见万物因果，有代价的。因果之间有大恐怖。顾平安伸出树枝，对准了天上坠落而来的血海长枪，轻轻一斩。这一斩斩的是因，他斩掉了血海和长枪坠落之因。刹那，那滔天血海，那神铁长枪都失去了下坠的恐怖动能，静静地漂浮在空中，似乎从未下落过。罗刹太子脊背猛然发寒，瞪大了眼睛，失声开口：“涉及因果的剑意。”作为罗刹族的太子，他是知晓因果之道的，但是因果一道向来最神秘、最莫测，其强大恐怖，甚至还要超过了时间一道。这个少年掌握了涉及因果之道的剑意，逃！罗刹太子脑海中只剩下了一个念头，他很清楚因果一道的恐怖，说取你性命就取你性命，不讲道理，霸道到极点。除非境界差距实在过大，因果粗壮到不可撼动，否则没有人能够逃过因果杀招。罗刹太子周身爆发恐怖气浪，他冲天而起，想要立刻远遁而去，毫不犹豫。而顾平安呢，只是轻轻笑了笑：“斩因斩果，今日我斩你存在之果。”说完，树枝抽出4剑斩落，神通缩地成寸，树枝将遥远的空间距离收束，诡异的跨越了成百上千米，轻飘飘的擦着罗刹太子的身侧而过。擦肩而过，顺便斩碎了罗刹太子存在的果。没有了存在的果，自然就不存在了，也自然就死去。一剑斩出，顾平安忽然瘫坐在了地上，双腿失去了力量。因果之剑斩人存在之果，自身亦要付出代价才行。斩因斩果剑士在因果一道也属极强的剑士，取走罗刹太子性命的代价不算大，只是顾平安1个月内双腿瘫痪，仅此而已。若是换作其他层次低一些的因果道剑法刀招，代价就严重了，甚至有可能达到取你性命。但你因果层次的代价，杀生之后要承担那个生灵最大的一条因果。而天上 刚刚腾空的罗刹太子双眼中失去了神采，身躯无力的坠落，砸在了地上。一位不朽之王的嫡子，一个古族的太子，便如此暴毙。太白山陷入了死一般的寂静。第56章，冲冠一怒为红颜和滚滚，你们可以上来了。顾平安的声音顺着春风飘入半山腰处李通明四人的耳朵中。四人先是微微一怔，随即对视了一眼，不敢犹豫，都提纵身躯，几个起跃就来到了太白山顶。才到山顶，四个人又是有些愕然。整个山顶此时都化作了彻底的平地。少年瘫坐在地上一动不动，身旁是2节断裂的树枝和插在地上的一柄血红长枪。再往前不远处，则是有一个人躺在地上，已然没了声息。顾小叔，李通明神色微微变化，随即快步向前，将顾平安搀扶了起来。顾小叔，你的腿。顾平安温和地笑了笑，没事，受了点伤，过段时间就好了，小问题。瘫痪1个月罢了，的确是小问题，这个代价已经很小了。一旁姬无月3人对视了一眼，都看出了彼此眼中的震撼。这个少年，这位顾平安赢了。虽然以他们的眼力，并看不出来方才是怎样境界的生灵和顾平安搏杀，但肯定不低，甚至很有可能是王境，结果却死了。3人咽了口唾沫，顾平安缓缓吐出一口浊气。这杆长枪就是制造太白山阵势的一宝，拿上它，阵势应该就解除了，我们该下山了。李通明4人的目光都落在了一旁的长枪之上，一时之间都有些恍惚。该下山了啊，他们居然活下来了。帝都六扇门总部，李夭夭终究是没有反抗六扇门的抓捕，毕竟真要说起来，若是反抗了，性质就完全不一样了。张家那位银兽捕和张金红站在一起，张金红冷冷地笑着，放心吧，知道你是首府家族的人，不会针对你如何。此话一出，李夭夭心头略微松了松，但是神色依旧冷峻，紧紧地抱着顾滚滚。顾滚滚倒是张牙舞爪，一副气呼呼的模样。一旁那位张家的银兽捕头则是意味深长的开口，李首府的面子还是要给的，拘留个几天吧。不过这杀人的石铁兽就由我们六扇门抓捕处置了。李夭夭神色巨变，娇斥道：“你们休想！”说着，他一边警惕地抱着顾滚滚后退，一边抓住了兜里的手机。到底是李家的人，六扇门巡捕并没有将他如何，也没有收走。张金红畅快地笑了笑，这可就由不得你了。说着，他眼中浮现出一丝丝的愉悦之色，似乎这让他感到相当开心。银兽捕头则是直接出手，属于封侯境的气势朝着李夭夭压落。小夭夭面色一白，不由自主地站立，而顾滚滚则是龇牙咧嘴，发出低低的咆哮：“你们是坏人！”他乃凶开口，一副气鼓鼓的模样，身上一时腾起了封侯境的气势，和张家的银兽捕头不相上下，甚至更胜一筹。张金红眼中闪过浓烈的杀意，当初就是在泰安一中的操场上，这头该死的石铁兽一声爆吼，险些让他双耳永久性失聪。这小兽倒是天赋不凡，幼年期就炼化横骨。忽然有低沉的声音响起，一个中年人缓步迈入监牢，身上腾起恐怖气势，属于王境的气势。爹，家主！张金红和银兽捕赶忙恭敬开口，来人正是张家家主。他淡漠地点了点头，伸出手轻轻一射，李夭夭双手猛地一麻，松开了手掌，只能眼睁睁地看着顾滚滚被那张家家主射入手中。顾滚滚又是发出奶凶的咆哮，可是并没有任何作用，被张家家主一只手掌镇压。啪！黑白团子怀中的论语掉在了地上。张家家主提着周身力量被禁锢的顾滚滚就往监牢外走去，边走边丢下了一句话：“这首府家的女娃，依照法律关上10天半个月就放了吧，虽然不是嫡女，但终究是李家人。”说着，他身形消失在了监牢之中。等到他走后，张金红看向面色惨白的李夭夭，不屑地开口：“你放心吧，那头石铁兽一定会得到很好的待遇，不会死得很痛苦。”说着，他尖声笑着，刺耳而又难听。李夭夭的脸色在笑声中越来越苍白，心头猛然揪紧。银兽捕微微摇了摇头：“走吧，金红，六扇门的牢狱之中，寒气煞气最重，待久了可不是什么好事情。”张金红停下了尖锐的笑声，高傲而又轻蔑地看了小夭夭一眼，随即冷哼了一声，丢下一句轻飘飘的话，转身离开了监牢。下一个就是顾平安了。那位银兽捕头亦是缓步离开，监牢猛然关闭。小夭夭如同被抽了魂一般，一下子瘫坐在地上，双眼有些失神。半晌，他好像想起什么似的，从兜里摸出手机，拨通了出去。太白山山脚，看着坐在轮椅上的顾平安，李天明眼中闪过浓浓的忧色。顾老弟，你的这双腿。顾平安笑着摆了摆手，天明哥你放心吧，不是什么大碍，过段时间就好了。一旁姬无月和另外2个少年对视了一眼，都咽了口唾沫。这个少年居然真的和一位王境巅峰的执政以兄弟相称，不过转念一想，好像也何该如此。这个少年强大的有些可怕。李天明微微吐出一口浊气，苦笑了2声，今天还多亏了你老哥，我也没有什么办法感谢你。这样吧，要不我运作一番，将你这次的功劳给你换一批古法陈酿酒。顾平安眼睛猛地一亮，一批古法陈酿酒，1批？他连忙点头，笑着开口，自然是最好不过了。话音刚落，李天明兜里电话声忽然响起，他接起电话，神色微微一怔，随即由明转暗，逐渐阴沉了下来。到最后挂断电话的时候，已然阴沉的吓人。天明老哥，发生什么事情了？顾平安坐在轮椅上，有些疑惑地发问。李天明沉默了片刻，深吸了一口气。夭夭被六扇门抓走关押，顾滚滚也被张家人抓走了。此话一出，猛然间天象骤变，万里晴空化作乌云密布，雷光闪烁。顾平安神色冷了下来，冷冽的吓人，眼中有杀意勃发。半晌，天明哥，送我去帝都。顾平安缓缓开口，声音如同彻骨寒风。李天明重重点头，眼中怒火亦是熊熊燃烧。好一个六扇门，好一个张家！第57章，给我砸了这六扇门！罗刹古剑，昏暗恐怖，血海滔天。巨大而又伟岸的宫殿之中，罗刹王腾然站起身子，发出低低的咆哮：“是谁？是谁杀了乌儿？”不朽之王的怒火在这一刻倾泻而出，整个罗刹古界，甚至连同 附近大片大片的星域都在震颤，都在摇摇欲坠，无数强大存在都在这一刻凝重地朝着罗刹古界瞧望过去，都心惊胆战。罗刹王的唯一嫡子死了，这下整个星空都要变天了。罗刹古界之内，罗刹王的双眼之中有整片血海在沉浮，其中似有无数生灵在哀嚎。他咬牙切齿，到底是谁族星？人族？说着，他身上爆发出恐怖杀意，双眼之中的滔天血海映照在星空之下，磅礴的血海激荡，一个浪花打灭了数颗大星。罗刹王心头暴怒而又不解，他在自己儿子身上明明封印了自身的亲历一击，怎么会如此悄无声息的陨落？除非是涉及到时间或因果这等不讲道理的领域。不知道过了多久，罗刹王闭上眼睛，淹没无数恒星系，破碎了数个大界的血海意象缓缓收敛。半晌，他低沉开口，准备一下，吾要亲自拜访仙族、混沌族，还有天神族。一些瑟瑟发抖的罗刹族强大存在都悚然一惊，拜访3个至高古族王，是要再次赴星空长城扣关了吗？石铁兽古剑躺在神主椅上啃着娇嫩鲜笋尖的石铁兽王忽然皱了皱眉头，目光洞穿无尽星域，落在了左心上。可恶，自家崽子居然被抓了！那该死的李长生，笨蛋，废物，拉胯罢了，似乎也没什么危险。既然没危险，那就不去祖星了，出一趟远门。好累的说。想到这里，石铁兽王萌萌的打了个哈欠，又抱着鲜笋尖美滋滋的啃了起来。祖星太白山距离帝都并不算太过于遥远，毕竟坠机的时候已然走了3/4的路程，而以一位尊者的速度跨越这点距离，只是等闲。即便是带上了一个双腿瘫痪的顾平安，帝都近郊，顾平安坐在轮椅上，看着这繁华的高楼大厦，目光冷冽。若非是因果一道的代价，只能让人推着走，他已然亲自奔赴6扇门了。因果一道带来的双腿瘫痪，不仅仅是双腿瘫痪，其实准确来说，应该是行动受限。顾平安甚至无法通过天地之力包裹轮椅来让自己移动。简而言之，就是这1个月时间，他只能依靠别人推着走。问题不大，李天明推着轮椅，目光有些幽深。我先去将身份更新一下，最多10分钟。身份更新后，他就不是泰安市的执政了，而是整个咸阳行省的大执政。顾平安轻轻点了点头，好，我等你回来，先走一趟6扇门。李天明微微颔首，双眼之中亦是杀意涌动。这6扇门，这张家当真是好大的胆子哟！今日帝都注定要起波澜。想到这里，李天明也不再犹豫，身形一晃，消失在原地，只留下一句话：身份更新很快的，最多10分钟。说着，他彻底消失不见。偏僻街道上，顾平安坐在轮椅上思索了片刻，掏出手机，轻轻拨了一个电话出去。喂，赵无极吗？是我，顾平安。电话那头躺在沙发上喝着红酒的赵无极一下子坐直了起来，面色恭敬，语气热情。顾哥，是我，你有什么吩咐？可是到帝都了。顾平安轻轻嗯了一声，随即又说道：你们家族应该是有人困顿王境，想让我尝试带着他领悟一把。电话对面，赵无极犹豫了一下，干脆地回答道：顾哥，我也不瞒你，我赵家老祖宗寿命将近了，而我爷爷立足王境巅峰已久，若是不能在老祖宗寿境前迈入尊者境，赵家这些年也是有不少仇敌的。那好，让你们老祖宗陪我闯一趟6扇门，走一遭张家，事后我会助你爷爷领悟一。帝都6扇门定然是有尊者级数的存在，张家亦然。此时的顾平安若是想要搏杀尊者，只能都用斩阴斩果剑士或是大罗剑胎，代价都太大了，那还不如以势压人。电话那头，赵无极几乎是毫不犹豫的点头应声，没问题。电话挂断，顾平安又拨了一个出去，这一次过了很久，对面才接起来。校长，你学生的媳妇儿被欺负了，顾滚滚也被欺负了，你管不管？张家大院，张家家主抓着顾滚滚命运的后脖梗，随意的丢在了地上。顾滚滚摔了个狗啃屎，他气呼呼的爬起身子，奶声奶气：好啊，你完蛋了啊你，等死啊你，买棺材吧你。说着，他2只小胖手恶狠狠地叉着腰，一副嚣张啊保护的模样。我老爹来了，把你们嘎嘎乱杀。张家家主眼角抽了抽，没有搭理这头黑白团子，而是冲着老祖宗恭恭敬敬地开口：老爷子，石铁兽抓回来了。坐在主位上的老爷子轻轻摇着扇子，安逸而又闲适地开口：关起来吧，到时候给天官大人送去那个女娃娃，你们怎么处理的？关在了6扇门，打算关上10天半个月就放了，毕竟是首府家的人。老爷子不以为意地笑了笑，倒也不用忌惮这一点。下面人查了查，那女娃子爹妈在首府家族里可不算什么，自己本身也是个联姻工具罢了。说着，他放下了扇子，伸了个懒腰，联系天官大人那边吧，看什么时候将这石铁兽送去。张家家主恭敬点头。6扇门中，李瑶瑶蜷缩在单人监牢，此时手机已然没电关机，他所能做的只有等待。执勤的几个6扇门捕快瞥了一眼关押着的小夭夭，啧啧称奇，这张大人带来的犯人，别说这颜值可要什么明星之类的好多了。另一人深感赞同的点了点头，随即警告了一声：你可别动歪心思，这少女虽然被关着，但是10天半个月后就要放出去的，估计背后来头也不小。知道了，啰嗦，我又不傻。顿了顿，他打了个哈欠，听说今天是有帝华大学的学生要来参观咱6扇门，的确如此，到时候说不定会来监牢里面，记得站端正些。帝华大学是和帝都大学一直针锋相对的一所大学，和帝都大学也是伯仲之间，略输半筹。监牢里，小夭夭没有去听2个看守交谈的话语，他只是惶恐着，不安着。滚滚他现在怎么样了？张家人不会真的要杀了滚滚吧？想到这里，李夭夭心脏猛地一抽，眼睛发酸。滚滚是平安交给他的，不对，滚滚那么可爱，一定不会有人想要伤害他的吧？李夭夭心头安慰自己，眼泪却啪嗒啪嗒的往下落着，深深的无力感涌上心头，自己好没用。他死死的蜷缩在角落，哭花了脸。顾平安，你怎么还不来？顾平安，你怎么还不来？与此同时，6扇门门外，戴着眼镜的帝华大学副校长沉稳开口： 同学们，这儿便是六扇门总部，也是我大秦针对作乱舞者而建立的机构。说着，他轻轻推了推眼镜，略微带着一些傲气的开口：“说起来，咱们是第一所组织参观六扇门的大学，大家等会可以好好看一看。”这位帝华大学的副校长将第一所3个字咬得很重，不能放过任何一个压帝都大学一头的机会。几十个帝华大学准大1、大2以及几个大3、大4的学生都有些兴奋。六扇门在民众甚至他们这些天才眼中，一直是神秘和强大的代名词，其威严不可冒犯，其中的种种也从来不为外人所知。等参观完六扇门，我可要给我男朋友炫耀一下。哦，对了，他是帝都大学的。六扇门，我还挺好奇里面到底是什么模样。压得众多舞者喘不过气来，一门一丝镇住了一切想要作乱的舞者，威势在咱们大秦可谓最重。众多帝华大学的学生都兴奋地议论着。忽然有轮椅声响起，众人下意识地瞧望过去，是一个很俊秀的少年，坐在轮椅上，推轮椅的则是一位中年男子，身旁还有一个看起来快要老死的垂暮老者。轮椅上的少年没有去看这些同龄人，而是直视着肃穆庄严的六扇门总部，轻声开口：“天明哥，我想砸了六扇门，可以吗？”此话一出，众多帝华大学的学生和那位副校都有些愕然，都以为自己听错了。第58章，我好像是咸阳大执政。祖兴某一处古老遗迹之中，老校长面前摆放着10来坛酒，此时正在气得跳脚骂娘。走，老婆，咱们去将帝都闹个天翻地覆。仙玲珑翻了个好看的白眼，你可真是护犊子的。老校长鼻子都气歪了，一脸苦大仇深。平安怎么也算我半个徒弟，自家徒弟的媳妇儿被欺负了，我可不得护犊子吗？再说了，不护顾平安我护谁？气呼呼的老校长对上仙玲珑危险的目光，他打了个哆嗦，连忙陪笑道：“当然，我家宝贝我也要护着。”仙玲珑翻了一个大大的白眼，有些嫌弃：“油腻了啊，什么时候回帝都？”说着，他心头略微有些感慨：大秦帝都啊，好久没去了。当初大秦人王立下于帝都开国的日子，还是历历在目。可惜，到底还是战死星空长城。老校长的神色严肃了一些，将地上的10多坛古酒收了起来。就现在吧，顾滚滚也被逮走了，真出了什么事情？石铁兽王那儿，仙玲珑轻轻颔首，略微有些感慨。说起来，好久没摸石铁兽王的肚子了，那家伙伤势也不知道好了没有。走吧，回帝都。1000多年前，大秦人王被钉死在星空长城，石铁兽王趴在星空长城上嚎啕大哭了3天，随即孤身奔赴先祖古界，险些将那一处古界给杀穿，自身也受了重创。祖兴大秦帝都六扇门总部前，那位帝华大学的副校长眨巴眼睛，有些茫然。数十个来参观六扇门的学生也都面面相觑，这是哪里来的疯子？砸了六扇门总部，也真说得出来。众人一时之间都有些啼笑皆非。那位副校长一时有些无语，扫了一眼那个坐在轮椅上的清秀少年，又掠过推轮椅的中年人和一旁的垂暮老者，猛然间他目光凝滞住了。那个老者是帝都南边赵家的老祖宗。帝华大学的副校长忍不住揉了揉眼睛，倒吸了一口凉气，还真是。他心头猛然腾起不好的预感。而这时候，推着轮椅的中年男子笑着开口了：“顾老弟，既然你想要砸了六扇门，那就砸吧。反正都是一些只会对自家人耀武扬威的东西。”说着，李天明眼中闪过一丝冷冽的光芒。六扇门的确是大秦最大的暴力机构之一，但针对的只是犯法了的武者。对于被光者，人间六扇门一律是不管不问。李天明老早就看六扇门不爽了。一旁的赵家老祖亦是很温和的笑了笑：“顾生，要我先出手吗？”他虽然是一位尊者，但是对待顾平安，他也是平等之事的。毕竟谁家少年能和咸阳行省的大侄正称兄道弟？想到这里，赵家老祖下意识地看了一眼李天明。坐在轮椅上的顾平安面无表情地点了点头：“赵老爷子，您来吧。”顿了顿，他又看向那些帝华大学看笑话的学生，淡淡开口：“诸位还请让远一些，免得被波及到了。”此话一出，那些帝华大学的学生彻底绷不住了，一个个都哈哈大笑了起来。这几人是疯了吧？什么都敢说，是从哪家精神病院跑出来的？别说了，我笑拉了。那少年还让咱们离远一点。好家伙，当自己孙悟空，当咱们唐僧呢？话说，他们该不会是作乱的武者吧？来冲击六扇门总部？你家作乱武者是个瘸子，瘫轮椅上。一时之间，学生们都嬉笑着，调侃着，都啧啧称奇。今天没白来，还能看这么一出闹剧，说不定等下还能直观的看一看六扇门是怎么抓人的脸。晋升！就在众多帝华大学的学生笑着调侃的时候，那位副校一声暴喝，随即学生们都鸦雀无声了。帝华大学的副校长放在一些小一点的城市，都足以担任执政了事真正的大人物。别看平时和蔼，真要发火，学生们也都怕得慌。那位帝华大学的副校此时神色沉得吓人，轻声呵斥：“都让到一边去！”学生们面面相觑，有些不明所以，但还是乖乖地退到一边。随即他们就都有些目瞪口呆了起来。只见平日里威严深重的副校朝着那3个疯子微微弯了弯，然后又看向那个似乎随时可能老死的老者，恭敬开口：“见过赵老爷子。”说着，他偷瞧了一眼轮椅上的少年，心思百转千回。这个少年是什么人？居然让一位尊者跟在身后，哪怕即将受尽，那也是尊者啊！赵家老祖淡淡的点了点头：“我见过你，你是帝华的副校吧？”副校长恭敬应声。而众多学生此时才反应过来，才回过神来，都是神色震动，脊背发寒。副校长居然认识这几个疯子？不对，恐怕不是疯子，就连副校长都要恭敬对待那位老者，这几人恐怕是了不得的大人物啊！不会是真要砸了六扇门吧？无数学生倒吸了一口凉气，心神俱震，看向轮椅上少年的目光也都变了。 就在这时候，轮椅上的少年淡淡开口了：“赵老爷子，动手吧。”赵家老祖在副校长惊骇的目光中轻轻点头，随即他看向六扇门总部，一声暴吼：“陈传之，给老夫滚出来！”陈传之，帝都六扇门的坐镇神捕尊者境，声波炸响，化作实质，整座六扇门总部都开始剧烈震荡，瓷砖脱落，玻璃爆碎，甚至侧墙上蔓延出巨大裂纹。这还是赵家老祖收力再收力的结果了，否则哪怕他年老体衰，哪怕不动用道种和天地之力，仅仅凭借纯粹力量的一声吼，也能叫整个六扇门总部轰然崩塌。出入尊者境的纯粹肉身力量标准是10万吨，也就是1亿公斤。整个六扇门总部刹那间沸反盈天。片刻过后，一位面色难看的中年男子在一些精兽、银兽捕头的簇拥之下，大步走了出来。陈传之，帝华大学的副校长不动声色地后退了几步。今天是神仙打架，他可掺和不了。准确地说，就算是校长来了，也要退避三舍啊。陈传之扫了一眼一旁帝华大学的学生，目光又从轮椅上的少年身上掠过，最后停留在了李天明和赵家老祖的身上。他神色略微凝重，冷声开口：“李天明，还有赵家的老鬼，怎么你们来我六扇门闹事？”说着，一众精兽、银兽捕头都略微戒备。陈传之身上也有很恐怖的气机碾压而来。赵家老祖神色没有什么变化，只是淡淡的开口：“不是来闹事的，是来砸了你这个六扇门的。”说着，他眼中闪过厉色，看向顾平安。顾生是直接动手，还是众多平日里高高在上的精兽、银兽捕以及神捕陈传之，这才将目光落在了轮椅上那个少年身上。他们都有些惊疑不定了起来。这个少年是谁？顾平安神色古井无波，瞧向了陈传之，淡淡开口：“你们六扇门抓了一个女孩，是我媳妇儿。现在你们给我一个解释，或者我拆了六扇门。”此话一出，场中为之一寂。那些帝华大学的学生和那位副校长都咽了口唾沫，而陈传之则是气笑了起来：“你他妈谁啊？带着一个小城执政，一个快老死的赵老鬼，敢来我六扇门闹事？”他再三确认了，记忆中并没有哪个大族或皇室子弟是个坐轮椅的残废，心头也不怎么忌惮。一旁一位知道一些内情的精兽捕头，目光略微闪烁，随即煽风点火般的开口：“我六扇门威严不容冒犯，大庭广众之下闹事六扇门，已然可以定位做乱舞者。我建议……”还没等他话说完，轮椅上清秀的少年伸出一根手指，指尖若剑尖，轻飘飘的一点：“我和你家主子说话，哪里容得了你插嘴？”话音落下，剑气如虹，好似有鬼门关洞开，有黄泉滚滚而来。陈传之神色猛地一变，剑意。他来不及多想，体内象征着尊者境的道种转动，他猛地伸手将如虹剑意和那一条虚幻黄泉抓碎，面不改色地收起略微颤抖的手掌。陈传之将双手背负在身后，有鲜血淌落，刹那蒸发。他面上却是一副冷漠的模样，狠声开口：“好大的胆子！李天明，赵家老鬼和那少年胡闹，你作为一座城市的执政，也要跟着胡闹吗？”李天明轻轻笑了笑，推着轮椅缓缓向前，蓦然开口：“哦，忘了说，我已经接任咸阳行省的大执政了。”此话一出，陈传之勃然色变。第59章，你打报告，我批条子。张家灭族，大执政，还是咸阳行省的大执政？陈传之心头猛然一沉，想起了那个传闻，李天明和大秦王关系极其的好，说是只要这2个月李天明成就尊者境，咸阳行省大执政的位子就给他。换句话说，他尊者了。想到这里，陈传之心头巨震。一旁的金兽、银兽捕，还有帝华大学的学生和那位副校长，都是脑瓜子嗡嗡。那个推着轮椅的中年男子是咸阳行省新任的大执政。行省大执政，权力大的吓人，可以说是那个行省最高的行政长官，掌握一切任免、生杀大权等。而帝都严格说起来就在咸阳行省之中啊。那么问题来了，若李天明真的是大执政，那他推着的那个少年会是谁？陈传之当机立断，猛地弯了弯，面上冷漠和肃穆换成了一副笑容。原来是大执政清零，我等倒是并不知晓，望大执政恕罪。众多帝华大学的学生都是大眼瞪小眼，有些失语。这是传说中的神捕，这前倨后恭的模样可真是那个。另一边，那位亲善张家的那位金兽捕头下意识地缩进了人堆，心头震步。糟了，要出事了，要出大事了！与此同时，张家大院院落中，顾滚滚被关在布置了阵势的笼子里，他气呼呼地蜷缩在角落，一言不发。张金红隔着笼子，满是恶意地盯着这头黑白团子，眼中闪烁着莫名的光华。这是天官大人点名要的，还是莫折腾什么的好？一旁还没离去的张家家主瞧见这一幕，出声提醒道。张金红闻言撇了撇嘴，知道了老爹，我不会跟这头畜生较劲。牢笼里缩成一团的顾滚滚气呼呼地抬起头，龇牙咧嘴，可恶啊！你再骂，信不信我叫我爹来了？说着，顾滚滚艰难地爬起圆嘟嘟的身子，大黑眼圈中并没有半点惧色。张金红轻蔑地笑了笑，悠悠开口：“你爹，叫来吧，正好多给天官大人送一头石铁兽去。”顾滚滚闻言抬起头，乃呼呼地咆哮：“爹，你儿子要没了，你儿子要没了！”天空一如既往的宁静，石铁兽骨界呼呼大睡的石铁兽王翻了个身，挠了挠屁股墩，然后继续呼呼大睡。张家院子的牢笼中，顾滚滚有些丧气的一屁股坐在地上，闷声闷气。可恶啊，那个老家伙肯定又在睡个蓝瘪。说着，他艰难地背过身子，在地上画着圈圈。你们等着，我爹不来，还有老顾呢，他来了，嘎嘎乱杀。张金红嘴角略微勾起一个笑容，伸出手放在牢笼上，悠悠开口：“ 暂时不能杀你，不能伤你，给你点教训吧。说着，他催动了牢笼之上附着的阵势，阵势转动，发出轰鸣，有雷光自虚空中生出，猛然朝着顾滚滚鞭挞而去。这一道雷鞭不偏不倚地抽在了顾滚滚背上，顾滚滚发出一声低低的痛呼，眼泪汪汪，后背黑白色的柔顺毛发一片焦糊，而张惊鸿则是畅快地笑了起来。顾滚滚气急，一边疼得哭唧唧，一边奶奶的咆哮：“你完蛋了，你完犊子了！等我爹醒了，你老姑来了，把你们全部嘎嘎乱杀，让你们知道什么是君子不重而不畏。”张惊鸿眼中闪过冷冽光芒，又是催动阵势。哦！顾滚滚发出恶龙咆哮，一边痛得跳脚，一边气呼呼地骂着人：“嗨呀，好生气！”忽然，虚空波动，一个小女孩叼着棒棒糖缓步迈出。天官，张家主播然色变，那位屋内有所感应的老祖宗身形一晃出现在院子里，见过天官大人，二人齐齐呼喊。张惊鸿一个哆嗦，连忙退到了一旁，低垂着头，弓着腰，大气都不敢喘。而疼